Hello and welcome to the month of April and the Easy Allies podcast. I am your host and moderator, Michael Huber, joined on the desk by
Gabby Montoot
and
Daniel Bloodworth
and
Michael Damiani.
and in the booth,
Don Casanova.
The energy is so weird.
It's so funny. I just got off, literally just got off a 6-hour flight, everybody. So it's
Wow.
good times.
Wow. How was the
Did you go
airport?
home?
How'd it treat you?
Did you fly out of JFK?
JFK was a little packed.
JFK is evil.
Chaos.
But
People
somehow I
complain about
randomly got
LAX.
priority line, security line or whatever.
You did?
Yeah, so I was
Nice.
able to skip a chunk of it, but it was still kind
Chunk.
of messy. Yeah.
People complain about LAX. You have it so good.
I
You
wouldn't
have it
say good.
so good. No.
I would say it's top five
They are
worst.
JFK
mirrors.
Just
of
'cause
each
it's
other,
not
'cause
top
they're
one.
both
JFK
under
is
construction.
10,000 times
Yeah.
worse.
It is really terrible.
But JFK does not have the LA exit.
LA
we got
exit?
Yeah, that's the only way to get an Uber is to get on a stupid
Oh, that's
shuttle and go.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
flying is crazy. I don't like it, but I love the end result of it.
Yes.
You know, you got to get
Yes.
to the place.
Arriving.
Arriving,
Yeah.
10 out of 10. Everything else, 0 out of 10. Friends, we are here to talk about what's new, what's news, and what we have been playing. We got a hell of a week.
Yep.
Hell of a show to talk about here. Now that we've slept on it, now that the dust has semi-settled, now that the press releases and facts have come through, we will be talking about Switch 2!
Yeah, Damiani's got a big pile of stuff there.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have Damiani for the full episode, though.
Yes.
But
He's here for the Nintendo part.
I have played 10 Switch 2 games, so we will get that.
We also have,
In
yes,
his absence.
the
CEO
hands-on
Blood.
CEO of Nintendo, Daniel Bloodworth. They bribed him so that he wouldn't be silenced.
What?
Or
So he would be
something.
silenced. They
Yeah,
bribed
yeah.
him to silence him.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're bribing to silence him, yes. So we have hands-on impressions of the Switch 2. Can you believe it? That is crazy.
Nice.
We're also going to be talking about the brand new release, South of Midnight.
Yes.
So hyped.
Played through that whole game.
Nice. Yeah, Blood played it all. Gabby and I have played a bit.
Yes.
Reviews came out today, and they are looking solid.
Nice. Yeah, I've seen some people's thoughts, but I haven't seen any numbers at all. So
Yeah.
I don't know where it sits.
It's on my Fantasy Critics.
Has an
so.
incredible first impression. Holy
Yes.
shit, dude. Sit down and play that game. It looks incredible in motion. We also have the patrons' top 10 town themes. Very excited about that. Hopefully Disco Elysium, Whirling in Rags is there. Well, let's dive in. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Damiani's got a hard deadline here, so let's dive into the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct.
I've got the full list there, but Damiani also has his thoughts, so he might want to lead the way for where he wants to go with this.
Take us away, Damiani.
Time
Lead
for
the
the Mad
charge,
Rambling.
dude.
Sure,
Light the
yeah.
beacons, bro.
We had
Condor calls
finally,
for aid.
we had that big Switch 2 Direct, baby. It was so exciting, and we got the deets. No more insiders, Huber. No more
Yes.
there'll still be deets and insiders, but this
Bring them to
part,
the light.
it's over. We
Yes.
have the cold hard facts,
Thank
so we don't have to deal
God.
with this nonsense. No Switch Pros, no, none of that anymore. We're
No
finally
dual
here.
screens.
Yeah. No clam. None of those
Yeah.
crazy things came
You're
to fruition.
free.
So the quick facts that they wasted no time just getting into those details, and it launches June 5th. I think that is, wow. Even thinking when people are saying maybe June, it's wow, that's the beginning of June, right before SGF. That's gonna be a madhouse.
No, I
No.
was actually thinking late May, but now that it's June 5th, right before SGF, is
Yeah, that's
Give me
gonna be
another
a
week or two, please.
Fun
But,
time.
Holy crap.
Fun time.
Why would
It
they-
is an LCD screen. I think
they don't
most
care.
people had already been saying it was going to
Not
be an
their problem.
LCD screen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not LED like the OLED. Bigger screen though. 7.9 inch versus 6.2 inch.
It's a nice bump.
Now, yeah, everything was a little bit bigger, but the stuff people were just like waiting here because it's been back and forth. Is it gonna look better? Is it gonna run at these frame rates and stuff? No, they were like, here you go. It's gonna support up to 120 frames per second.
Yeah.
So in handheld mode, you're gonna get full HD, which is 1080p, and it can go 1080p up to 120 frames in handheld mode. Sorry. When it's docked, it can go up to 4K 60, and these are in supported titles. Not every game is going to do this in supported titles, but also in their little video demonstration, the docked mode will also support 1440p. So it will have 1080, 1440, and 4K as well.
Beautiful.
It's going to support HDR,
Yeah.
VRR, and we found out the last little thing real quick. We found out who's doing that tech, the DLSS and the ray tracing, the VRR. It's NVIDIA. They dropped a blog post today saying they're the ones handling it. And it's going to have G-Sync as well. So like that's how the wizardry of how all this is looking so good is because of NVIDIA and their tech there.
The hell is your like frame thing you always talk about? Frame generation?
No
they didn't-
frame generation.
No frame generation.
Nothing like that.
But-
Nothing like that.
But it does have the DLSS upscaling.
How big is the Steam Deck screen? How does it compare to that?
Great
Do we
question.
know?
I could look that up real quick, but
Yeah.
Steam Deck
You can probably
screen
do it faster than
size,
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Damiani. Yeah.
7-inch.
So it's the same.
7 inches.
No,
and
this is
Steam
7.4.
Deck
Oh,
OLED
okay,
has
okay.
7.4. So LCD is 7, OLED is 7.4. So yeah, Switch 2 will be the biggest one
Okay,
of those.
amazing.
Yeah.
And they made a point on the thing that they showed it's the same thickness, even though it's a bigger screen.
Yes,
Yeah.
the system console is like when you put it like sideways, it's the same thickness. So it's not like any like,
Chunky.
bigger in that regards.
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna burn my hands off. Like it's gonna be running so hot.
Yeah, I mean, so far I don't think it will be, but I've only played a couple of things in handheld mode. Damiani.
We talked about that fan and that dock
Yeah,
keeping it
Yeah,
cool
that's
too.
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump in with a couple of things when they're relevant, because they did ask why LCD and not OLED, and some people are like, oh, being a step backwards and all of that. But they were
Sure.
saying like the stuff that you were just talking about that like, well, the LCD technology has advanced, and they preferred to go with that, the LCD that could do the 120
I don't like
HDR,
OLEDs.
VRR,
Hot take.
then going with an LED.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice. Also probably keeps the price a little bit lower too.
Yeah, I'm
So-
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. The other part, so that's like, what we're getting, like performance under the hood, but also like the storage thing, because capacity, but also like how fast things are going to load. They confirmed that it's going to have a 256 gigabyte internal storage. For comparison, the original Switch had 32 gigs, but the currently available OLED, which replaced the original, has 64. So it's roughly 4 times, I mean,
Okay.
it's exactly 4 times the capacity size of that. And the external storage, we've been using micro SD. It's going to use micro SD Express, and that is required. You cannot
Right.
use the old. You cannot
So
use
brutal.
your Switch micro SDs on this one. They will not work. They are a little bit pricey. There aren't a lot of options for them right now, but Nintendo on their own on the website shows that they will be partnering with and have officially licensed versions of Samsung models that they will be selling directly as well. But as you'll see, they demonstrated some of those loading times. They did one for like Tears of the Kingdom, side-by-side loading, and it was like, whew.
Yeah.
It was like
Oh, okay, nice.
close to PlayStation 5,
Dude,
baby. Like,
sick.
pick the point on the map, load it. It was like that. I was like, so this is why you're going to need this, because rather than having, trying to stick something in there, which is not possible for like the hardware, they're going to have that as well. But also like the internal storage, whatever they're using for that, is also running really fast. So great job with that. But I got a question for you. Like hearing these frame rates, all these numbers, seeing some of the footage that we saw in the Direct, do you how are you feeling about Switch 2's performance? Like what you're looking at, like just how games look. I mean, I talked about the loading times, and I feel like so far they look impressive. Like Huber, specifically you mentioned when you saw Zelda, you're like, oh God, it looks normal finally. And Metroid Prime 4, like seeing it a week apart. Like, how do you feel about
Frames are always my most important
this?
thing, more than like graphics, more than textures and all that. Like, give me 60 frames. That's all I can really ask for, Damiani. So the fact that they have 120 1080p and VRR and 4K 60, like that is great.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we're
very
gonna
excited
get
about
into
that.
this stuff a lot more, but I will just say this is definitely one of those turning points where the directs and the YouTube videos are not going to tell you the whole story. We're beyond that now.
Absolutely.
Because I was talking
Oh,
to
yeah.
someone and I saw Zelda from across the room and I just had to like stop the conversation. Like, holy crap, Zelda looks good.
Nice.
Like, yeah, it is a whole different story when you're seeing
Definitely.
these things in person. And yeah, the resolution and frame rate bump on Zelda is extremely noticeable.
Hell yeah.
Very nice to hear.
Very nice to hear.
And yeah, one thing real quick about those micro SD express cards. The hope is that because a really popular platform is launching that requires those, that will drive the market to have
Right.
more produced, drive down price. So
yep.
maybe hold off on buying one of those right now because people are like rushing. Like, where's the 1 terabyte one? It's like $200. Like, maybe don't buy that just yet. But speaking of price, they didn't talk about it in the direct, but they definitely gave the details after the fact.
Yeah,
and a lot
people
of
were
store
complaining
pages
about that.
have
I
gone
feel like
up.
it was because like each region has their own currency
Yes.
and price.
Yeah,
like, obviously.
but it's like they were broadcasting them on different YouTube channels and all.
Yeah.
Like you saw UK box arts on the UK Direct and all
Got
that.
it. Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like it's not really a great excuse
Yeah.
to not have the price
So-
in there.
yeah.
Yeah, let's get it out of the way. And we're gonna have a question here because we're gonna go through the hardware
Here we
pricing
go.
and then some of the software pricing because that's
Yeah.
also causing quite a controversy. So the base Switch 2 model will cost $449 in US dollars when it launches here on June 5th. There will also be a bundled version that has Mario Kart World bundled in as well for $499.
$499 US
Yeah.
dollars.
Now, that actually is going to be quite the steal in just a
Yes,
second when you hear
yes.
these software prices because software pricing is all over the place right now. Now, you have
This is
some
like
on the-
Target in 1995.
yeah. So, for example, Mario Kart World will be $80.
Fuck.
It will be $79.99. We thought $70.
No.
Like, yeah, we thought
No.
$70 was like the high end when Tears of the Kingdom got that bump, but it's
Right.
like no more.
Wait,
we
but
got
it's-
a higher threshold for you.
It's
So
$80
here-
digital.
Yeah, what's the deal?
Yeah, no, they don't have a divide between physical and digital.
there's no weird
I thought
thing.
it
It's
was
one.
$90.
No.
No,
that was some-
that's-
I don't know where that came
Mario.
from. That's
No,
some
that was
bullshit
misinformation.
flying around.
Misinformation.
It's just on there. Now, retailers might change the price at some point for various obvious,
Yeah.
ongoing reasons, but that is what Nintendo is listing it as. So here are some prices real quick just to give you a frame of reference. Bravely Default, the HD remaster that Square Enix announced that's going to be coming out. That's only going to be $39.99. So there is going to be like a lower tier for like smaller scale or maybe like older games. Street Fighter 6 Year 1 2 edition will be $59.99, so $60, kind of like the expected
Which,
price.
considering it has those seasons in it, is not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad. Donkey Kong Bonanza, $69.99, a $70 game. Okay, like that's what Tears of the Kingdom was, a premium title. Looking at that game, it looks like a premium game.
Definitely.
Here's where we start, and then we said Mario was $79.99. Here's where things get a little weird. Breath of the Wild Switch 2 edition standalone, $69.99. So
Yeah, a little
$70
weird.
bucks. All right. Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 edition, $80. Okay. Okay. Kirby and the Forgotten Land Switch 2 edition, $80.
That is
Super Mario
crazy.
Party
I don't understand
Jamboree
that. That
Switch
makes
2
no sense.
edition, $80.
That makes
Yeah.
no sense.
We can't. We cannot move to a place where we can just price video games, like price full titles, whatever we want. We can't do that.
yeah.
Like that is worse than if they were just like all Nintendo games are $80 now.
But no, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily that. Like Nintendo has for a while had different tiers,
a lot
but what we're
less.
seeing now
Yeah.
is that the tiers, the high tier is 80, and that's no. That's
Yeah.
never been the case before.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the same thing, like the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom
absurd.
comparison, like on Switch 1, that's $70 and $60, right? So now they're saying $80 and $70, and it's like.
Yeah.
No, and during the treehouse today, I saw the screenshots. Like people who in chat were just like, drop the price, just like, just person after person, drop the price, drop the price, drop the price. So it's totally taken over the narrative.
Yeah.
I don't think the price of the system is bad at all. The hardware, $450 and $500 with the bundle, I think that's fine.
It's fine.
Totally makes sense.
I think when you
but
start-
we do not want $80 games.
No.
Nobody
Yeah.
wants $80 games.
I think the context is key, when you start comparing it side by side to like the PlayStation 5's tech, it's like you're getting
Right.
a way more powerful beast of a machine for a similar price. Obviously, it's not portable, but traditionally with Nintendo, you expect to maybe pay a little less because their hardware is like more consumer friendly with pricing, and it's
Right.
not going for that insane power to be priced. You know, it always undercuts like Xbox and Sony.
Yeah, that's-
So when and the production values of their games too are usually a little less. Like we always kind of joke about like, oh, they're a little switchy. Like everyone is always like fine with, oh, we don't need the tech,
Yeah.
whatever. We don't
Yeah.
need it. But now they're coming out and pricing it like
Right.
it's fucking GTA or The Last of Us.
Yeah.
And that is
Right, it's like,
where
what's the story?
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
that's where it gets a
what's
little
the
murky.
gist?
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing. I think that like, yeah, they even talked in investor meetings and stuff about affordability, and I'm like, where's the affordability?
Yeah.
Where is it? Because I'm not seeing it
Exactly.
right now,
Yeah.
and I don't understand. Now, I will, like we'll get into the impressions and stuff a little bit later, but I will say that like from what I've seen so far, like the tech has impressed me more than I thought it would. Like the level that it is. So that's why I'm saying like I'm not at all worried about the price of the console and
Yeah.
the hardware and all that stuff. But yeah, man, like the game
Yeah.
prices do not need to go that
But
level.
then you get into the thing where it's like, all right, but you're paying for the quality. Like I trust Nintendo first party games. You know, I trust Mario Kart's
Yeah.
quality. So like on the quality side, it's like this is a like you were
Mario
saying
Kart 8 was an
premium.
11-year game, right?
Yeah,
like I understand,
exactly.
and like you could make that argument.
You were talking
but-
about like premium quality
Yeah.
games, Damiani, and it's like, well, how
But-
do you reckon
Okay,
with
but
Yeah.
Fortnite
And
was
then
an
does this-
11-year game.
Yeah, does
It
this
costs-
open
I've
the
never spent $1 on it. Like,
I guess also the danger of this is even though Nintendo might think this is like, the right pricing, you could bring up all the arguments that people have been bringing up about like past games and adjusting for inflation, how this is actually like where the game should be priced.
Yeah.
But will other publishers on other platforms, does this open the
That's-
floodgates
yes,
for,
Right.
like, is
Exactly.
Sony going to jack
$80
up their
everywhere.
prices for their first party? Is Grand Theft Auto 6 going to be a $100 game now? Like, what is...
Damiani,
Yeah.
I never thought it would be like $100 out of the gate, but now because the industry leader Nintendo has set this precedent, I absolutely think other games like GTA are going to be more expensive.
I mean, what'll happen
Yeah.
is that, Mario Kart is going to be priced at $80. If it sells gangbusters day one and is like goes crazy and you can't find it anywhere,
Well, they're just going to get the bundle. Just save $30 on that bundle. Yeah.
But like, other $80 games, like if they sell as well,
Right.
then the industry's going to be like, people will buy, even though it's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
cynical and anti-consumer.
yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Pretty crazy.
On those points about the Switch 2 editions, again, these
Wait,
are...
sorry, one
like-
other thing about
Okay,
inflation.
good,
The other
good.
thing that's really, I think, bad faith about saying that it's because of inflation is because the video game prices aren't going to go down if inflation goes down. The price is going to stay the same.
Right.
So that's not true. When they're like, oh, it's inflation, they're greedy. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't trust them to like bring prices back down and things adjust. For sure.
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
Very good point.
For these Switch 2 editions, you're probably wondering, well, what if I already own the game? There will be something called an upgrade pack that you can purchase 3 different ways, like eShop, Nintendo's webpage, or in retailers in a box copy, apparently, with like a version of it that has like nothing on it, just downloads as well.
Retail is
don't-
frightening to me for that.
We
but yeah.
do not know the price for the upgrade packs yet.
Right.
Okay.
We have no idea
So
what they
more
cost.
misinformation, Damiani.
So,
I heard between $10 to
we need to know
$30,
that.
but
Yeah. like,
more
is it like?
obfuscation.
Yeah, will it be 10? Will it be 20? Will it be 30? Will it be more? Who
better
knows?
be 10, dude. It
I
better
think
be
it's
10.
going to vary game by game.
I think it's going to vary game by game as well. Now, one quick thing though, Huber.
Yeah.
If you are they're doing all this to drive people to different things. The
Yeah, this
bundling
is
Mario Kart World
crazy.
is to.
I feel
this
like they
extra
are like
layer
I'm a
of-
marionette,
yeah.
dude, and they're just like, ooh.
It's an extra layer to insulate that makes sure people buy Switch 2s. It's like, oh, like we're really gonna get you to buy like a Switch 2 because like, yeah, if you were thinking about it, but like the game's too expensive, it's like at least I can get one game and the Switch, and the game really only cost me like $50
Yeah,
at that
that's
point.
free
That's
money.
not too
That's girl
bad.
math. Free money.
So this again, they're doing this with their subscription with Nintendo Switch Online for the expansion pack tier. If you are a part of that tier that you can only pay annually, can't sub to it month to month, they are going to give you Breath of the Wild and the Tears of the Kingdom upgrade packs for Switch 2 included in that price. So you don't have to pay extra to get those enhanced.
If you don't have the
but you need to own the game. You still need to own the game.
Switch version,
You're not just getting the game for free. You must own the Switch 1 version, and then you get that thing as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason it's called the expansion pack is because it includes all these expansion packs.
So is it cheaper to buy the game on Switch 1, get a year of Nintendo, and then get the free upgrade?
Well, we don't know what the price for the
we don't definitively know that answer till we know the upgrade pack prices, but those are the only 2 games so far that are listed as a benefit for the expansion pack tier. It's not like you get every upgrade pack, it's just those 2.
While we're talking about upgrade expansions and remasters here, are all of these, Damiani, gonna be paid upgrades? Because on PlayStation and Xbox,
no, they're not. They actually did confirm that some games are going to run better.
Yeah,
have faster load times.
Skip to that real quick. Yeah, here are the games confirmed for free updates. Huber.
This is
all okay. So ARMS, Captain Toad, Super Mario Odyssey, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury.
Dude, that's gonna look sick.
Clubhouse Games, Link's Awakening, and Echoes of Wisdom. Those better run at smooth frame rates.
I want to see the frame rates. I want to see the frame rates.
Yeah, that one I'm actually excited about.
Holy shit.
Game Builder Garage, which is a game you will need an original Joy-Con for. It will only support the original Joy-Con. Yep. Infrared. They have a list of that stuff too. New Super Mario Brothers Deluxe. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are getting a free update, so those running
that's some
at a nice
there.
frame rate. And then Big Brain Academy, Brain versus Brain. Those are the free ones that will you don't have to pay anything extra, and that's all they have listed for now.
Yeah, those are the first party, so they would probably get similar things on third party side too.
Got it. Okay, that's good.
But yeah, pricing, it's the hot topic right now.
Definitely.
We'll see if Nintendo reacts to it at all, if they're seeing any movement on when pre-orders start to actually open up. April 9th they open up at retailers. Nintendo's doing their own direct pre-order system as well. We'll see.
Which I predicted, and I'm happy that actually came true.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be that hard to maybe get one if you're at least around on April 9th to try and pre-order, but it's how many games are people going to buy at this price? Are they? Yeah, it'll be interesting to see as we get closer to release. Also, they have a whole gauntlet of accessories they're going to be selling as well. Pro controllers coming back. It looked very cool. Has those back GR buttons now as well. The grip buttons, but the Joy-Con, the new Joy-Con, the Joy-Con 2, they're officially called. The mouse controls, they confirmed that it's gonna have the mouse controls, bigger SLSR buttons on the inside top of them.
I love
so
that.
when you're using them individually, larger control sticks, and they connect magnetically. And they even showed pulling on them that they don't come off unless you hit the release button. But they are $90 now.
Jesus.
So
Joy-Cons are $90.
Yeah, but the Joy-Con ones are $80 per set.
Yeah,
it's not
so it's a $10
that big of a jump.
There better not be drift. If there's drift,
that's true.
I won't have a choice.
But it's been on all the controllers, unfortunately. But
I guess, but it's it's the worst.
Yeah, we can't excuse this, Bloodworth. Don't
I've
give
purchased
Nintendo
the
a free
most
pass here, bro.
Joy-Cons,
It's unacceptable.
Yeah, I'm sure Blood will talk about in his impressions about drag and drive, about how the mouse controls feel. But I really feel that was the only thing they showed off, other than traditional a few other small things, a game that fully takes advantage of it.
Metroid
so I'm kind of
does, and so does Civ.
Yeah, well, for traditional that, but a Nintendo unique way, because they're saying you can use 2 at the same time. I'm curious if they have
Mario
more in the
Party
works.
Does too,
Yeah, Mario Party. Baby.
Oh, nice. There you go. But yeah, the other stuff is.
I think with the price, Damiani, it's kind of a perfect storm. Just with everything that's going on in the world right now economically, but then also it's the combination of that and also raising the price to 80, which has not really been done before. So kind of just definitely feels like it is, the main point of conversation. Sure.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll see if we're getting back to peak and arrogant Nintendo here in a little bit. I mean, they're definitely approaching that point here if they've not already passed the hurdle. But in the lineup, the reason I also want to talk about the lineup of software, accessories, it was the usual suspects that you expect there, except for one new one. The camera.
Right.
They have a new camera thing that's going to be integrated into Game Chat, which is the big reveal for that C button on those controllers. We've all been speculating what that is. It's basically built-in Discord you can bring up using the new C button. The camera functionality, it's going to put your face into games, not just for like discussion, but like they showed Super Mario Party Jamboree. Yeah. All that work we do in OBS, don't have to do that anymore. The faces will just be on your character things.
Yeah, true.
There's built-in mic in the Switch too as well. So like you have the microphone there for audio. All this will require a Nintendo Switch Online subscription, but they're going to make all of this Game Chat, and they also mentioned Game Share, which isn't anything new. It's just a way to locally share your game with other people.
But you can do
proximity.
it online now, right, with Game Share?
Yeah, and you could do it to like older Switches somehow. Apparently, like they
updated
like
the Clubhouse games on regular Switch to do it.
Which someone caught something about a 3DS game listed. We don't know if it's an error or if maybe that's how they're going to handle 3DS support on Switch. That might be for down the line. But all this stuff is supposed to require a subscription. They are going to make it free until March 31st of next year to try out. So for like
that's
full
Game Chat. The game.
Yeah, for Game Chat.
Yeah, the game sharing thing is separate. You don't need a subscription for that.
Yeah, you don't need a subscription for that. But Game Chat, the thing that looked like it was Discord that they were using, is basically. I'm sorry, it just looks like Discord. It's just Discord.
We were like, isn't this Discord? Like, oh, this is Discord integration.
Yeah, except there's not like a chat functionality, typing chat.
We thought they said that, but there isn't, right?
Yeah, the three things that they showed is like, you could have like your friends' windows down below with their game feeds, and optionally them in front of the game feed, like you would do on Zoom or whatever, if you have a camera, and then you could share, like you could like pull up the person's, like expand it so that you could see it, and they actually showed like another video where like somebody needed help finding something in like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, and their friend kind of helped them navigate to where it was or whatever. And then the one of the bizarre things is that the microphone is on the system. Yeah. There's not like a mic that you plug into the headset or into the controller or anything like that. Or I don't know if it would work with the Bluetooth mic, but they do say it will work with third-party cameras, Damiani.
Yes.
And Hori already showed one that looks like a piranha plant, which was really freaking cute.
I love that. I love that one.
Oh my God.
Closing the mouth so the camera lens isn't is hidden. So
But so there's tech in there that makes it better to identify people and basically masks them out, like for games like Mario Party that have like a lot of that kind of like iToy-esque functionality.
Total iToy vibes.
And then they have a chip in there to do the noise cancellation, the separate chip specifically. And in the Q&A, they said one of the things that they decided not to cancel out, Damiani, was clapping, because they wanted people to have that energy, and so if somebody starts clapping, they don't want it to be muted and like
great for me.
Yeah.
Great for me.
Yeah.
That's very good. That's very good. Go ahead.
It just I don't know. It's so emblematic of Nintendo's like obsession with gaming as a social experience. Like they want people to all be in the same room. I hope they're not. Sorry, I just had a thought. I hope they're not like uploading our faces to some data. Anyway, so like, just Nintendo's obsession with gaming being a social and they're really the only company that is doing that consistently.
Well, no, I
mean,
mean they're putting more emphasis on this in this direct, but like a lot of this stuff has already existed on PlayStation and Xbox for a long time. And Nintendo has actually been kind of behind the curve on this stuff.
Yeah, but not.
And I think that this shows that the three producer, director, and technical director they brought out on the stream leading the charge on this. There's some other stuff I'll get to when we get to the Q&A more in depth, but it feels like. Yeah, like a younger generation of people that are listening to what's important to today's gamers.
Yeah, I guess that point about like it's them catching up. I wanted like this mystery of the C button. Like, was this really that exciting? Like, obviously people are blowing it out of proportion, but like it's pretty standard fare. It's not like anything too earth shattering. So I could see how some people might.
Yeah. No, I probably won't.
Yeah. You don't have to use it, right? And for stuff like Mario Party, we'll probably love using that, especially when we're streaming it, because it helps Yeah, I think it'll help definitely people who want to use it, and it's a good thing to have. But if you don't want to use it, just move on. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not sure it's worth all the fanfare.
The fact that the camera is integrated into Mario Party fucks me. Because now I got to get it.
We'll get one for the office.
Well, but
Take
you
it.
might have a compatible camera already. That's the thing.
Yeah,
is
that's
to like
good.
kind of
Yeah,
check in and
I
give
need
it a whirl before you spend whatever the camera price is.
It's $50.
The whole
Oh,
thousand-
it's only
$9.99.
$50.
50.
Oh.
But I don't know if it has audio though. I think it's just
No, the audio
might just
comes through the mic on the Switch.
So how?
Yeah, so yeah.
I got to have my face there for Bowser, dude. Like, I want him to know who the contestants are, what we look like.
Bowser uploads your face to the to the Japanese government. Yeah.
Oh man. So besides Game Chat, another big thing they revealed that's going to be available on day one is the addition of the GameCube game service to Nintendo Switch Online
Yes.
for those who are a member of the expansion pack. So yeah, day one, you're getting the Wind Waker, F-Zero GX, Blood Just Stays Winning, and Soul Calibur 2.
Huge,
And
dude.
they confirmed they will be running in higher resolutions than the original releases. So
Damiani, I want to take a beat to just talk about backwards compatibility and like game
got that.
preservation and old game. No, just like in general, like
yeah.
it's so funny that we all sit down, the world sits down to watch the Switch 2 Direct, a brand new Nintendo console, and one of the most emotional moments and one of the most exciting moments was the ability to play 20-year-old GameCube games on this console. And I think that has always been so important to gamers is the ability to just play their old games on the new systems. So yeah, this was just a really feel-good announcement that we were expecting, but you never really know with Nintendo. So yeah,
I mean,
GameCube,
people have been begging for GameCube for a long time.
forever.
You know,
Yes.
like I'm in a situation where like I can't afford to get my GameCube repaired right now. So like if
Yeah.
I play a GameCube game, I've got to play it
Yeah.
on the Wii. But I've got like a ton of freaking Japanese GameCube games that won't work on my Wii, right? So it's like, you know. So it's great to see those things, and then especially the more rare things like Damiani, like one of the first things they showed in the upcoming list was Fire Emblem.
Hell yeah.
Yes,
That is
Path
a
of
lot of
Radiance.
money to get a Path of Radiance copy right now.
This is to your point and to Huber's, this is the biggest win is when you see what games are going to be coming out. We went through this. I mean, to give shout outs to like other platforms when PlayStation brought like the Suikoden games, like the old ones on there as well. It's like thank you. Like it makes it easier for people who want to experience them to play them in an official capacity without having to resort to other means.
Old and new
not
fans,
be rich.
Damiani.
Yeah, exactly.
Old
Yeah.
fans who just love those games and want to replay them and revisit them, and then new fans who are curious about long-running franchises and historically important games. So
Now,
great.
Here's the big question: Will
what?
they bring Brawl?
No, Melee.
Melee, sorry,
Yeah,
Melee.
yeah.
I think that they
So-
will, but yeah.
They're
okay.
like active haters on
That-
Melee.
okay.
So
Melee is a game, I think. I mean, the answer is like, yes, they could bring it. They also could be like greedier and make like a special standalone version of Melee to like really capitalize because they know people will pay up for it. But
And
it
64 Smash is there, right?
wasn't in their list. They, as Blood said, they did showcase a list. Like
saved
Sunshine's
that.
coming, Fire Emblem's coming, Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, another unique one. I played that one. That was fun. Strikers, Super Mario Strikers, Chibi Robo, Luigi's Mansion, Pokemon Coliseum. So I think Melee might be in the works down the line because Super Smash Brothers is a series I think they will leverage at the right time.
100%.
Yeah.
That's a
Now,
button you push. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're also releasing a new another GameCube controller for this, a wireless version that also has some of the Switch 2 buttons on there, like the C button will be on
Is
there
there?
as well.
controller looks so nice.
How much is that?
We don't know. It will be available through Nintendo's store
Yeah,
it's probably
day
another
one,
70 bucks.
so June
It's-
5th.
It's like the other classic controllers. You have to order it through Nintendo.
Got it.
But
Those are always so hard
it
to
is
get.
compatible. You can use
Yes.
current game. You can GameCube controllers with that adapter if you had it on Wii U or Switch.
Great.
You can
Yes.
use those.
Very nice.
I'll just go ahead and throw this in. One thing that's a little bit weird about that wireless GameCube controller, Damiani, is because they've updated to like a modern Rumble. It significantly
Heavier?
feels lighter.
Oh, it's lighter. Okay, I thought the
Yeah. I
GameCube
like the
controllers
way-
felt pretty light originally.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe compared
But you
to
know,
a
the Wavebird felt a little bit lighter.
Yeah,
because it didn't have a
you're
rumble in
right.
it, yeah.
It'll be
quick-
interesting.
Quick shout out, honestly, to the GameCube controller because I've had controllers my entire life since NES, and I feel like the GameCube controller hardware has stood up the longest.
Even
For
when
how
I've
much
had
I use
loose
that,
sticks, that's still fine to play.
yeah, like that controller was made so well. Absolutely, shout out, one of the best ever.
I also want to give a quick shout out. They also showed that you can completely remap the buttons
That was
scheme
great.
for any
Yep.
game. Like
Sick.
complete full control. Like amazing. Like thank you for doing that. And last thing, I don't think the inclusion of certain games, like people are freaking out that because the Wind Waker is being released, we will never see Wind Waker HD freed from the Wii U. Or I don't think that's true. I think they can do both. They absolutely can put Wind Waker
Yeah, I
HD
think so.
on here piecemeal at some point in the future. Like don't think because this happened, this is going to preclude that from
Yeah,
being a
Damiani,
possibility.
maybe like you could only get this version on the subscription, and then if they added the HD one, it would be a paid purchase separately.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
that's what I'm
so.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let me ask you this to wrap this part up real quick. If you don't already have the expansion pack tier, is GameCube going to get you to jump into it? And are you upset that like they aren't maybe selling these separately? Like if you don't want to pay the expansion pack tier, let's say this is one game. Let's say you want just Fire Emblem. It's like, dang, I've been waiting for Fire Emblem. Are you going to make me pay for this? Like,
Yeah, no, they,
Yeah,
they should absolutely have standalone purchases for
I
these
agree.
things. I think
agree.
I think the difficulty that they have is again would be the pricing. The price that they would end up setting for those would end up
Yeah.
making a lot of people like, what?
$80.
Yeah.
$90.
I think they
$90.
would probably be like 15 or 20, something like that. If they
Yeah.
if they sold them
A lot of those
standalone.
old PlayStation classics are like, 10, 20,
Yeah.
25.
I so that 100% they should have every single thing that's on those services available to
Yeah.
purchase
I
for
agree.
people that just want those and then don't want to have to continually sub all the time.
It's about options.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like I already have an expansion pack, so but at this point it's like it's hard to argue like with not getting one. Like if you like the classic games at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Hell
so
of
you
a
got
back
all of these
catalog.
expansions for like Animal Crossing and Mario Kart and all that stuff. Now you get the upgrades
It's a
for
good- it's a
Zelda
good value,
games
for sure.
and you've got all of these extra libraries.
How much is all of that a month?
Well,
It's like 30 a year, right?
30 a year.
Yeah,
a
they
year.
were mum on if
Really
there's any kind of
nice.
price increase or anything. They didn't say anything, so we're just assuming it's going to hold steady at the same
Yikes.
price. But given everything has jumped up in price,
Yup.
they might be waiting to rip that Band-Aid off a little bit
Yeah,
closer to
we all remember
launch.
when PlayStation was just like, hey, guess what? Like
Now you
Yeah.
gotta pay for it.
80%
Hey,
price hike or whatever
Right,
the
it was
hell that
insane, yeah.
was.
So you can play GameCube games on the Switch 1 as well, or right?
No.
I'm sorry?
This
No,
is brand new.
it's just the
Brand
Switch
new.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Essential.
I was just reconfirming the price for
Yeah, I'm
it.
trying to see it too.
$49.99
50 a year.
individual
Sorry.
or $79.99 if it's to do with the family
Still not
plan.
bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
The regular Switch Online is 20. That's why I was thinking
Yes.
30. But yeah, it's
Okay,
actually
okay.
a pretty big bump.
It's a
It's big
fair.
impact.
That's a fair deal. It's a fair price.
Yeah,
think
and hopefully they won't make more tiers though. Hopefully it just stays in those two tiers.
Oh,
And,
Kingdom.
yeah.
Don't
Hopefully
make it
they
too
see
confusing.
that people hate the extra tiers on the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the last thing before we move on to software stuff, like the games, last backwards compatibility thing. They did
Yes.
put out these two They put out two lists of games, Switch 1 games that currently have some kind of compatibility issues running on Switch 2. A list of games that will boot up and run, but will have some kind of issue when playing it on Switch 2. And then a list of games that won't even boot up on Switch 2.
okay.
So for example, a game that will have issues when you're playing it is the Mega Man Legacy Collection. And then, like I picked ones. There's obviously like big 3D ones, like Alan Wake Remaster is like one of the ones. But I want to pick like things you'd be surprised at on the list. So like that's an example of one I'll have issues. And then one that won't even boot up apparently is the Final Fantasy 1 Pixel Remaster. Will just not boot up currently on Switch 2. Yeah. And they
is
also
very strange.
Yeah. And
Because
they
the
reminded
examples
you-
they gave in the Q&A were things that were like very obvious. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
like Labo,
Yeah.
like the Joy-Con 2 won't fit in the cardboard box.
Exactly.
And like, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Though, as you mentioned, Ring Fit Adventure, Nintendo Sports, Labo, all will require the original Switch Joy-Con to play on Switch too. So you can play them on there. You just need that original Joy-Con. And that was pretty much it. Yeah, I feel like the upgrade pack is where people are going to get, like, you know, depending on how much it costs, a little upset. But it seems like a majority of your games will just be compatible day one on Switch 1. And a few of the first party ones are getting that free upgrade, as we mentioned already, that list of games earlier that we said. So they are giving you like something with that.
Now I really need to go through that list whenever I get the Switch 2 and I have to start transferring things over. I was like, okay, Mega Man stays on Switch 1.
Yeah. Well, they say in the column, actively investigating.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
But then one of them
had that issue too with backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
They had to patch some games to make them work. They had, you know, some of them had weird visual issues. There was one that what is that? There was a game that like was running too fast. An old game. It was backwards compatible. It was on PlayStation.
Makes
that like made
sense,
a part impossible. Chad, do you remember what game that was?
was it Final Fantasy 8?
Oh, I forget.
Running
It was
Oh,
like
no. I know what you're talking
it was
about.
like a QTE. The QTE was like running too fast in the background, so it was like impossible to beat. Oh, what was that?
What was it?
I don't
that
remember.
Oh gosh,
Chat,
I remember
tell us,
this.
chat.
Shadow
Yeah, we'll look it up.
So
Yeah.
funny.
Besides the features and technical specs and all the wonderful things that are coming with the Switch 2 hardware, Nintendo spent a good amount of time talking about the games we're going to be playing on the Switch 2. We're going to, this part, we're going to keep it to like what we saw in the Direct, because as mentioned before, Blood got hands-on with a lot of these games. I got, do a deep dive with these. So we're going to stick to like maybe a little bit surface level here just for a second. And the biggest one, the first one, the launch title, the big launch title. We've all been guessing what it was going to be. And it's Mario Kart. Mario Kart World, baby.
Oh my God,
Launch
it looks
title.
good.
And a lot of things they're doing differently. Just based on the Direct, they showed that it's like, obviously with the name World on it, it's like a world theme. They showed a big map. All the courses are like interconnected. You're gonna have 24 characters in each race. Yeah, they showed like how when you do like a circuit in a normal one, it's like 4 tracks. You're gonna be driving between the courses. I was like, wait, what? How's that gonna work? I can't wait to hear how Blood explains how that works. They showed outfits, changing outfits.
So many
from,
sick outfits.
Yeah, new outfits. We got to figure out how that's going to work, because everyone was asking you that from Mario Kart Tour.
Yeah, it's a very interesting
item
mechanic with that. Yeah.
But wait, I have a question about
Go ahead.
Do you want me to answer? But yeah, let me know.
Blood probably has the answer.
Software and hardware. How many players local can play? Is it the same?
I don't know about like that. It supports up to 24 characters in a race.
Yeah.
Each race has.
in general,
I only
how
saw
many
like
does the Switch support?
I think they probably still just do
Switch
4-player
2,
local.
4, okay.
Just 4-player local.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't 100% know that, but I think that's probably the case.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the outfit thing, there's got to be something more to it that like I don't fully understand, and they are going to have another Direct
Some abilities
for
tied to it. Or something.
for the 17th for just Mario Kart. But basically, you would see these like little like takeout bags around different areas. These like glowing orange takeout bags.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you would drive over the takeout bag, it would be like when you have an item pickup, but instead of one of your weapons, piece of food would come up, like a 3-layer cake or like a burrito or pizza
They know
or
what's
whatever.
up.
And then like when you ate it, then there's this like little bubble around your character, and then when you come out, you have a different costume. And so so like Waluigi, there was like a mariachi costume, and there was like a drag racer, like an old school like race car driver. There's like a biker costume, and then Peach had a bunch of different ones too. So, but I couldn't tell like whether there was anything to it other than just visual.
Got it. Okay.
Or if it was like that's how you unlock them is by finding them. You know?
Sure.
Hopefully that's
Oh yeah, that could be it.
Yeah.
hopefully
Blood.
that's
Yeah,
it's not
we'll have
just
to
if you hit
see.
this
That's
thing
They're
on
probably
it.
definitely saving that for that Mario Kart Direct.
Yeah, it really feels like there's a ton of meta overarching progression this time around, which is so exciting for Mario Kart.
Yeah. One of the other hooks they're showing, they showed in the Direct footage, was these like kind of like platforming tricks you can do, like grinding on rails and like
wall
bouncing
riding.
off walls,
I couldn't
riding
get the wall riding
walls.
figured out, but yeah, I need to practice on that.
Shit, dude.
Oh,
Blood
dang.
stumped, bro.
The grinding was fairly automatic. It's like if
Yeah.
you see a rail or like a power line leading up, then you could just grind on it.
Yeah.
But the wall running is like I think you have to have like a mushroom. I think you
Got
have to
it.
like boost and jump at the right
In terms
point.
of weight and speed and feel
Yes.
and drifting, did all of that feel similar to 8 Bloodworth?
Yeah. There's some
Okay.
there's some nuance changes in there, but it definitely feels very very similar.
Nice.
And all of that, especially like with different weights of carts and that kind of
Yeah.
thing.
We mentioned the Grand Prix. They showed Grand Prix mode returning, 4 courses. They had a screen that showed like the different CC, like 50, 100, 150 CC. New items apparently, but Blue Shell is back.
Blue Shell, baby.
The
Gotta
Blue
have
Shell is
it.
never going
Yeah.
away.
They brought
gotta
back
have
the
it.
comic book text though, Damiani. So like when blue shells and
Ooh.
stuff go off, there's like a big like boom like on the screen where it
Nice.
goes off.
That's so good.
Yeah, look at this Luigi hat here. Farmer
I love
Luigi.
the hats.
Yeah, it looks so
I
good.
need this in my veins right now.
They showed 2 new modes. Knockout Tour,
Knockout
which
hype.
Huber knew it
This
exactly
is
what it
so
was
fun.
right away.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
you gotta like in different legs of a race, you gotta be above a certain position to
Basically,
remain
it's
in
the
race.
last 4 get eliminated each time.
Gotcha. And then the awesome one, free roam mode, where it's just like drive wherever you want,
Good.
explore. They said like you find secrets. I did see someone mention in the comments that like from the treehouse footage that they suggested you go to like use it to like scout courses and figure
Yeah.
out better like routes and find
You can
secret
find shortcuts
paths
and stuff that way.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like that's insane.
One of the things that's really great is so with Knockout, you need 24 people to play.
Yeah.
And so what they do is while you're waiting for that group, it just puts you into free roam. So you can just drive around and explore the map until the race
Yeah,
starts.
Fortnite
Yeah.
lobby for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
That's funny.
That's I mean that's nice to have that in there for sure.
Blood on the free roam, dude. We saw some buildings. Like there's a parking structure.
Yep.
Can you drive all the way through that parking structure? Like all the way up and around? Like can you drive in straight up locations
I
that are
didn't
not
see the
in a
parking structure
track?
itself, but there were a lot of things like that. Like I said, like there was like some item on top of a rooftop, and so I had to like from far away
So
get
cool.
onto like a power line, grind the power line, and then jump off at the right point to
Amazing.
get that item.
Amazing.
Nice.
Yeah,
This is
I know-
Odyssey.
Yeah, I know.
This is
Odyssey
It's
content.
an Odyssey
This
for
is
sure.
yeah. This is the one I watched the Treehouse for. So I know Blood has a lot more cool details that he's going to share with us. That like there's a lot more to this game that looks awesome. But let me ask you this, just on the surface level from what we saw from the presentation, are you happy that Mario Kart is the launch title? Do you think it's the right launch title? And from what you've
it's
seen
the
so far,
best-selling game on Switch.
Yeah,
so,
it's absolutely
it was a
the
Wii U
best.
game. So it's a
does it look
pretty
unique
no-brainer.
enough to you? Was it doing enough different for you?
Yeah,
I think
this-
the answer's obvious,
Dude,
but
yes. This feels like such a big step up. This feels like an actual like huge sequel evolution.
It's funny because until this point, I was like, what are they going to do?
Yeah,
and it
same.
was
Yeah.
always just very like, oh, add other franchises and things like that. But like in a lot of different ways, just like not just the open world aspects, but the course designs and a lot of the stuff that they're doing. Like courses just feel bigger in a way. They feel larger
24
than life.
people, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, they are physically wider, but like a lot of the locations and stuff that you go to, I think because you can drive on those things in the open world, they feel more real than just like a background set piece, you know?
Yeah. Totally.
Unreal.
yeah, I'm excited for this. I think it's a great launch title.
I agree. I think it's like depending on how it goes, it's potential to be one of the best launch titles
Yeah.
possible. I mean, it's freaking Mario Kart.
Yeah, and there's obviously features and modes I'd like to see, but they also have a direct coming up, so they obviously are holding back some stuff. So it's like,
Yeah.
let me wait till I see that direct before I start asking for more. But like, this looks, it looks great, and I can say just from the footage I did see in the treehouse, like visually, it looked like really impressive. So I'm like very excited to like spend countless hours riding across all these courses
Peach's
for sure.
Castle, like
Yeah,
just free roaming in that
absolutely.
Damiani,
I was
finding those doors.
riding around there.
Do you think
Let's
they're gonna
go.
add new parts of the map? Like, how are they gonna?
Oh, there'll be
do-
expansions. Yeah, you just bolt on like legions or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so far ahead, yeah.
Yeah. Damiani, we
Equally-
only have like 8 minutes with you, so
Yeah.
be sure to get to the stuff you want to get to.
Yeah, let's just okay. The next one I was is like this Donkey Kong Bonanza. That was like the next big one they showed off, and like I gotta say, like I know there's some people like Donkey Kong. Great to have Donkey Kong back. Looks so expressive, like the facial animations that they were going with, and just like the animations in general he was doing in the presentation. And honestly, I know some people may be like, "Well, where's 3D Mario?" It's like, dude, it's 3D Donkey Kong, and this looks like what obviously there's DK flair in this, but I mean, I don't know. Blood, can you answer me this? Can you confirm the developer of this or not?
I can't, and it's so frustrating because I was going around asking over and over, and they would not tell me.
Wow.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I have actually at this point I have 100% confidence that this is the Mario Odyssey
It's
team.
gotta
Yeah.
be.
Okay, so this is
100%.
Yeah.
There's like
Okay.
no doubt in my mind whatsoever.
Yes.
It just has so much of their style from a visual perspective, from a gameplay, the way these levels are designed. Just even like the way like they kind of present things of like, you know, how many like banana gems, whatever they're called, pop up like on a menu. Like it really, really feels like that team. So I would be shocked if it wasn't.
It just looks so fun. Like
Looks
destructible
so fun.
environments, just like DK smashing up everything and taking up chunks of like the ground to like use in various ways. Like just seems seems way more like immediately like easy to understand and digest, and like what Tears of the Kingdom was trying to go for. Some was like its concepts is like, oh, this simple, don't smash, grab, throw, like great, and like digging. It's all about like going underground, and like the way they present the camera. It's sometimes like, well, how are you gonna like present? Like I saw like one of the clips is like that's awesome. Like it's so clear where you all are at all times. Sometimes in the underground, but like the exploration, they kept going off about like exploration and stuff. How cool is that? We even saw like one part where they even like have a side-scrolling segment that looks like it's from Donkey Kong Country. It honestly like looks phenomenal to me in terms of like, from a gameplay standpoint and what we're going to be doing to explore in it, and the fact that like you're going down into an underground, you're going to constantly be going down and exploring that way. This is what I kind of like hope Metroid would do. Is like, oh, Metroid's about subterranean stuff, like maybe get weapons where you go like
SteamWorld Dig over here.
like SteamWorld Dig. It's like Donkey Kong is just doing it, baby.
Gorilla?
Also, the animation when he collects a golden banana, what did he say? Like, banana or something. It's like, that had me. I was like, I love it. But yeah, I just want to say, like, this looks fantastic, and I'm very excited to play this, and I think this could be huge.
Yeah,
So huge.
We'll get to it, but it plays very well, and there's a lot to say about this. Yeah, for sure.
And that's a launch game, or
No,
a month
July
later.
17th.
July.
So
Yeah, it's
just
in
a
the month. Yeah, it's the first month. Like it's coming.
Perfect.
Like give it some breathing room
Let
for Mario Kart,
breathe a little
right?
bit.
Yeah.
for sure.
Get your next paycheck so you can pay for the next Nintendo game.
Exactly.
Obviously, there were more games that we'll Blood, and then we'll dive into in a little bit. I want to say like one last thing: Hyrule Warriors: Age of Imprisonment. I was like, oh, another Muso game.
Right.
It says developed by AAA Game Studios and not Omega Force, but it is the director or producer from the previous Hyrule Warrior games who's leading this studio and leading this project. And again, it's billed as a prequel to Tears of the Kingdom. Age of Calamity was built as a prequel to Breath of the Wild. I just loved what Age of Calamity did by working in elements of Breath of the Wild into the core game itself. Even like the map of Hyrule was like the same and you were exploring it. So like if they go to that degree and it's on Switch 2 with better performance, I'm very excited about this, because that was one of the things holding it back was like, it was a little switchy for large scale Muso game.
That's true.
Yeah.
They always push the limits on that stuff, but that's definitely a game that could use a good upgrade. Yeah.
Yeah. And then finally, the third party support. I just want to say it feels like it's been a long time since we've seen this much tangible concrete third-party support out of
dude.
the gates. Like, obviously, you guys are going to
GameCube.
talk about the Dust Bloods in a little bit later on. Like Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade coming to Switch 2, and Hamaguchi said that like that's not it. We're working on more. So it's like they're trying to figure out how to get Rebirth on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Silk Song was mentioned.
Silk
It was
Song.
2025.
Silk Song mentioned
They mentioned
2025.
Silk Song.
So funny.
It was surprising because I really did feel like this being the reveal and all of that it was going to be very first-party focused, and Nintendo has been stockpiling games, as we know. So to see them talk about this many games from third parties and like feels like just about everybody's here, like
Everybody's here.
EA and 2K are there like right out the gate.
Exactly. Yeah.
Cyberpunk is there right out the gate. Borderlands is on the list. Just like and then Sega's in there with a bunch of things. Star Wars Outlaws is in there, which I did not expect.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah, I will just have to say, because people will probably be like, well, Dominic, you said everything was going to be in there. It was the megaton of megatons from third parties. It's like, Nintendo was probably like, get everyone chill out. The line was probably around the block from third parties at like Nintendo HQ with like, yo, we want to talk about this. Like, we're going to have many more directs this year, guys. Like, probably one or two more maybe this year. Talking about upcoming software, like, spread the love, like space it out a little bit. Like, we can't all be right out of the gate. So I expect anything you maybe didn't hear about probably is either ready to go or in the works, and like it just that level of enthusiasm at the beginning just like convinced me. Like they had a little bit of everything. It said upcoming new big AAA third party games going to be day one on Switch. Some of the games that are like more technically challenging, like if Cyberpunk's going to be on Switch, I've heard a lot of arguments about why Monster Hunter Wilds will not be on Switch because of like things like the CPU, but like I don't know. We'll see. But like I think everything is going to be coming to like Switch 2 at some point. It's just take it easy, take it slow. Like we didn't need like 100 games at launch. Maybe some people want that, but it's like I don't need like every single previous gen game available day one at launch. Like especially if they're gonna do like Switch 2 editions or something. Like let's spread it out. Felt good though. Felt so good.
Yeah.
And
good lineup.
for those who are upset about maybe not more first party games, same thing. It's like, this felt like it was covering like the launch window, like the first 5 months maybe.
Yeah.
And we know of some other games coming out for Switch 1 that will have Switch 2 editions. Like you'll talk about Metroid Prime 4 and Pokemon like ZA was also shown off. They'll have an enhanced edition, but they obviously have more in the works.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like they obviously got so much more in the works. So like,
I don't really
just
know how you
be
could
patient.
I don't know how you could ask for more, Damiani.
I'm not.
Yeah, not
I just
you. I
know-
mean, just in general.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
Mario Kart is Mario, Donkey Kong, Kirby, Metroid, Pokemon, like
Street
all
Fighter.
of these things
And
are
yeah,
coming.
Kirby Air Riders from Sakurai got announced. The follow up to
software.
Kirby Air Ride.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys will keep talking about that, but
So wild.
it was so enjoyable to watch it. Felt so good, and I understand everyone's frustration about the pricing. Like it is like software pricing. Of course.
Yeah.
It's a little overly aggressive, but
Don't do it.
Especially
Nintendo,
Yeah.
Like,
you fixed the 3DS pricing. It's time to listen.
and they only like in the industry as a whole only raised the price on it. They only just raised it from 60 to 70.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
in the
it's
grand
still
scheme of things,
it's still
that just happened.
starting to become. And I think especially on the Nintendo side, like, is there even any other Switch game that hits 70?
Besides Tears of the
Damiani,
Kingdom?
other than Tears of the Kingdom?
I think that was it.
That's why it's crazy.
Skipping
Unless
70
Metroid
straight to
Prime
80.
4.
Yeah, you're just
I don't know if
skipping
Metroid
right
Prime
ahead.
4 on
Hubris.
Switch might be 70. They haven't given
Maybe.
a price for the Switch 1 version. I could see that possibly being 70. Since the Switch 2 edition, I don't know. We'll have to see. But
Yeah.
if
I
it's
know
not
that they're
Metroid Prime
probably
4, it's
hedging
it.
their bets because it's probably going to be another 10-year system,
Hubris.
ideally, but it's just
Rockstar is so
It is
pumped.
hubris.
raise it when you need to raise it if that's going
They
to be the
were
case.
all
Yeah.
like Rockstar HQ was watching that direct, and right when they saw 80, they were just like, "Yep. There we go."
Yeah, it's a permission slip.
It is. It's not our
Once
fault.
somebody
Nintendo
else
did
does it,
first.
then there you go. There you,
It's
you
raised
broke it.
second.
Yep.
All right. Well, I have to step away for
Aw,
now, but
we love you,
I have so much fun talking about. I'm so jealous of Blood. Have fun talking about those hands-on impressions and.
Oh, yeah.
You know what, Damiani?
Yeah.
2 months. 2 months.
I know it's not that long. I don't
Yeah,
feel
it's crazy.
that bad anymore. I feel like it's like 2 months, and then we'll. The funny thing is, I have to figure out how I'm going to pre-order this thing
Yeah.
Right,
because
the
I'm
Nintendo
possibly
Direct thing. It's like an interest. Like
Yeah,
they'll
you
tell you
register
later
your
when you're
interest.
gonna be on the list or not.
sure all that. But I might possibly be out there when it comes out. In LA.
Oh.
So I'm like, do I have to have it shipped out there? I was like, damn it. I was like, I want to.
P.O. box.
Maybe you can
Yeah.
pre-order for pickup.
Yeah, I was like, oh shoot,
at
I
the
have to
local
figure that out. So I was like, all right, but that's a fun problem to have.
Damiani,
Anyway,
do you think the most arrogant move is charging for the welcome tour?
yes.
Oh my god, I forgot
We didn't
about
get
that.
to we didn't get to that. You obviously can get into that.
Yeah.
I did watch a bit of that on the Treehouse. I don't. They haven't given a price for it, so I don't know how egregious it is yet. Especially with Astro's Playroom being free
Yeah.
on PlayStation 5. The one thing they showed, I was like, if they have a ton of this, maybe it's worth like 10, 20 bucks, was they showed playing the original Super Mario Brothers in quote unquote 4K, but rendered in the original resolution on a 4K screen. So as you're scrolling, it's filling in more of the level. It's like it's like a challenge. It's meant to be a challenge. So it's super tiny on the screen and you have to like play through level 1-1 and it keeps expanding across a 4K screen. And I'm like, okay. I was like, I mean, it's interesting.
It's
I was
not
like,
worth $20.
but yeah, like everything else
Right.
is like, there's like medals for doing things, either fast enough or getting enough of things.
Yeah, you get
but,
medals and then you can unlock other things.
and there's quizzes, and I'm like, I don't know. Like Astro's Playroom just had way more compelling
be
stuff in
free.
it than
Yeah,
this.
And it costs $0.
And it was
just
free.
Like, and the Wii Sports, or didn't they have a
Wii
package?
Sports was packing free.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
but Reggie
Insane.
famously had to fight for that. It was not
Yeah.
free
Yeah.
in Japan. You had to buy it in
Got
Japan.
Okay,
Insane.
very
Yeah.
interesting.
That is so
Yeah.
insane. If this is
That-
any more than 99 cents,
More than the Abby. This is
for
what
me,
I was
for
referencing.
me,
in the
$29.99
beginning.
for
if it's $5, then I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm
I
not
guess.
happy to pay
I
$5,
guess.
then sure. If it's
This-
$10, I'm like,
Yeah.
If it's anything more than 10, no.
but also
No,
it
no, no,
depends
no, no.
on what it actually is. If it's literally just a tour,
It is. You
costs
tour
$10.
the Switch 2 unit, and then there's like kiosks to
sometimes you can
learn
play
info,
Mario.
Yeah, it's
and then
like-
there's
it's like a
demo
museum.
stations to do mini
Yeah.
games, and that's like kind of it. And then like you can track everything in these menus. And this is what I was saying, referencing at the beginning, Gabby. The pricing of this will determine how peak arrogant Nintendo has reached
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
This is the barometer for peak arrogant Nintendo, where they've landed at.
how deranged did they decide to be?
I swear it's gonna be $30.
Hubris,
Yeah.
the hubris.
I hope not.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Damiani, thank you so much.
I mean,
dude.
I low-key, I hope it is expensive just so we can laugh about it.
Yeah. All right, we are back without Michael Damiani.
But we're going to check out a little bit more of that Nintendo Direct before we move on.
Yes, because Daniel Bloodworth had the honor, the privilege to play Switch 2 hands-on.
Well, we'll get to that.
We will,
But
we will.
We'll talk about it.
First-
Still, we want to get the Direct out of the way first.
Yep, we're going to go through the games that were shown. We're going to have some rapid fire with a little bit of commentary on some of them. Here we go. Mario Kart World, we already talked about a ton. The game chat, the game share, the Switch 2 features, the welcome tour. Talked about that a little bit.
Goaty.
Goaty welcome tour. Game card, storage, pro controller, date, all that. Super Mario Party Jamboree getting an expansion, which I'm very excited about. I will continue to say it very well might be the best Mario Party
And
ever made.
The camera stuff.
And the
like,
camera
the camera
stuff.
makes it.
Bowser Live game show add on. Like,
Like-
yes, pander, please. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, the moment I have been waiting for with actual frame rates.
Yes.
It's going to be glorious.
Very, very pretty.
Yes. Kirby and the Forgotten Land, another gem.
Yeah, so that has, we'll get to it in my impressions, but that has a whole other expansion to it as well.
Great. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond and Pokemon Legends we saw last week, but now we saw them on Switch 2 tech.
Yeah.
Looking better.
Metroid Prime 4 is like, basically the real version. Yeah.
Yeah. Dragon Drive.
Cool.
Elden Ring.
Yeah. Dragon Drive, I'll talk
Get
about it as
into.
well. But yeah, that's
Yep.
basically like you're using two mice to control a wheelchair and then throw a basketball.
Super cool games. Super cool idea.
Then now I get into third party crazy flood.
Yes, Elden Ring, which is gonna have
The Tarnished
new
Edition.
stuff
The Tarnished
we've
Edition.
seen. They say there's gonna be more stuff revealed later. Like Bandai Namco
okay,
said that. So we'll see how that works with the other versions of Elden Ring, because no Elden Ring player wants to be left out in the cold here. We all want whatever additions there are. Street Fighter 6 year 1 and 2 as well. All those characters. Daemon X Machina, Titanic Scion, Split
Which,
Fiction.
that one I think is a new game.
Got
I think
it.
it's a sequel.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure if it's not just a rename, but I think it looked like a sequel to me.
My Daemon X Machina lore is at a 0 out of 10.
Right.
I have no idea. I apologize. Split Fiction, EA Sports FC and Madden, Hogwarts Legacy, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 with Bikini Bottom.
SpongeBob Bikini Bottom.
Yeah, does that get you hyped as hell or what?
Yes.
buddy?
Oh my god, I love SpongeBob.
Hell yeah.
And we saw Squidward's. We saw like the Squidward's house and maybe Patrick and SpongeBob's houses.
So cool. Tony Hawk, weirdly, one of the first games to do like crossover characters, kind of, you know? You get like Spider-Man in there.
Right.
Yeah, will we
Yeah.
get characters? Will we be able to
Could
skate
easily
as
happen.
Squidward, Mr. Krabs, etc.?
Of extremely high chance. Extremely.
I think so.
Hitman World of Assassination, the gift that just will never stop giving.
Yeah. Put it on everything.
Yes, I saw there's like a new mushroom weapon and like a red Mario type looking suit.
Yeah, there was a Luigi suit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Project 007. They
Dude.
just said there's a pulse.
Mentioned.
Oh my god.
It's okay.
I thought we were actually gonna see it.
I know,
I'm like,
I
there
know.
it is. There it is.
I
and then It
know.
was,
No way.
okay. Just another
I know.
rendered
It
teaser,
hurts.
not even a name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With 007, patience is a virtue. You know, the movie, that franchise licensing and all that. It's just, it's a war zone. It's a war zone.
Yeah.
So there could be a lot of behind the
and the
scenes
license
stuff going on.
license has been changing since they started.
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
and there was the whole thing at the Oscars
yeah.
with Bond.
Amazon
pro-
just bought it. So there's a
broccoli
lot.
propaganda.
There's a lot of
yeah.
insane behind the scenes with 007. So it was just, for me, it was nice that they were like, yo, it's coming. Yeah.
That's why I think it's gonna be a new Bond. It's not gonna be whoever
Yeah.
whoever the new Bond is. I
Yeah,
think it's not gonna be.
I don't think the IO one is going to have
Yeah,
anything to
yeah.
do with the movie at
And
all.
the
Yeah.
brief press release was about it being like the beginning of Bond's career. He's like trying to be a double
Right.
agent.
I see,
I
I
think
see,
they
I
talked
see.
about that before. Yeah.
prequel.
Yeah. Bravely Default HD remaster, Yakuza 0 director's cut hype.
The first of many
This was-
from the way they talked about it.
Oh no!
That whole series is coming.
So
Again.
are you gonna replay all of them?
I
to get the new
replay.
cutscenes?
I replay a lot of games. Yakuza is one of my favorite franchises, and Zero is legit one of my favorite games of all time.
They're just very long.
They are long. It is a commitment. What excited me more than just like the extra cutscenes, because this is a story that is still ongoing. So I'm like, I don't want to like replay Zero in its entirety yet. Like we just had Pirate Yakuza. I'm not even
Right,
done with that yet.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard enough to keep up.
So yeah, it is. You got to work to like stay caught up. What really though excited me, which for sure I'm going to be hopping into, is the red light multiplayer raid mode, which
yeah. What is
Whoa.
this?
full on multiplayer beat 'em up raid mode,
is
and
that?
with like a
In Yakuza.
dude, yeah,
Okay.
with a ton of characters. They showed like 50 plus Yakuza characters you could be in this. We just need Mr. Shakedown. If I can be Mr. Shakedown, Goaty, let's go. So yeah, I wonder, Blood, if they're just gonna have director's cut for every single one of these games now, just another way to sell it, get people in.
From the way, because
Yeah.
you know how they had like the people in between the trailers, like the way he talked is like, yeah, this whole thing is coming.
Yeah.
Every bit of it.
Seriously, if
Lord.
you've not played Yakuza 0, I like don't listen to anyone who's like start here, start there, whatever. Just fucking jump into
Start
Zero.
with Zero.
Just
Yeah.
fucking jump in there. You will not regret it. Absolute 10 out of 10. One of the most important games in recent memory
Yeah.
in the industry, I feel like. This put this franchise on the map.
Yeah, I really do
This
think it's a
changed
turning point.
everything.
Yep.
Huge game. Let's get Shenmue 0. Let's get it. Hyrule Warriors, Age of Imprisonment. Damiani's pumped.
Yeah, that was a one heck of a tease. Like, because like you had those moments like, is this a Muso?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then we
yeah.
were like,
And
oh
like,
wait,
yeah.
it's DLC.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, it is a Muso. Yeah.
But
I mean, I love music. games, so.
Look pretty cool, even
Yeah.
though I'm not into those games, but
Yeah, and Damiani was selling me on it, and I finally got into Dynasty Warriors Origins.
That's true,
I'm
right?
into Muso
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now, so GameCube games, hell of a 3 triple threat there. Wind Waker, F-Zero, and Soul Calibur 2.
Mm-hmm.
GameCube edition with Link, one of the best fighting games of all time. Full stop. That is a big deal. Deltarune 1, 2, 3, 4.
yeah, but if I'm wrong, maybe I'm wrong, but my understanding is that 3 and 4 have not been out yet.
Yes,
Yeah.
2, 3, and 4 are
Yeah,
new.
so that was brand new.
Huge.
Yeah, so.
Borderlands 4, Civilization 7, WWE 2K and NBA 2K, Survival Kids. That one looked pretty cute.
Oh, yeah.
Enter the Gungeon 2 hype.
Yeah, so that's full 3D now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that
Right,
was a little
right,
crazy
totally
to see
new.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, pause for water break.
Water break. Water break.
Stay hydrated, everybody. Starseeker Astroneer Expeditions.
Yeah, so it seems like kind of similar to Survival Kids in a way, but yeah, it seems like a multiplayer kind of take on Astroneer.
That looks fun.
Yeah.
So
Cyberpunk 2077. Yo, quick shout out to Cyberpunk Edgerunners, like one of the best animes ever. Just watch it. If you haven't watched that, you gotta watch it. It's so good. Final Fantasy VII Remake and Intergrade. I
Yes.
love the way they combined the titles there.
Remake,
That's clean.
Intergrade.
Yeah, that's sick. Kanutsugami. Play Kanutsugami. It was so good.
yeah, this is the rapid fire section. now.
Yes. 22 seconds, not like 14 seconds of Hollow Knight Silk Song.
Oh no, I
Not
think it was
even-
4
Yeah.
seconds.
Yeah, it was like
4
yeah.
seconds.
I think when I had because I did the timestamps last night.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that was just 4 seconds.
Insane.
Insane that was the way they showed it, but us
Right.
Silk Song heads are sickos. So the fact that it was there with a nice little 2025 next to it
Right.
is the ultimate
Right.
sign of hope. There's never been better confirmation than it coming out this year.
Yeah.
Like they would not be in the Switch 2 Direct.
Slightly more.
Yes.
6 seconds.
oh, great.
Great. 6 seconds.
Now I'm more confident about it. It's 2 extra seconds.
Story of Seasons Grand Bazaar. God, that one looks so good. man.
Yeah, so my understanding of that, again, very roughly, I think this is sort of like a remake. There was a Harvest Moon Grand
Okay.
Bazaar, but now like Story of
Interesting.
Seasons is its own franchise
Yeah.
or whatever. So like they're kind of like bringing that one back. in a way.
Nice.
Yeah, so again, that's kind of like hearsay chatter that I heard that I could be completely wrong on.
Hearsay chatter.
Right.
TM. Goodnight Universe. 2 Point Museum.
There's another good mouse game
Yeah.
Yep.
right there.
Great. And Civilization we said earlier as well.
Yeah.
That is nice. Wild Hearts S.
That shocked me.
that
I'm
was
like,
shocking.
What?
Yeah.
You're not just like burying
It's like
this game. You're
Yeah,
gonna bring it on
no,
another
I know,
platform.
but what is S?
Just a
Switch
new
version.
Switch
Yeah.
version.
Switch.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Witchbrook, Gabby. Holiday 2025. What a time. Like, this game has Christmas lights
Yes.
and hot cocoa
I
written all
will
over it.
be calling you from my parents' house
Perfect.
on December like 26th.
I'm in.
Like, Huber, you have time to play Witchbrook.
Yeah, brew some potions. Like, dude, I'm hyped on this. It looks gorgeous.
Yeah, oh my god, the pixel art is like,
God.
whew,
Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S.
pumped.
Yeah.
Love Puyo Puyo Tetris. Rune Factory, Gardens of Ozuma, Marvel Cosmic Invasion.
Yeah.
My most hyped to beat 'em up right now by far. Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah. Very
Great.
surprised.
I really liked that game.
Yeah.
I really liked it. Nobunaga's Ambition Awakening.
Nobunaga is in. It's the year of
It
Nobunaga.
is. Fast Fusion.
Fast Fusion. Heck yeah.
You
What
hyped
is
on it?
that?
Yeah, so Shinnen's been doing them since like the Wii U. So it's essentially like a take on F-Zero and Wipeout
okay,
kind of
okay.
gameplay. Yeah. So
Blood is snacking.
Yeah.
and they also kind of like blend in like a little bit of the Ikaruga color
Dude,
matching. So you've got to go like
Ikaruga,
between
shout out.
orange and blue bursts, and you've got to change the polarity of your ship
Dude.
to
Okay.
like hit the boosts and
Yo,
stuff.
so
yeah.
play Ikaruga, dude. Just do it right now. Put it up right now on the side. You're watching, you're listening to this podcast. Just boot it up. Absolute 10 out of 10 game. Shadow Labyrinth, I have the highest hopes and the highest expectations, actually. I don't care. I have a lot riding on this game because I was so invested in that secret level episode.
It was so good.
And because just this game is such a cool take to take Pac-Man.
And it's I want to see more developers taking risks like this.
Yes,
like,
Right.
absolutely.
It's cool that, it's Pac-Man, so of course they were invited to do secret level. But like, the episode is so weird, and they were
Yeah.
just like, whatever, fuck it. Like, let's just make this batshit insane.
Yeah.
Like, make Pac-Man a horror movie, basically.
Seriously.
And then
So
then
cool.
and then they made a game out of that. Like,
so cool.
take.
Well, I
like,
think
those
it's the other way
risks are
around, where it's like
amazing.
they went to
It's like
Bandai
hand in
Namco.
hand.
Oh yeah,
and
sure,
yeah.
sure.
They wanted to make a Pac-Man thing, and like,
we didn't know
and
that
then
when we
Bandai
watched
Namco was
it.
like, "Hey, look at this!"
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
they're like, "Make it as weird as you
Yeah.
want."
Yeah.
After they got the concept, yeah.
Like watching that, I remember being like, dude, we need that as a game
Yes,
to Gabby. I was like
yes.
instantly like, dude, I need that game now.
And then
Like,
2 days later or something?
Yeah.
3 days later, they announced it. And we were like, "Wah!"
Raidu Remastered. No sleep for Kaname Date from
Konami Date.
Kaname Date from AI, the Somnium Files. That
I think it's
is
pronounced I.
got it. That
Yeah.
is Wishnov Core. Somnium Files, right? Doesn't he love those
Somnium
games?
Files.
Does he?
I'm pretty
No,
sure he does.
I don't. I
Never
don't
heard
think
him
he's been
mention
involved in
I
that.
think
series.
that's slanderous.
I swear he told me he loved them.
Okay.
We'll fact check it next time. We'll have all the deets. We'll have a
No, he's
quote.
involved in Danganronpa.
We will have
yeah,
a quote.
right. He's in that.
Yeah, I
but
don't know.
know if
if
he
he's
likes
been
it.
into-
We're gonna have a
Somnium
quote
Files.
from Jason himself to start next week's podcast. Please be excited. Reanimal, absolutely 10 out
So
of 10.
pumped for Reanimal.
Yeah.
Cannot wait.
So terrifying. I'm gonna play that with Marissa. We're gonna have a great.
Not the best
Hell
game
yeah.
for a montage, but you know,
Yeah.
good to have a confirmation that's there.
Fortnite
Also, good to have a confirmation. Everyone assumes
Yep.
it will
Yep.
be there, but of course, you know.
and can we just put Samus in Fortnite, please? Can we just do it? Can we just do it, Nintendo? Put the freaking blaster there. Put Samus there. Like
Yeah.
everyone is in this game. Like just play ball, dude. Play ball, Nintendo. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Just add a skin. Like what they're. We're gonna. I'm not leaving
This studio.
this studio until I stream. Until I stream after this podcast a couple matches of Mortal Kombat with
Oh,
Dawn. I
okay,
need him
okay.
to see the content. It's incredible, and I just always imagine what Nintendo.
I thought you were going to say you're not going to leave until Samus is.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought you were saying that too. You're gonna lock yourself in your office.
Filibuster.
In the office. Like, yeah.
I just get excited to think about like what Nintendo and Epic could do together in
Yes.
collaboration.
If Nintendo was normal.
Ridge Racer,
Yeah, it's an arcade archive. So
$599 US
Going back
dollars.
to the original Ridge Racer. Yep.
Hell yeah. Professor Layton and the New World of
This
Steam.
game looked good.
Yeah.
This looked
We've
good.
seen, a little bit of it before, but yeah, it's nice
Yeah.
to
But like
get a
on
reminder
Switch
that game
too.
exists. Yep.
beautiful.
The first two on DS were like two of my favorite games at the time, like ever, like puzzle games that I just truly loved, and then I just fell off. There's so
Yeah.
many of them
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
I just fell so far.
But it's been a
behind.
minute now. It's been a while since the last one. So.
Yeah, for sure. Tamagotchi Plaza,
Right.
Human Fall Flat 2, and then the last three, which we will dig into just a little bit.
Yeah.
The Dusk Bloods.
The Dust Bloods. Holy freaking crap! What a trailer.
Go watch our reactions to that. 'Cause
Yeah.
we were
Everyone's like,
just
what the hell?
stag-
Well, they
we were
all
like,
have.
is this from
Everybody's
Soft?
watched that. That's the most popular one of the bunch.
Good.
Like, what the hell?
Send it around.
Is going on
What?
here?
Yeah, that was
Holy
crazy.
crap.
The fact that they said Switch to exclusive,
That was
Yeah,
is one of the
dropping
biggest.
that at
That
the
is one of the
end.
biggest megaton bombs of the entire show.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. I do have a little bit from the press release.
hit it, blood.
The Dusk Bloods.
Yeah,
The moon tears will flow
great.
for one and one alone in the
Whoa.
Dusk Bloods.
whoa, battle royale.
A brand new multiplayer title from the creators of Dark Souls and Elden Ring
Okay.
from Software. Available exclusively for Nintendo Switch 2. The Dusk Bloods launches next year. And they have creator's voice with Miyazaki coming tomorrow, the 4th.
Heck yeah.
So you can find out a lot more about
Yeah.
what behind all that on
I'm-
the Nintendo website.
Yeah, it's so interesting that it exists at the same time as Night Rain. Because
Yeah.
they feel
Yeah.
so similar. Just, we haven't even seen gameplay really,
I
so
mean,
we
it
don't
comes
know.
out 2026, doesn't it?
I think they did say 2026.
Yeah.
I think so.
Nice. Good call. But yeah, it's just interesting that these two potentially similar games are coming out at the same time. I mean, I guess that's nothing new. Like From made
Right.
Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2. It's like, okay, a sequel that's similar. So like games of a similar nature can coexist at the same time, but it is weird
they say PvPV.
Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls,
So it's like,
Yeah.
so you're going to be going after other players too, whereas Night Rain is all about cooperation.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to play like Night Rain.
Yeah,
at all.
Night Rain all co-op this like PvP battle royale.
Yeah. with
Energy.
teams.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
Where we
What's-
dropping?
Where we drop
Where
it.
we, where we
Exactly.
dropping
Big Ben
bloods?
every time.
Well, yeah, and there's trains and dinosaurs and like
Yeah.
and jetpacks. Like, what the crap is this
Yeah.
game?
Yeah. Super wild. I wonder if I will. Yeah, I guess if it is PvP, because like I played so much Night Rain. You can check out the previews of that. I've played so much Night Rain. And I kept asking them, and I kept wondering, like, will this game have invasions of other teams? Because, like you said, Blood, it is a very
Right.
cooperative, 3 people together, going through to the end, and that's it. But, judging by Dark Souls and stuff, summoning people and, invading people's game, Demon Souls, it's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
that is such a staple
or
of
do
their
you take
brand.
down some giant boss and then some guy backstabs you?
Yeah.
Like you're
Right.
like, oh, we worked together to take down the boss, but he wants the loot.
Yeah. So it's like, will Night Rain or will Dustbloods be able to coexist better by having that PvP focus?
Right.
I wonder. Time will tell. We'll know more tomorrow when Miyazaki tells us.
So interesting.
Yeah, and we'll probably see some gameplay.
To release a game that is also a compound word, a made-up compound word,
Yep.
that also has the word blood in it,
I know, it's
Right.
insane.
is really crazy.
Right?
It's
They-
really diabolical.
It is. They love messing with Bloodborne fans more than anything. Like, it is such a thing. Holy
Well,
shit.
they know what they're doing.
Oh, I was here.
Isla.
Yeah,
Just in time for
Whoa.
Dustbloods. Isla perfect. Spit.
I know. I
Say
heard
stuff.
you talk about it. What have you already said?
Just that it's a little weird.
It's
that
perfect.
That it's
timing-wise.
coexisting at the same time as Night Rain. Because
Yeah.
it's a multiplayer focused thing that potentially could be very similar, but we don't know. So we think maybe that it'll have a PvP focus, whereas Night Rain
Doesn't
is
the
more
thing say
PvE.
PvPvE?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
does,
That's
right?
what I've heard
Okay.
people say. Yeah.
So people won't be invading and racing, and I think
Something.
racing to get to kill a boss or like
Yeah.
Tarkov vibes maybe, like
Yeah, we'll see.
Hunt
Yeah.
Showdown.
Isla,
PvE.
the press release said the moon tears will flow.
Okay. All right.
And
Y'all know
there's
Hit
that
blood. Got it.
the creator's voice with Miyazaki goes up tomorrow on Nintendo's website, so we'll be
Hell
able to learn
yeah.
more then.
Gotta watch that.
Well, that's I think that's the article, but sometimes they have clips in those. So like a lot of times you get these really cool
Got
like in development clips of things.
Cool.
So
Reading is like watching, just slower.
yes.
So,
Moving your
are you
mind.
excited though, Isla?
Oh yeah, I mean day one, baby.
Yeah.
Like, I thought the Switch Direct was pretty cool, but like this is what made it relevant to me. Like I was gonna buy one, if I was able anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm excited now, and the fact that Nintendo clinched an exclusive from FromSoft
Yeah.
would be crazy enough on its own, but the fact that it's like a spiritual successor / flash sideways to Bloodborne is kind of incredible and sort of like I don't know, Miyazaki's just kind of saying like, all right, fine, Sony, like hold my beer, I'll just go do it somewhere else, kind of.
Yeah, one of the
Maybe,
characters.
I don't know.
One of the characters looks like they have a hunter's hat, like for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, it definitely looks, because it's vampires, seemingly. I think my theory is correct that the guy in full armor and the jetpack is not a vampire, and that's why he has all his skin covered, so he can't
Yeah.
get bit. And he needs to fly, so he has a jetpack, whereas the other characters can just kind of hover or fly, because in that
Yeah.
one shot you see the guy with the fucking AK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The vampire with an AK just floating around.
And
Yeah.
I said I thought it was a family name. I think Duskblood is the last
Dustblood,
name.
yeah.
Oh, sure.
Or it's this reality's like name for vampires.
For vampires,
or
yeah,
something, like,
that's-
Yeah,
or this
I think that
gang.
because we saw several characters kind of repeatedly. Like there's like the woman with like the chakram
Purple
or whatever.
dress.
Yeah. So
The
I
little boy.
think those may be like maybe not exactly classes, but something akin to that.
I think
you
the same
know,
thing.
so that like
Yeah, I mean, if
maybe you
it's-
go out with a crew and like each person picks which one of those characters that you're playing as.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very Night Rain.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, and Night Rain had 3 or 4 in the thing, but I assume there'll be more. And
They
like,
just revealed our archer class, Isla.
okay, so we can
Yeah.
say that we knew there were more. Okay.
Yeah.
So there are more. So it's like this one could have. I just wasn't sure yet if we could say that. But if this is like that, I could see that being the case for sure. That it's just kind of
Yeah.
classes.
And
But
from
as
software-
I was telling Huber, the big difference is that Night Rain is not PvP at all,
Yeah.
as far as
so
I can tell.
far.
Yeah.
So far,
Yeah, so far.
it's PVE on the whole, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if they Giants Forest 3v3 insanity at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or if one of the bosses is like Monk, where it's like,
Mm.
oh, whoops, it's another crew, like.
And I really like that From Software is doing this. They have done me no wrong in the last
Experimenting.
10 plus years. They have released nothing but Game of the Year caliber games. They have been widely successful. And Elden Ring really felt like the culmination of this journey that kind of began with Demon Souls, Kingsfield before that, whatever, if you want to throw that in. But like Demon Souls, really.
Yeah.
So it felt like the culmination. So this feels like we're in kind of a transitional phase, which is really nice. They're making these smaller, air quotes, multiplayer focused, like spin-off type games. Like Night Rain is a spin-off. They're making these while they make whatever giant, big, potentially Armored Core or another Souls or another Bloodborne or whatever that's going to come out years down the line. So yeah, it feels like a nice transitional phase. No issue with them having a couple multiplayer games right now because we just had, the behemoth that is Elden Ring and its expansion.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah. All right. And then next, I apologize, everybody, because I had never even played this game. And I know this is a lot of people's like Shenmue moment a little bit.
Yeah.
For
So,
real. This game is like huge.
So I get a call
Yeah.
from Matan, friend of the pod, Matan.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
He wakes me up out of a dead sleep at like noon yesterday because I was sleeping after having to be here at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, why is Matan calling me? I pick up the phone and he's raving about the press conference. He's like, oh my God, I'm so happy. Like, this is everything I ever wanted. I think he's going to say, Duskbloods. I'm so
Yeah.
excited for Duskbloods, new FromSoft game. But he goes, Kirby Air Ride.
Kirby
Like-
Air Riders.
He's like, this was my favorite game.
Wild.
Yeah, I know, right? And he is like over the moon
Yeah.
over this game being announced. And I think the last one was released like 20 years ago.
wild.
And he
Yeah.
told me he had given up hope for another game.
Never give up hope. Everything
I
returns.
know. Yeah.
Everything ever.
Never give up
Yeah.
hope. So
It's funny because I feel like none of us have really dug into it that much. I do remember us streaming it at some point, but I'm not sure who all was on that stream.
I was playing Smash and Mario Kart and
Right.
Resident
Yeah,
Evil,
never touched
and
this.
I never touched it. Yeah.
Air Ride was one of those games that was like continuously in screenshots and stuff, and continuously like kind of delayed for a while, and then like it finally came out.
Yeah.
But I never.
Chat says it was easy living.
Is the easy living we played it? Okay.
Wow.
So that could be why, like streaming it and playing it like so long after it came out, like it just didn't connect even like then. Like
Yeah.
I should probably try to play it off stream sometime.
I know,
and
right?
try to get into it
The
a
way
little bit
everyone
more.
was hyped on it. Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely unexpected. It's what Sakurai has said he's been working on for the past couple years.
Yeah.
So cool. Passion project, dude.
Absolutely.
Always be hyped
Yep.
about a passion project. Those are the best things.
And just like with Smash Brothers, he's been working with the team at Bandai Namco
Sick.
to actually like make the gameplay and stuff. So-
Bandai Namco, dude. So that's funny with Duskblood. Their relationship is amazing. Apparently,
Yeah.
that's cool. Yeah. I wonder if.
Yeah, actually, I don't know if
happened,
Duskbloods. I don't know if
because of
Bandai
it.
Namco is publishing that
Oh,
or
okay.
not.
Got it. Interesting.
It mentions From Software, but I don't know if
Okay.
they said anything about Bandai Namco being involved.
Ooh, okay.
So that could be published by Nintendo potentially. I don't know.
Wow.
Or published by
Whoa.
FromSoft themselves.
Cool. Yeah, Kirby Air Riders. A hole in my gaming history that a lot of people are super excited about. So very awesome. And it's nice when Kirby shows up. Like, so many mascots were on display in this
Right, you
direct.
can't hate Kirby.
Yeah.
You know,
so
you can't hate Kirby.
we saw so many legends.
I hate Kirby.
And then the big
Just
finale.
kidding. He's delightful.
The big finale that we talked a little bit about with Damiani
Yeah,
as
we'll
well.
get into more when we get to the gameplay.
Was
stuff.
Donkey
Yeah, yeah.
Kong Bananza. Seriously, the best title
Such
ever.
a good subtitle.
God. Looks absurdly fun. An aggressive Super Mario Odyssey. Slamming around, digging around, throwing around, climbing around. Just nuts, dude. Donkey Kong out of his mind. All right. Which brings us to any other thoughts on that lineup of games? That was a lot of games.
It's just wild how much third party was there. Like
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
I was not expecting that amount of third party to be there.
Yep.
So it was really, really strong out the gate. And that's historically been a Nintendo weakness, Sometimes
Yep.
Activision will skip out or EA will skip out and no, this time around they're coming.
Yeah.
So, we've already got confirmation from those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then like we said, you should have put the price in the direct. Come on.
Oh.
Yeah.
You didn't have to necessarily show the game prices in the direct, but you should have put system price.
They didn't want to scare
when you
people
put,
off.
put the date. So.
Hell yeah. Alrighty. Which brings us to the Nintendo Switch 2 Developer Roundtable highlights. Daniel Bloodworth.
Yeah, this will be a bit quick. So I went up to New York City to do the press event. And then I think today they're doing influencers and then it opens up to the public tomorrow, or maybe the public can get in today already. I'm not exactly sure. But, they're doing this Switch Experience tour.
Nice.
So New York is this weekend. LA is coming up next weekend. And then they're going all over the place to get people hands-on with Switch 2. But with part of the press day yesterday, they had a roundtable which went about a little over an hour, a good amount of time with those of us that were in New York and then another group of people that were in Paris where they had a similar event. Basically just if you raised your hand, you got one question, but there were so many people there that not even everyone even got to ask a question.
Oh.
But they had the three developers that were from the direct. Koichi Kawamoto, who was the producer. He's been at Nintendo since 1997. One of the things that he worked on was Ring Fit Adventure. Tetsuya Sasaki, technical director, has been there since '95.
Jeez.
And worked on the GameCube and the original Switch.
Sick.
Wow.
And then Takahiro Dota, the director, who has been there since 2003 and has worked a lot on the Zelda series, including Breath of the Wild.
Nice.
And Gabby was 100% right on the shorts. Their shirt colors were the Joy-Cons.
So funny.
And then the body in between. So it's one of the first things that they brought up before they got into Q&A. And then, we talked earlier about the noise reduction thing, how they kept it from removing clapping because they want people to have a more enjoyable experience.
That's very
It's a party.
They brought up they actually quizzed the group as when was the last time that Nintendo had a mouse,
Oh.
and that was Mario Paint, the
Yeah.
Super NES mouse in 1992.
Sick.
Wow.
And they also talked about the VRR display having.
There's totally going to be a new Mario Paint. 100%.
Yeah,
Lock
Mario
it
Paint,
in.
Mario Maker,
Dude,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
it would have been
Mario
so
Maker
easy
with the mouse.
It would have been so easy to alleviate some of this pricing, just everyone freaking out about the price, if the welcome tour and a Mario Paint were pack-ins. That's all they would have had to do.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
it's neither here nor there. Go on, bud.
Mario Paint is definitely more than a pack-in.
For
that
sure,
one
but
for
if
sure,
it
yeah.
had
But if they
been-
had
Right, if
some
there was
little
one
like
other launch
doodle
game
tool
besides
or something,
Mario
yeah.
Kart,
And like
yeah,
just
yeah.
something that we can
Right,
use
an
the
art
new
app that we can use.
Yeah.
the new shit for.
Will there
like-
be? I just thought of this. Will there be like a Nintendo, like Apple Pencil?
Ooh.
I know that you could buy styluses that worked on the original Switch.
Yeah, I mean your
So I
finger
don't-
works on the original Switch.
Right, but sometimes people prefer a stylus, So
Yeah, yeah. But like, will they release a stylus for Mario Paint?
right,
Question. Yeah,
maybe.
they should.
Watch this space.
They should.
But yeah, so Huber, you understand like when it works. There's been
Yeah.
some issues going around about that
For sure.
on some of the other consoles.
When it works,
yeah,
it's so
it can
nice.
it can definitely help with the sync refresh rate and
Yeah.
stuff. Keep
Yep.
you from seeing the choppy frame rate, even when it's there behind the scenes. But yeah, so I won't hit necessarily every one of these, and I apologize to anyone that feels like I didn't write down who was asking the question. Sometimes I couldn't hear it clearly, especially like the Europeans when they were in Paris and all that. But I'll go through some of the things that were asked. Some of it we already like hit on when we were talking with Damiani. Like the GameCube controllers will work. The old GameCube controllers will work. The Switch controllers are going to work.
It's all very good news. by the
Yeah,
way.
I think they didn't want to like put themselves in a corner, but they were asked about Joy-Con drift, and they basically talked about we redesign these from the ground up.
Great.
Yeah. Alleviating our fears.
Yeah.
They know that it was a big deal.
They
Like,
made them
want to
larger.
avoid
They
it.
gave them better range of movement.
Yeah.
All of that stuff. But it's like they can't guarantee that this isn't
Yeah.
going to happen because it's like up for all the thousands of hours that you test.
Yeah.
You put it out in the real world, and
Totally.
the real world's going to come back at you. So.
Yeah.
So it's
The real
clear
world's
they at
gonna
least
come back
they
at
put
ya.
the engineering in to like let's make this as good as we can, right?
Movie tagline. boy.
They dodged the question of somebody asked like what features they left out,
yeah.
and they're like, we don't want to tell you that because maybe we'll use it next time.
Oh.
And
Left out
Cheeky.
of the Switch too.
yeah. And one of the things that came
Clamshell.
around a little bit later was that they wanted to do the magnetic Joy-Cons on the first Switch,
Ah.
and it was one of the things that ended up not getting used until now.
Got it.
Oh.
So,
I
yeah.
wonder why
Hold
they
those secrets.
didn't do that.
Yeah, it was maybe cost, or
Yeah.
whatever, engineering at the time. Who knows?
Some brutal
maybe
shit.
maybe with the Joy-Cons being bigger now, it makes it easier to pull that off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the system casing as well, like you have more space just inside of there.
Yeah.
Did anyone ask about achievements?
No, actually.
Shocking.
Cowards.
But see, so you remember I was telling you earlier about them being a different generation and kind of having different inputs. Why is there a mouse? Basically, they like playing PC games with a mouse.
Hell yeah.
And wanted to put a mouse in. And
Perfect.
like, would you ever hear that from Nintendo in the
Yeah,
past?
right.
Like, I don't
funny.
think so.
Yeah.
How long
like-
until we get like an actual mouse that you don't have to like?
Yeah, I'm curious if there would be, but there are advantages. I'll get to some of that too. There
Okay.
are advantages to having it be the Joy-Con.
Okay.
You can quickly like,
Because
pick
yes,
it up.
it seamlessly
Yep.
you could pick it up and just start using motion
Yep.
controls.
Yeah. Okay.
So-
And it recognizes that same thing.
But I'm saying like a,
drag and drive, same thing. You're using a mouse,
and
you
then
pick it up,
shoot.
and then you
That's
shoot.
so sick.
Yep.
That is sick.
You can't do that with just a regular mouse, although
Yeah.
you probably would want a more comfortable mouse. But
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see.
but like if they make a Switch 2 mouse
Mm-hmm.
that can do all that,
True.
like
Potentially, but then
Yeah.
you also have to think about the face buttons and everything else that you're gonna click on
that's
there.
true.
Yeah,
That's true.
This is one of the funniest things, and the Drag and Drive demoists were saying this as well. They specifically like tweaked the mouse sensitivity so that you can use it on your pants.
I was going to ask that. Okay.
They're like even the demoists, because they hire these demoists just for this tour, right? Like
Yeah.
they're not like normal Nintendo employees.
Yeah.
They're like, we actually prefer playing it on our pants than playing it on the table.
Okay.
Blanket on your lap, slide that
Yeah.
thing around.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gabby, didn't you say there should be like a third part or like a peripheral where you put it on your lap?
You
or
said
whatever?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be.
Yeah, because that's the thing I like
Maybe
worry about
daunting.
too. Is
Yeah.
like if I'm playing Metroid, like I would
I don't want
wanna
to
be
scratch up my
at
table.
on a desk somewhere,
Yeah.
but like I'm gonna have to get a TV tray, or what am I gonna do, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe the pants will work.
Yeah.
Just scratch up your leg. slice your leg to ribbons with the Switch controller.
They specifically talked about the naming. It said they were going around about the name for years.
Switch U.
And Super Nintendo Switch internally was one of the things that they were considering.
Had to have been.
Had to have been in the last round of
Yeah.
like.
But one of the
Switch is
reasons,
perfect, dude.
one of the
Just
reasons,
make it easy.
yeah, one of the reasons that they didn't do the Super Nintendo Switch was because, well, the Super Nintendo wasn't compatible with Nintendo games, and they just thought it would be, it's like cool, it's nostalgic for us, but like for a lot of people wouldn't necessarily get it.
It wouldn't
Yeah.
mean anything.
And with Switch 2, it's like it's communicating.
So
this
clear.
is a new standard.
Fine.
Yeah.
It's not a pro model.
Totally.
Where were
know.
these calmer heads when they were naming the Wii U
Yeah.
and the new 3DS?
I mean, they were working on tech and stuff, but they weren't the directors.
They
So.
weren't thinking about it.
favorite mandatory update of all time. New.
New.
God.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Oh, the fake
New-
commercials?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved
Yeah.
those.
So
I
funny.
loved those. It was so funny when I walked through the entire office because I left my, shirt, my clothes up by Elise's desk. So I had to walk through the entire office with "slut" written on my chest. Bit different times, but
Yeah. So funny.
They were asked when development began, and they're saying the hardware team, of course, is always working, but
Yeah.
realistically, like they were getting into it in like 2019.
2019
is when they started.
Holy
Wow.
hell.
Hardcore development on Switch 2
6
as a
years.
platform. Yeah.
Wow.
And then that's when they brought up the magnets being considered for the
Makes
first
you
Switch.
wonder how long other devs know about it. In that 6 years, it's like
Yeah.
when did other studios know?
Yeah.
The
Considering where some of them are
specs
at
and-
right now, I would
yeah.
say, some of them are probably a year and a half, 2 years.
It's really interesting.
At the most, probably. But
Yeah.
very odd kind of thing where they were asked about estimating battery life. And they didn't
I
really
saw that
want
it's
to.
less potentially.
They didn't want to give an answer.
Ooh.
But weirdly enough, they put out an FAQ that kind of give estimates and stuff.
Okay.
But it's like they're real cagey on, because these are the tech guys, right? So they know all the ins and outs of this stuff. And it's
Yeah.
like they gave it a bigger battery, but then the CPU also
Right.
draws more battery and stuff like
Also,
that.
just, like certain games.
Certain games are going to
drain
use
your battery.
Like if you
at
have a game
light
that's using
speed.
ray tracing, it's
Yeah.
going to use more than Clubhouse games.
Yeah.
Like
Wasn't it Breath of the Wild where if you charged it while you were playing it, it would still lose charge because
Yeah,
it was
I think
so.
so.
Yeah.
That I don't remember, but crazy. And we talked about this earlier. NVIDIA already confirmed the DLSS, but they confirmed it there before we got into all those details. And they actually they didn't want to get into all the tech stuff because they're basically leaving that to NVIDIA in terms of like the actual like performance capabilities and stuff. And then developers has a choice whether they want to use native 4K or if they want to use the upscaling there.
Cool.
And then they confirmed that Switch 1 games will have benefits like faster load times and all of that stuff, but it's a case by case basis.
Yeah, of course.
We talked about the LCD over the OLED decision already. It does. NVIDIA confirmed this as well. It does have hardware ray tracing that's supported. So I don't know how many games will use ray tracing on Switch 2, but it can be done.
Cool.
And they also talked about the mouse to motion control with Metroid Prime as well. They talked about the connector. Some people are worried, especially I think in Japan, about the connector being like visible where the Joy-Con goes. And they're like, so you can see it poking out. There's just like the chip or whatever of the Switch 2. Like when you look where the Joy-Con goes, there's like a little.
Oh.
I don't know what, other than connector. Like that's basically the word. It's like a black thing with the metal on it. So people are like worried about that snapping off or getting broken or whatever. And there's like, but it's like, no, they did like everything to
Yeah.
make sure that's super sturdy. There's not a lot of a force that gets applied to it when you connect the Joy-Con.
Great.
And they also said that like they, give it a little give so that like that dissipates some of the force as well. They're asked about Bluetooth connection improvements, but this goes to wireless overall. And they say that yes, they have improved it, and basically they have more antennas, larger antennas in there. And that's another thing where I'm thinking like the size of the case being larger gives them more space to put in bigger antennas. So
Yeah.
the proof will be in the pudding.
Yeah.
I will remain skeptical on that wireless until I,
Well, there's the Ethernet jack.
There is an Ethernet jack.
Thank God.
That was another
Praise
funny
the
thing.
Lord.
I was not able to get confirmation from anybody there about that Ethernet jack, even though I thought I saw it in the direct. And then Mitch had posted the screenshot. And
God.
thank you, Mitch.
Thank you, Mitch.
There we go, because I could
Yes.
not get a clear answer about that Ethernet port.
Essential. welcome to modern times, Nintendo.
Oh yeah, that was one of the annoying things about like there being so many people in this round table is because like this is one of the topics where there's like I could go on and on about wireless, but I want to save people time and get more people's questions in.
Yeah.
So that may be something that we see in some of those like developer direct things that Nintendo puts up, the articles. Paris were the ones hitting it because I wanted to ask about the wireless and I also wanted to ask about analog triggers. Paris asked both of those things before I got to that.
Nice.
And yeah, I'm disappointed that there's no analog triggers on the Pro controller. You did get the headphone jack. I see you're excited about
Thank
that.
God.
Thank God.
Jeez.
Insane.
Yeah. It's
So,
really insane.
but there's still no headphone jack.
No, you would need it on which I mean that sort of makes sense. If you're using a Joy-Con most of the time,
Yeah.
where would you put it? Because your hands.
No,
are
no, I know. I get it. I just.
But it does support Bluetooth headsets.
I like the.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like
I-
using the little.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
nice.
I like
I
that
usually
one.
use the Pro controller, but
Yeah.
But you're saying on the grip.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's on the grip. I don't think
I
that
would
it
doubt
is,
it,
but
yeah.
yeah.
If it's a free inclusion, I doubt it has any features.
Yeah.
I don't know if the grip is free inclusion.
They said
yeah,
it
it is.
was.
Oh,
part
is
of
it?
think
the
it is.
press release,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
But not the charging grip.
Got it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like
yeah.
before. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. But anyways, but yeah, so I'm bummed that there's no analog triggers again. Basically, they just said that there's like pros and cons to it, and when you make them analog, you lose the instant reaction, and that's what they prioritize. Is that like when you click that trigger, that it just responds as fast as
Got it.
possible. So
Okay.
don't love it, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
The other thing I thought about too that they didn't get into, but this is my own speculation, is it's probably harder to implement that on a Joy-Con.
Yeah.
Pro controller,
wonder,
cool.
yeah.
Like you could have an analog trigger, but on a Joy-Con, there's so much stuff going on there, anyways.
Yeah.
Like where do you put the space for that trigger to go in? Yeah. And then Danny Pena,
Friend of the pod.
friend of the podcast,
Oh,
who was
yeah.
also on my flight on the way back, he got the biggest reply out of them because it's like, hey, the eShop is slow and messy and all of
course.
this, and it's like,
Danny Payne is a real one.
and so are they.
one behavior.
Like they were basically like, I have very strong feelings about the eShop,
Yeah.
and they were going to like every department that was going to be involved to like, we need to like
Thank God.
make sure that this is much better than we have it now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, made detailed requests to all of them about
Amazing.
improving the speed and response
Please.
time. And every team was putting their forces together to make him happy.
Great. Collaboration is key.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny. Like they were trying to like save time for everybody, and then that one they just went on and on. It's like no.
yeah.
I want to talk about the eShop.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they covered all the things that bothered people in the past, which is all you can ask for, right?
Yeah.
Audio, headphone jack in the Pro controller,
Yeah.
the eShop, an Ethernet
I mean,
cord
I will
or
say a lot
jack.
of these, like, yes, we're praising them for doing these things. A lot of these things should have already
Should
been
have, of
done. Like, it
course,
was
of
insane
course.
that they weren't included in the first place.
Absolutely.
But it feels nice that it seems like they're listening.
Yes.
Because it's so often it feels like they're not listening.
Yeah. Even
Yeah.
Joy-Con drift. I'm talking about
Yeah,
that.
yep,
So it's
yep.
like they've hit all these.
Yeah.
complaints.
Well, but that was a huge deal for them. Like
Yeah.
they did a lot to try to
Yeah.
alleviate what they could.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
For sure. Awesome, Blood. All right, Bloodworth, you got to play it. You got to feel it, see it, play it, embrace it, love it.
Yeah.
Tell us all about it.
yeah. So first up, I've got a couple of photos here of this is kind of just an idea of what the event space is, and I took it like at the end of the day, so it looks empty.
Looks
but
spacious.
it was
Looks nice.
You know,
Where was this?
this was in New York. I was kind of near the Empire State Building.
Okay, Midtown.
Yeah, Midtown.
In the
Midtown.
30s.
Yeah, near
Midtown.
Yeah, it was like 33 degrees walking over there.
No, I mean
The 30s
the
street.
30s
Oh, yeah.
streetwise.
Yeah. But
I thought you meant the 1930s.
Never been.
anyways.
Go on, Blood.
So
Hit it.
yeah. So they basically had this building where they had multiple floors with the event set up. So again, this was press day, and then this was later in the day. So a lot of people have already gone because they were trying to get their articles done and get them up for ready for embargo.
Those clicks.
But yeah, so there's one section of it. I can go to the next section, and then and basically
These are great photos, Bloodworth. Did you just do this on your phone?
Yeah, I just went in the corner and
These are great.
snagged some shots.
I can feel your height here. Definitely.
Is this what it
this
feel-
is yeah.
Is this what it feels like to be you?
Yeah, this is crazy.
I think I
Blood.
probably raised it up.
We
as
feel
well, but
tall right
maybe.
now. This is cool.
But so basically, they kind of introed people with some Mario Kart. Like you played a little bit of Mario Kart downstairs on the TV with some folks, and then you played it on the handheld itself.
Did you play with 23 other human beings?
And then you go upstairs and you did the knockout tour.
dude.
And then they had this room, which had most of the other games and third parties and stuff. And then beyond this, there was like 2 more rooms that was all Donkey Kong Bonanza. So that was essentially the
But
setup.
you didn't play Dusk Bloods?
No Dusk Bloods was
Oh,
there.
It comes out
God.
next year.
I'm going back home.
We got Night Rain coming.
Before all of that, though, okay, hit up the next photo. So they had the display cases for the Switch 2. The hilarious thing is the bottom is like underlit. That makes it hard to take a photo because of the backlighting. It's
It
like,
looks
They
very
know.
pretty.
They're trying
And
to
they've got
silence
the
you.
little spotlights shining in there so you get blinged in the eyes
Yeah,
every couple
yeah,
of
yeah.
angles.
Blinged in the eyes. I like that.
so they had this side, and you can go to another shot here. There's the
Wow.
Joy-Con 2s. On the other side, though, they had some.
It looks clean as hell.
They had
It's
some that
cute.
were
Yeah.
not in glass cases, so that you could play with them and experiment.
The Joy-Cons, you said?
Yeah, yeah.
Blood, do these Joy-Cons feel like when they said they're
Yeah.
held on by magnets? I'm like, bullshit. Like I could just pull that off. Unless they're electromagnets, but that would eat the battery.
No, it feels really solid. Like I didn't try to pull them off while they're attached, but hitting the button and pulling it off is just so much nicer
Yeah.
than messing with the stupid
I know.
rails.
I feel like I'm
I
going to
hate
break
that
it every
little-
time when
yeah.
I take it
Yeah.
off on
That
Switch.
little button on the old one.
I mean,
it feels very smooth.
I
to
also
take them
like
on and off.
those things with the sliding Joy-Con grips. Like they got looser over time as well. Like
Yeah, oh yeah.
I found myself like
Yeah.
ripping them out of the dog ear thing.
Right.
I would always sit there and just like flex the Switch while I was playing it, like bend it around.
Just like,
Probably good, probably fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was also able to mess with the kickstand as well, and so that's
Yeah,
got a
nice
nice
kickstand.
amount of tension, so that you can basically put it to whatever angle that you want.
Is that salmon?
What are those?
Like blue and
Those
salmon?
are the straps.
Yeah, those are the new straps.
They would have to
Yeah.
go through because of the mouse
Yeah.
feature. I was wondering about that.
Yeah, so they
And
make
they got
it a
little
little.
beds on them.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they make it a little easier to slide around.
Is
right.
that the bottom or the top?
You're looking at the bottom.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah. So
okay,
they
okay.
go on. So the blue goes on the blue side and the orange goes on the other. And then the new SL, SR, the inner buttons on the Joy-Cons are a lot wider and easier to press.
I love the lettering conventions for Nintendo controllers because it's like
Complete
ZL,
insanity.
ZR, GL, GR, SL, SL. Like what do these first letters stand for?
Well, I'm pretty sure the
Grip stands
GLGR are
for
grip.
Grip, yeah. But S,
S, I don't know where S
side?
came
Yeah.
from. Z was because of the N64 controller.
Yeah.
But
best.
yeah, I don't know.
C
Z
stands for
button.
game, yeah.
Right.
We all know that
This is kinda
C stands for game.
Um,
Inside with the S.
click the next one. Yeah, this is a closer look up at the straps there.
An HDMI cord.
Yeah, and the power adapter.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. It detaches, so you can just use that.
Nice.
Next is there's
High-octane
close up on the
stuff.
Pro controller, so you can see it's
Very similar.
Similar, but bigger sticks.
I do not like where
Feels-
the C button is. I feel
Well,
like
you're
I'm
never
gonna be
gonna use
bumping
it, so
no one's ever
you
gonna
think
use
you're
it.
gonna click it?
I think I'm gonna bump it. Sometimes.
It's kind of. It reminds me of the microphone button on a DualSense.
I guess, yeah, and I
Yeah, I
never
never
bump
really
that.
pressed
So
it,
I guess
yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
Somebody was making a good point that button is pointless if you don't have Nintendo Switch Online.
True.
It's a paid only button.
Maybe
It's
when-
a vestigial button.
Maybe with Damiani talking about remapping buttons, you could make it do something else
Oh,
if you don't have online.
blow up my character.
I don't think that one probably you can't.
Oh.
But you do
They should
map
let you.
the grips. Those don't have any like assignment, so you have to just decide what's going to be there. So
Sure.
Grips.
So are there back grips on the Joy-Cons? No, it's just
no,
the
it's
Pro Controller?
it's
Okay,
only
okay.
on the Pro controller.
I see.
That's for when you want to get sweaty.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait, and are those volume?
No, that's
minus
just a
and
regular
plus?
plus and minus.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot
That's
about
the
those.
Start select that
Yeah.
they renamed
Yeah.
on the Wii, right?
Plus or minus.
And then is there another one? I think there's one more at least. Oh, there's the GameCube
it's
controller.
So gorgeous.
It's really beautiful.
And like I said,
God.
it's basically feels the same, but it's a little bit lighter because of the rumble.
aye.
It's changed.
Remember when controllers used to be like brightly had color on them?
Nintendo, dude. Yeah. So
And
many
then
cool colors.
I think there's at least one more. Oh yeah, now
What,
these
they
I
got the
haven't
wheels?
these I haven't touched, but they have the little wheel guys
Oh my god.
that they're selling.
Why?
For Mario Kart, like Mario,
Mario
Kart
Kart.
Wii. Mario
I mean,
Kart
I
Wii
know
had
why.
Yeah.
had you stick it in. I used it like 3 times in my life, and was like, this is so unnecessary.
Right.
Yeah, I
But
guess
it
they're-
also has like the chat thing where it's like, I am using motion controls. So like you
Yeah.
brag
Oh,
about
yeah.
beating people with them, you know, because they
That's
know
you,
it's
bud. That's
that's
you.
a detriment.
Yeah.
And I think that's the last one of those. But
Sick.
oh no, the case.
Great case.
I got
Oh,
a case there. Yeah.
nice.
Does that case come with it?
And there's the boxes.
Because I remember you
The
had
case
to buy.
does not come with it.
Surely not.
No.
God.
Yeah, definitely not.
Dude. Because I feel like the essential purchases, right? Let's theorize this. The essential purchase. You buy the bundle, so you get Mario Kart. That's $500. You get a Pro controller, which
Yep.
is like $80.
Yep.
And
gotta get a
then
case.
A case. So you're at.
And they showed 2 different kinds of cases.
Yeah.
So
I feel
they
like
have-
those are the bare minimums.
There's that case that's basically just to switch in some games.
You don't need a Pro controller, but it'd still be really
There's
nice
another
to have.
there's
never
another
used
case
a
that holds the
controller,
dock and
ever.
everything as well.
Well, it's nice to have just an extra controller as well, because like for multiplayer games, so the Pro controller is like more than functional.
Yeah.
It's a little Joy-Con. That's
Well,
fine.
then you have like 3 options for people, you know,
Yeah.
3 people can play. So it's like not only an extra player, but
Right.
you know, a better way
Even
to
consoles
play.
used to come with 2 controllers.
Very rarely, just special.
Comes with 2
bundles.
Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
True,
I know. Yeah.
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 But yeah,
Usually not. Usually not.
so we're at like a little over 600. That's just with one game.
Yep.
Mario Kart,
Yep.
600 plus for one. That's
game
why
you're
it
gonna play
really,
for
when you
20
really like
minutes.
lay it down, it's like, yo, the welcome tour is just
Insane.
packed in there.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
give
such
us
a
like
baffling.
just one extra little thing. Like, God.
Do we think Welcome Tour has to be included with NSO, right? Like, that is the most absurd.
Don't bet on
The
it.
fact
don't
that
bet
it
on it.
costs
They
money
didn't
is
say
the
it
most
is.
absurd fucking thing I've ever
Don't
heard.
bet on it.
I'm betting $29.99. Lock
I'm
that
putting
in.
that
That's
on.
my
I'm
bet. That's my
drafting
bet.
If that is
on my
$30,
Fantasy Critic.
that is insane.
$29.99 is my theory.
I'm putting it on my Fantasy Critic.
I'm not ruling it out. I'm not
Please
ruling
do
out
so
that
I
price,
can
but-
counterpick it.
No.
All right. Games. Mario Kart World.
Games, baby.
Holy crap. I went back and did this multiple times
Oh my god,
throughout
it
the
looks
day.
insanely fun, Blood.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So great.
dude. Holy shit.
So like I said, at first they had us do 2-player and then handheld, and then he brought us upstairs for the 24-player.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Keep going. I'm gonna stop you before you get into the race itself.
Okay. Stop me. What?
Oh, okay. Was the demo you played just like did you get a sense of other menus and stuff like customization and all that, or was it very like
You
can only go into the race and that's it?
you did get to like pick your cart and character, and
Okay.
so it looks like they've streamlined some of that stuff.
Okay.
So there was a lot of like 4 pages of character selection, but a lot of them were those alternate costumes and stuff, like I was saying. So like I could just like straight off the bat pick Mariachi Waluigi, you know.
Craziest new
next-
character.
Yeah, was Mario Waluigi next to Waluigi? Like, there's just a bunch of.
No, actually, it was
you would
weird.
click the
like-
character and then.
No. You like. They would be on separate pages. Like there'd be Waluigi on one page, and the next page would have a different Waluigi or whatever.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
So that's why I'm wondering if like if there's a little bit more to the characters than they're
Okay.
letting on so far.
All right. And how many characters did you see, Blood?
There was a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Any that were
Weird.
not shown in this?
I
Because
mean,
we've seen
probably
some
just
weird like animal critters.
Yeah.
You know?
I definitely played with the cow. I played with the Moo Moo Farm cow.
Amazing.
Hell yeah.
Perfect.
I played with Peach, I believe. I played with a Toadette that was like ice cream, had like an ice cream outfit, and there was a Toad with like a hamburger suit. I remember that.
Sick.
Yeah, the Waluigi variants I saw were like a biker, a racer, and a mariachi. Peach. Oh yeah, the Peach ones. There's like aviator Peach with like the goggles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like almost Rocketeer style, and then like
Rocketeer,
a
where is the
vacation
rocket?
Peach with like a big hat.
Cute.
Yeah. So just another like hardware thing is like I could feel like the weight difference with the Switch 2.
Yeah.
Playing Mario Kart handheld, but it did feel just more comfortable.
Cool.
Like like the Joy-Cons always felt like I'm like kind of reaching or whatever for buttons, and like now like I don't really have that experience with the Joy-Cons.
Think of the children, though, Blood. Are you
There-
stoked about this weather?
The weather seems really, really cool. And a lot of that stuff, like the weather and the time of day, is just like very dynamic. So that, like, basically the way it was set up when we did the knockout tour, while you're waiting for every player to ready up, then you can just open world roam around as much
sick.
as you want and look for things.
Does it then just teleport you to the race, or?
Yeah. Yes. Well, then when everybody's ready, then you see the different circuits or cups or whatever. Everybody votes on
So there's like a timer.
which group that they want to do, and then
Got it.
it does the roulette wheel and picks which one.
Okay.
And so those routes are like essentially like going from one side of the map to another kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so you do like a set. There'll be like 4 races, but then there's also like the in betweens to get to the next.
And what is
race.
that exactly? What was there a benefit to get
It
there
honestly
before
just felt
everybody?
like one giant long race.
So it just makes it seamless. Like you're never really.
Yeah, so you're not doing laps.
Did anybody get an advantage
those.
for showing up first, or like if I don't want to drive to the next race and I just like go over here, is it going to teleport me over?
I'm guessing if you were in a race, you would get grabbed by a
Yeah.
Lakitu or something and pulled back. But I know that you can go off to some distance. So I'm not sure how much
Okay.
on that.
So
But
it just
yeah,
makes
but
it more
well, you
immersive.
probably just get knocked out.
Yeah.
If you just wander off, because like that's the way
Yeah.
the knockout tour works, is
Yeah.
that like you get these gates with a number on them, and like if you're not above that number when you
Yeah.
cross the gate, then you're out.
Okay.
And it would basically like you start with 24, and then they just cut
I mean,
off
like in
4 at a
between,
time.
Like you
But
said,
no, that's the knockout race. It's continuous.
Okay, I
that's
get
what
it.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you're
I
going
get
from
it.
race to race, but it's not like
Yeah.
it's like one long race.
that is so sick.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Look at this Boo in this hat.
Yeah.
This fur coat.
Incredible.
A Boo wearing a fur coat.
It's so good.
Oh. I think
Did you recognize any tracks from the older games? Are they all new?
They were all. That's what I'm saying here. Some of these tracks were like larger than life. Oh yeah, DK Spaceport. I was on that.
Mario Stadium, I just saw it though in the menu, dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's like they have locations
go.
and names that are similar, but they
Yeah.
were not like the same track in
yeah,
any
of
way.
course, for sure.
At least the ones that I played on.
Just like new versions of.
But the
some
DK
old ones.
Spaceport, there were like these giant like mecha Donkey Kongs
Whoa.
throwing barrels down the track, and like you'd have to dodge the
Whoa.
barrels and
Dude,
stuff.
Drift compatible.
And then there's another crazy one on like with like you're going in and out of airships and stuff like that, and like kind of drifting around the sides of the hull of the ship. They're one of the not quite new items, but I think returning items that I saw was a feather, which just like lets you do like a higher hop. So that could be important for like when you're like wanting to get to a hidden area or maybe like get to a higher shortcut, that kind of thing. As you saw, they have the grinding, so they're like you can grind on rails or on like power lines. See that you can grind up there and get on those coins. But you can also, you know how they have the trick jump, like you hit. You can now multiple. You can just
double trick,
You can, like,
hit triple,
chain them.
dude.
like you can like just depending on how much air
Blam,
you
blam,
have.
blam, blam.
I'm expecting multiples on this.
Yeah, and the but yeah, we were just wandering around.
Looks so
Like before a
great.
race started, it was like one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah,
'Cause, like,
it's all I ever
I'm
wanted
going
in
off
Mario
road.
Kart.
I'm going out in the water. Like
Yeah.
Dawn, there
playing
were some big waves out there with Shy Guys riding around on jet skis.
Yeah.
I
Don has forsaken you and does not have headphones on.
got it. But
I've
I
wanted
like,
this since like Mario Kart 64, Blood. Like sometimes I would just like not even race, and I would just like go and look at things, like drive up to them up close.
Exactly, yeah.
Right. Like this is something we've all wanted for so long. Now it's like part of the gameplay, which is so exciting.
Yeah, there'd be like this road that like would go around this lake, but then you could just like drive out into the water, go check out
So sick.
the islands on the lake.
What's really important though for all this, like it's one thing to like drive around and,
Mm-hmm.
and free roam is very fun. I just want those secrets and like
Yeah.
hidden costumes and collectibles
Yeah, so-
to be meaningful, you know?
Like I said, I don't know all the details on the costumes yet.
Yeah.
But like you pick up those takeout bags and then you get like a food item, and then the food item seems to determine which costume you get.
Mm-hmm.
But there are times when like I'd get some and I wouldn't get a costume.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure if that's just because I'd gotten it before on that, that run or what.
Friendly wager.
But then there were other times where like I had like changed back to one that I had had before. So I'm not entirely sure what all the mechanics are there.
Yeah.
There are also lots of like piles of coins hidden around, and there are also these.
Dude, I hope there's like a permanent shop that you
Yeah.
can like use coins for.
Yeah, but there's
Yeah.
also these like peach coins that are like very clearly like
These are special.
special coins that are like in out of the way areas.
Oh
to
my
get
god, it'd be
to.
so cool too if you had to like drive to the shop on the map. Like you drive there
Yeah.
and like buy stuff. Friendly wager. Will there be a Korok seed somewhere?
Oh, that would be funny.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised.
yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can grind on.
Wait, how
some-
many tracks total did they say? Or
I don't know if
we
they've
don't
said
know?
how
Okay,
many
okay.
like distinct tracks. There's quite a few of them.
But and it works like Forza, like once you go into a race, the open world nature of an area is cordoned off by like,
that's the thing. I didn't test the edges to see.
okay.
Like,
Yeah, I was
how-
wondering like
test
how
the
far
edges.
off. Like if you find a cool secret that's like maybe near this race, like
while
I
you're
wonder.
in the middle of a race. Yeah.
yeah.
Just abandon the race. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know the secret.
Right.
Or vice versa. Like how far off the track can you actually go? I wonder sometimes.
Yeah, I think that there might be like very overt, like like the kind of glowing. Yeah, like here.
Like, sometimes
they've
there are
got this
definitely
here, they've got, like,
dividers,
walls
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
So, yeah.
This looks like the best Mario Kart ever made. I'm just gonna say it right now. My hopes and expectations are sky
Yeah.
high.
Hubert,
I love this direction that
I-
they've
I would-
taken. Holy shit! It's like Gumball Rally. You ever watch Gumball Rally races? It's cross country races. People literally, it's a street race across the entire country. It's so cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so
there was
cool.
one Huber where I
Choppers
was
and
like,
shit, like
I wanna do
following.
that.
It's so sick.
I was out by this like seaside fortress, and I looked out and I saw like these sea serpents in the distance.
Whoa.
And so I like rode out there towards the sea serpent, and I'm grinding across the back of the sea serpent now. And there was like,
Crazy.
as far as I could tell, there wasn't a reason for me to be able to do that other than you can do it. It's fun.
Nice.
I mean, it's so Mario Odyssey. Like, you know how you would in Mario Odyssey, you would like think you were basically glitching your way up to a certain
Yeah,
area, and then there would be
yeah.
a single coin there, so you know Miyamoto was like, "I was here before
Oh,
you."
yeah, the testing team.
Yeah. So like, it seems
Chat,
like there's gonna be
uh,
stuff like that.
Chad, I guess the $90 physical thing was probably a rumor.
Yeah.
Oh,
we
yeah, yeah,
talked
no,
about
that's,
that.
yeah.
Oh, you talked about that
A
already?
little
Okay.
Yeah,
bit.
it's all
Yeah.
basically debunked.
So
80 though.
80
Yeah,
bucks.
yeah,
Still
no,
bad.
we went through all that. Yeah.
Okay.
80
Still
bucks,
bad.
yeah. We talked about just, development cost versus quality and how do you even judge these metrics? It's so crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
we got into it a little while.
Mario Kart being more than Donkey Kong. It's like, okay, I guess Donkey Kong's worse.
Yeah. What does that mean exactly? What does
Yeah.
that mean?
But some other things out there roaming around, like again, like just you would constantly see things, or like I saw like this long vine of a piranha plant, and I'm like, okay, let me turn around and go up the vine and like see what I can find
What'd
there.
you find? What'd you find?
What
was up there?
It looked like it led me to like another jump, and I don't think I found like a coin or anything.
Can
up there,
you in free roam? Can you extend the wings to like fly around?
Not that I've seen so far, but I think you have to like go off of certain jumps like in normal races
Okay.
anyways to do that.
Because that seems like Secret City, dude. Like,
Yeah.
flying off some jump, flying to some place. Like,
there are a lot of great like nods and stuff out in the distance. You see some of them in the footage, but like I was wandering around, and do you remember the Super Mario World Koopas that were out of their shells but had capes?
yes.
There were like flocks of those guys flying around the map, and every once in a while they drop a feather,
sick.
so you could go grab a feather.
It's so cool. So cool.
And there was like a big whirlpool out in an area. There's like spots under the bridges and stuff to go check out. There's like, yeah, there's just so many different like hidden things to find just doing that stuff. Oh yeah, sometimes there would be like just like waves of like power stars like falling through the environment that would just kind of
Cool.
happen randomly, like almost like a weather effect.
Odyssey, dude. It's a nod.
Yeah.
I mean, Galaxy. Sorry. Corrected myself.
Oh yeah, the third time I went up there, I did manage to win on a knockout tour, so that was nice.
Hell yeah. Easy Allies representing. Always winning.
Basically what had happened is I kind of got super lucky because like I had a mushroom at a point where I could take a big shortcut
Yeah.
across like a winding part,
Sick.
and then
But
like,
I love boosting through like off-road parts like that. Like, oh, it's some of my favorite parts.
and
of Mario
nobody
Kart.
had blue shelled me after that.
Hell
basically.
yeah. Yeah, how's the rubber banding? How's the item
I mean, we were
delivery
playing-
for being in first versus last?
Yeah,
Can you get a
it's
sense
still,
of any of
it's
that?
still like that. You like if you want to see the cooler items, you need to drop back a bit.
Yeah.
With 24 people, just
Chaos.
yeah, like
Shells are
very
flying.
crazy. Stuff is going back and forth.
Holy shit,
Every times
dude.
where I was like in first, and then all of a sudden I'm in 11th. You know,
Holy
It's like-
shit, dude. Oh my god.
Embracing the chaos.
Yeah.
I don't think that you.
That's why it's so nice that free roam is there, because it's like, yo, I need a
Yeah.
break from this chaos
Exactly,
for a minute. Like,
I
I
don't
wanna
think that you
actually
have to
see this.
hold a button to drag something behind you anymore. I was like getting
Oh, okay,
thrown off
yeah.
by that. I think it like just automatically drags.
Okay.
And then you push it, and if you push forward or backwards, it'll go forward or backwards, but you don't have to like just hold that banana button the whole time.
Insane.
perfect,
Yeah,
perfect,
so-
perfect.
and then what else? Oh, the mega mushroom is an item.
We
now.
saw, yeah, Toad get giant.
Yeah. So you remember the mega mushroom from like New Super Mario Bros. or
Yeah,
whatever?
baby.
So that's one of the items, and so
So
you just
cool.
like literally just drive over everybody
That's
in front of
amazing.
you.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then when I was in first place, of course, just nervous. Nervous.
Of course.
Yeah. But yeah, really freaking sweet.
Knockout, dude. It's like Last of Us permadeath over here.
Gonna be
One
so
life to
much-
live.
So much to see in there.
Better not be lost or it's all over. Grief. Hell yeah. That is everything you said, Blood. The fact that you had hands on and now are confirming the quality and just everything we've seen and they've said, like this is definitely the most anticipated Switch 2 game for me.
Yeah. Next up is
And a lot to live
Oh.
up to. Sorry. Just a lot to live up
she
to
was
with Mario
going. So I
Kart.
was going. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the GTA 5 level of sales for Mario Kart. It
Right.
is like statistically one of the most important video games. So,
Yeah.
wow, awesome.
Next up, I played Dragon Drive, which is the dual mouse game where you're controlling basketball players in wheelchairs.
Looks competitive, dude. I'm getting like. Honestly, I'm getting For Honor levels of stress here.
The arena is small.
Yeah, it looks like
But
this
it
looks
does take
like
a little
friendly.
time to get from one side to the other, but yeah.
It looks friendly at first, but I bet this can get really hardcore.
Yeah, so it's definitely interesting to like get your hands on and play because like when have you ever used two mice at the same time?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's sort of like a rowboat kind of thing. It's like you push one forward and that's that side.
Yeah.
And so you got to push one side to turn, and push the other side to turn the other way.
Like
and
a
push
rowboat, or maybe like a
Or maybe like a wheelchair.
Right,
bud.
but
Yeah,
I
that's
mean-
what I was thinking, Isla.
But I mean, yeah, obviously most people haven't used a wheelchair. But yeah, so like one side or the other to turn. You also use the triggers
You
to
comfortably
break
hold them.
one side or the other, so you can do a sharper turn.
Oh, you can
Okay.
drift.
That's what I mean. These insane
Not really drift,
mechanics.
but like you like turn on a point.
E-brake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then if you see sometimes when like the back of a player lights up, when that flashlight goes off, that's when you're at top speed. So it actually favors doing longer, like more,
This-
longer strokes rather than like rushing it and doing
This
like
is
really
an
quick
arm
movements.
workout.
Exactly.
I'm so serious. Like,
It definitely is. I did not manage to dunk. That's amazing. But then, yeah, so you kind of line up your shot, and then you pick up the mouse and do a throwing motion like basketball, and it'll basically, your accuracy is essentially going to depend on like how well you're pointing at the hoop.
okay.
And then speed and all of that stuff as
Yeah.
well. And then you hit the shoulder buttons both at the same time to pass to another player. So
I mean-
that's when it really gets into
Yeah.
that competitiveness of like figuring out when to pass, when to grab the ball.
just from what we've seen and also what you've played, Bloodworth, this to me seems like the greatest test for the Joy-Cons. Did they feel good?
As a
And
mouse,
just all
yeah.
the motion and the mouse mechanic, like did all that feel responsive
The-
and accurate and
Yeah, I had no issues with that. The main trouble with an event like this though
Yeah.
is everything is locked down with security tethers. So that's always sort of getting in the way of the feel, right?
for sure.
But yeah, this was interesting. The other thing is they had like a HD rumble, so that when you're doing it, you kind of get the tick 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 feel in your hands.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh.
that is so satisfying.
yeah. So it does feel like pretty satisfying to play, but at the same time, it's just like I don't know who's gonna play this, right? It's just, it feels
It
like a
is
tech
super
demo.
niche for
It's
sure.
not free, right?
I know there's
Yeah.
no way it's gonna be free.
It's super niche, but also like basketball is universal.
Yeah, 3-on-3.
Yeah. And like a small group, you only need like two other friends.
And what you can see there too, so like when you score, then for like a limited amount of time, there's like a pulse that pushes away, so that the other team can get the ball and start making a return.
Got it.
And then you essentially you intercept by like going full speed into somebody and just like ramming them and
Jeez.
Sick.
snatching the ball out of their
NBA
hands.
Jam over here. Awesome.
So yeah, it was fun to play, but it's hard to see how they're gonna get people like invested. Like
Yeah.
it's like one of those things like, oh,
This
party game.
should come-
Play it with your friends and then you're done. But it's online, so how many
This should come free with Switch 2.
Yeah.
maybe.
You know, like,
Yeah.
it's literally
Again,
tech
those
demo.
it 100% like just ways to engage with the controller on your brand new $500
Right.
console would be like, you know, I don't think it's asking too
No,
much.
yeah.
You know, I really don't. Like the welcome
Yeah.
tour and like the welcome tour alone for sure. Like just something to try out your new console with, you know? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yep. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond.
Beyond hype.
Heck yeah. And then Huber, this was one of the showpieces because they had this
Oh
in
yeah.
performance mode,
Oh.
120 FPS.
Speaking my language. Hell yeah. All the frames are here.
Yeah. And then this
Samus
was
looks
also
so
a
crisp.
showpiece.
Holy shit.
This was also a showpiece for the mouse.
Yeah.
It was also a
Man, am I gonna play this?
Wait, you
like
can
a
play
PC
this with a
game?
mouse?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh shit!
Yes.
Am I gonna play it?
Controller in one hand and a mouse in the other hand?
Absolutely.
hardcore, dude.
And you can also
Has anyone ever done it before?
you can also seamlessly pick it up and use it
ever
as
happened?
motion control if you want to do that at any time.
God damn! The future is now.
So yeah, so the hard part again, the event space.
Yeah.
So not only is it tethered, but they also didn't have any kind of seating there. So I'm like up like this,
Yeah.
like trying to bend
That's
down and play Metroid.
Not the most comfortable.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a welcome.
Wait, how are you?
I was like cramped, like trying to bend down while yeah. To not bring the mouse off the table.
Tell me immediately as we see it on the screen right now, the morph ball, how was it?
Oh yeah, the morph ball was fine as you would expect. Like
Fine.
a lot of the stuff is
Fine.
like as you would expect it to play, like a Metroid game. You know,
Yeah.
like this is essentially like the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
But then so like here, this is kind of the tutorial of like the free aim with the mouse or whatever. So you lock on and then you can free aim, and so you have to do it a couple of times with these doors, and then eventually you get to a boss fight where like you got to do like everything. It's actually a pretty cool boss. I'll probably show it here in a second. But yeah, so like you're strafing around enemies. Guys are coming out of the woodwork. That's like basically
Coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah, and yeah, here's the boss.
Abarax.
So this Metroid comes in and like infects it.
Fucking sick.
And so you have all these
dude.
weak points. So you have to be locked on and strafe around the boss,
So
but then you have
sick.
to also use the mouse to get where the weak points are, and they shift around a lot.
Dude, the
And-
diverse friggin' Switch 2 launch window, man.
Yeah.
We're getting FPSs, racing games, sports games, adventure games. Like, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
That
Scratching
boss,
all the itches.
that boss would send out these like kind of blasts. So like sometimes you'd have to like double jump over them,
Yeah.
but other times you'd actually have to morph ball under the blast wave.
Sick.
And so yeah, and
That's really cool.
And so you're doing all that with the face buttons on your mouse hands.
Yeah.
You know.
Did you get missiles?
Yeah, you have missiles, so you can see them on
yeah.
the HUD there.
Nice.
So you basically, it looks like you get other things other than the standard missile eventually.
Sweet.
So like whatever's selected there, then you like hit the Y button to
Did they
shoot it
only
out.
remaster Metroid Prime 1?
Right. They have
Damn.
not said anything about 2 and 3.
2 and
yet,
3.
So
They're hosing us. They're hosing us down.
like basically the scenario is the galactic troopers are escorting some artifact, and the space pirates want it too. And so like this
Top 10 Space Pirates.
you're in the middle of this crazy shootout between the two sides.
Yeah.
Trying to take out all the space pirates that you can. But otherwise, it's this part of the game is, it's like the spaceship in
Yeah,
the
you're
first
on
Metroid
rails.
Prime.
You're tutorializing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not anything really new happening there other than the controls.
Yeah.
But at the end, like that artifact gets knocked over, and it's pretty clear that's where like the psychic powers and the beyond and all of that start up. So I think like that thing gets activated and then you teleport somewhere.
Yeah.
And
Then you have another tutorial about the psychic powers.
Probably,
and
yeah.
then it's like, all right, here you go.
But I would like now I'm guessing that's like also probably within the first hour.
Yeah.
Because this was maybe 10,
Yeah.
15 minutes to get through this part of the game. So
Even on the stream, this Switch 2 version looks way better. Like,
Yeah.
I can tell from
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah,
I imagine in person it
I
was
mean,
like
we were
nice. Yeah.
we were all a little concerned when we watched the Switch 1 Direct
Mm-hmm.
and we saw Metroid. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
a big Metroid person, but I could tell the energy in the room was like, okay,
Looks fine.
this is
Yeah,
what it looks
yeah,
like.
yeah.
Okay,
Well, this
Just
looks really good.
adjusting expectations, but this looks so good.
Yeah.
yeah, it's there's still that sense of like, okay, what are they going to do that's new, that's really going to get me more excited? But there's also that sense of like, oh, playing is believing sort of, it's like, okay, when you see it in motion on, like in person and not like over a video, and you're actually controlling it, and it's like, okay, this feels really tight and solid. So
Yeah. Sick.
I didn't even realize until somebody else told me that I did not do the actual like handheld like Wii Remote style
Yeah.
motion control, but the mouse felt really good.
Cool.
Next
Next up.
up, Kirby's or Forgotten Land plus Star-Crossed World.
Sick game.
Yeah, this is an interesting little expansion they've got for Forgotten Land.
Hell yeah.
Basically, yeah, this giant like crystal meteor smashes down on like the original levels.
Yeah.
And then essentially
Remix.
creates a new level out of them. It's
Yeah.
yeah, it is basically a remix kind of thing.
Great.
And so yeah, now there's like all these crystal stuff going up the side scraper, and I got to use that what is it? It's like spring Kirby or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's
So you like
awesome.
swallow a giant spring.
So cool.
And a lot of the other things that you expect are there. The
Yeah.
sword Kirby and cutter Kirby and all of that.
yeah.
and lots of little like out of the way secrets to get. There's like new collectibles in there, and then there are like these new new creatures to find.
Excuse me.
Yeah, they're like starry creatures or something like that have fallen in alongside of them.
Nintendo loves stars.
Yeah.
For sure. They love them.
Yeah, it's like Kirby's already about stars, and I'm like, hey, we're gonna give you a new type of star.
Yeah.
Now.
Great. All right, I'm really curious, Blood. The Welcome Tour, you got to play it.
I did get to play some Welcome Tour.
Yeah.
Game of the year as we expected.
Definitely on a 15-minute timer. So I didn't get to see everything that they had in the demo that was there. But it's essentially like walking around a museum that's in a giant Switch 2.
A lot of Astro's Playroom comparisons. That's why people wish it was free.
It definitely.
Astro's Playroom was. That's the expectation.
If it's paid and bad.
It's not. It's weird because in some ways it's very much like that. In other ways it's not at all, right? Because it's like that in that they both have the gimmick of you're walking around a console.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
and just the
But is it a
Astrobot comparisons to Mario and stuff. They're being compared to each other a lot lately.
But in this, it's you're not Astro or Mario, or you're not platforming around a thing. It's you're just a little person walking around this museum looking at exhibits, essentially. And so some of them will just be little facts. Some of them, there will be a series of facts, and then they'll get into diagrams and stuff where they'll actually show the HD Rumble motors and explain how Rumble worked before HD Rumble and how it works now.
I want the knowledge. I want to learn. Let me learn. Why are you charging me to learn, Nintendo? What the hell?
Right.
God.
And then
I just want to learn about it.
some of them will have.
I guess school's not free. So.
It's Google. Sometimes school is free.
It
What are you
should be.
talking
It
about?
should
School should be free.
It should be.
A
That's
lot
what
of
I'm
school
saying.
is free.
That's what I'm saying. This shit should be free. Education should be, yeah.
There'll be quizzes sometimes on some of those. So you'll learn a series of facts, and then it'll ask you questions.
Yeah.
And then you'll get a medal based on your performance. And there's lots of medals throughout for all the different things that you do. And then there'll be these mini games. And so the first mini game I did was for the mouse control, and you're literally just mouse cursor. Trying to not get touched by any of these
Operation.
Spiked balls that are falling from the sky like rain.
Nice.
And depending on how long you can keep that up, you'll get there's basically a silver medal and a gold medal. They're not. I think they're the same color, but there's 2 different tiers on that. And then when you finish that, then it unlocks a new version. But you have to actually have enough medals to play the new version.
Got it.
So the new version, you're not just dodging the spikes, but you're also trying to grab stars.
Yeah.
While you're doing it. And then when I did that, it unlocked a third version. But the third version wanted 29 medals or something to play. So I was okay, gonna move on to something else.
It's
cool.
so cute.
It
I
looks
want to
so
play
cool.
it.
I know.
I want to. Do you play as this little blue shirt?
Yeah. I don't know if you customize your shirt or anything
Yeah,
like
bring
that.
your me in.
Yeah, and there's other people there that will just talk to you and stuff like that.
It's cool.
I want to be tiny and
I
run
know.
around a Joy-Con,
It looks
but
cool.
not if it costs $30.
It
There is-
genuinely looks cool.
There's another one, Huber, where I'm trying to figure out how to explain this. So there was basically a ruler, a big ruler, and then moving the mouse back and forth, you were putting a line on the ruler, and you're essentially trying to find the strongest point of rumble. And then kind of like GeoGuessr,
Yeah.
when you click it, then it will show where the strongest point was, and you'll get a score based on how close you were to that
Yeah.
strongest
That's
point.
cool.
And then the last one I did wasn't really a game. It was more of what they call a demo or whatever. And that's the spike ball one.
Holy shit.
I'm not sure I'd call any of this a game.
Yeah, so this is that's the last one was the maracas. And so it was sort of a HD Rumble demo where when you just did them at first, you felt like the beans, but then you could change it to a rubber ball, and you kind of felt like that thumpier hit.
It's cool.
Yeah,
Paid digital only game right there. Yep.
I don't know why. I
No
don't
one does.
understand why you would charge for this.
No one
Yeah.
does.
I just put it in there.
Baffling.
Just put it in there.
And like if it's gonna be really cheap, like if it's gonna be $1, then say
Definitely only
$1.
$5. Yeah.
Yeah, but to say it's a paid, that's so suspicious.
It's so weird. Just put it in every Switch.
Put it on every Switch.
Put it in every Switch.
Help us out.
Just like Astro Bot.
Throw us a bone.
Did they say anything about like other Joy-Cons? I just had this thought, like other colors of Joy-Con.
No. Which is interesting because like everything that they've shown has been very
Black.
tied to the peach and blue.
Yeah.
And considering like where you like pop them in.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Interesting.
It's definitely a departure because last time, they had the black Joy-Cons, or the gray Joy-Cons, but they also had the red and blue ones.
Yeah, and the colors were helpful when like
Bring 'em to a
attaching
friend's house.
Joy-Cons to bring to a friend's house, attaching
Yeah,
them
when you
to
have a
machine.
bunch of Joy-Cons for sure.
Yeah, and like figuring out who's what player, like you can literally see your Joy-Con on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, Blood. GameCube games.
Yeah. Got to see like some people playing Wind Waker and F-Zero over their shoulder. I have had to correct even Steven Totillo this morning. Is like F-Zero at GX had widescreen support on the GameCube.
Yeah, I
You
remember.
just
Progressive.
You just didn't have a
Progressive
widescreen
scan.
TV when that game came out.
Yeah.
So a lot of people didn't realize.
Got his ass.
So he issued a correction.
Yeah. Truly 3 very important games. Wind Waker, F-Zero, and of course, Soul Calibur 2.
Yeah, and yeah, I did get to play Soul Calibur with somebody.
Yeah.
Which was fun because like he had played a ton of it with his brother, and like it's been forever since I played Soul Calibur 2, so I don't
Yeah.
remember what I'm doing. And so like
C-stick, dude. Use it to your advantage.
he won the first round, I won the second round, and then in true Soul Calibur fashion, he ring out.
Ring out.
He like grabbed me and tossed me over
Hell
the
yeah.
side.
Yeah. If you're unfamiliar, GameCube had Link, PS2 had Hihachi, and Xbox had Spawn.
Right.
So just a really cool,
Yeah, he was playing as Link, I was playing as Maxie.
very cool.
So yeah.
Sick.
So that was nice, and that's when I got to play with the GameCube controller, which, yeah, pretty much all what you want, just a little bit on the lighter side of things.
Yeah.
Maybe don't put that on social. It's okay.
We're doing it. Maybe keep the podcast going though.
Yeah, please, Blood.
Yeah, well, you've been
Continue.
You've been piling them up, so I didn't know. The next thing I played was Donkey Kong
Frick, yeah.
Bonanza.
Dude. 10 out of 10.
And
incoming.
I went back and I played more later
Dude.
because there's so much to
Dude.
see just in
Dude.
this demo area.
Yes.
It is crazy. right?
Yes.
So you start off in this kind of prologue thing where like DK's working the mines.
Working the mines.
Like literally the first thing you do, like they kind of like show like a
Temple
little.
of Doom over here.
They show a little cutscene and then there's just like a black wall and there's like Y to punch. And you punch and then punch, and then he punches through.
This shot.
Yeah, this shot.
So
that's,
sick.
that's the first thing you play as.
Mining?
Probably
Yeah.
looking for those bananas.
Yeah, there's like these banana gems that you're looking for. And
He looks so awesome in this game.
You
He
know
looks
what-
the best he's ever looked.
he looks even better when
God, I'm
he's
obsessed.
wet, dude.
Dude.
The like
Better when
dripping wet animation.
Wet fur.
Yeah, on Donkey
Wet
Kong
fur
is so
tech.
freaking good.
His suspenders, dude. His
Yeah.
little hard hat.
Yeah,
it's
he looks
amazing.
really cute.
Terrain
Yeah.
deformation in the game. It is just so
I need the
wild.
plushie of this
Yeah.
DK stat.
But yeah.
And this version in Mario Kart, dude. Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, before you kind of like get into the main game, you do this like little prologue where they kind of show you the ropes of like smashing through and like you can smash forward, you can smash down, you can like do like a jump smash, you can clap, throw back to Jungle Beat.
Sick. Yep.
And like a lot of times like that will make certain things react where like platforms raise up and that kind of thing. But also because there's just like just stuff everywhere. Like you just explode like item pickups.
Yeah.
When you clap, that like draws them in.
Sick.
So all the little gold bits and stuff like
That's
that.
addicting.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
yeah.
already addicted to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the whole thing is addicting. It's like power wash kind of thing. Where like you just want to smash through every single thing that you can, and look for secrets. But you get to the banana gem, and then you get kind of like higher up, and then this huge like lava meteor comes down with like
Majora's
all of
Mask.
those bosses on it, and it pushes the whole town through the earth
It's so intense.
into this huge crater.
Holy shit.
And then I think like the rest of the game is like you going through some like subterranean world or something. Like I don't know exactly because then they just
Whoa.
skipped us ahead to a level.
Yeah.
And it looked sunny, but I think you might actually be underground, like in Splatoon 3 or something.
Wow.
But
That's so cute.
but yeah, and then there are like
Walking
these monkeys down there that were like called the scavengers, and they're like, oh, you're a new guy around here and stuff.
Whoa.
But this new like the main level that we did.
Working the mines, dude. I'm still on that.
There
one.
was so much to do and so much to find, Huber. Like
Yeah.
you're kind of like up on this one part, and you can hit the left trigger to roll, so you just like barrel down the hill.
Classic.
But like as I was like messing around with it more, you could also just like dive bomb like through that whole hill, and there's like all of these extra like little secrets and stuff down there. There are like Donkey Kong Country style like hidden levels.
Gotta be.
you
So
get
this
into?
is Secret the Game.
So yeah, so you find like these platforms that will take you to another level, and some of them will be like defeat these enemies in a certain amount of time,
Cool.
and there are these
Combat
these-
challenges.
These big rock guys. Oh yeah, there's one of them. You bash the stone off of them, and then there's like a gold skeleton inside. But it's all
So
it's all
fun.
dynamic, Huber. So
Yeah.
I did something that one of the demos hadn't seen yet, where it's like I actually got on top of one of those guys and started smashing on their head,
Dude.
and then so the skull started popping out of the top while there was still like
The rock
around it.
That's so rad.
So how do they determine like what you can and can't destroy?
It's fairly. I think it's fairly intuitive. Like there's just like a different type of like bedrock
Terrain.
that you see. There was like, okay, this isn't.
Bedrock.
Yeah, this isn't going any deeper at this point. Or like there will be like hard stone walls or like metal walls. And
I
that kind of
really
thing.
don't want to forget that for a July bet, Blood, how many times in the 10 reviews will the word bedrock be used?
You can grab just like a chunk of rock and throw it at enemies.
Love that.
And you have to do that with some enemies because like you can't really hit them. And then there are also these bomb rocks.
Mm-hmm.
So things that are a little bit harder like that, like the concrete.
Yeah.
You can take a bomb rock and you can blast a hole in that.
I feel like we haven't even seen anything from this game
Yeah.
still. Like
Oh.
other Kongs, shops,
But even playing
Rhino
this level
and
like 2 times.
minecarts,
Yeah, like I didn't see very much.
swordfish. And, yeah.
There was another
It
bonus.
said poker chimp on that building.
Oh.
Dude.
But
Nice.
the I and the P
Vegas
were out,
level.
so at first I thought it said poker chim, and I was like, oh no.
Jim.
I'm trying to think. There is. One of the bonus levels. So you were doing like the hand over hand kind of climbing the
Astrobot.
netting type of thing, but you were having to dodge.
Even in Astrobot, it is the monkey, that one.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
So there were walls that were coming through, and there would be gaps in the wall. So like you were like trying to climb, but trying to get through the gap. But you could also punch through those walls, but like it eats up a lot of time, so you might not make a lot of forward progress.
Mm-hmm.
But there were 3 banana gems in that level, and there was one that was like pretty obvious pretty early on. There was one that was at the end of the level, but then there was a middle one, and like you really like had to like push through, like smash wall, smash wall, smash wall, just like keep momentum going until you got to like the area where the
Yeah.
banana gem was at. There's another part where I was like climbed this pipe, and you got up to the top of the pipe, and there were the DK barrels.
Classic.
And so like you're having to like get yourself essentially like through like kind of like, I don't know if a maze is the right way to put it, but like you had to get the barrel through all the barrels in time to get to the end of the little sequence.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the like you would find things in just like unexpected places. Like I would smash through and there would be like a treasure chest
Yeah.
just buried in a spot. And one time it had a map which would show, oh yeah, they're like these collectible fossils. So you like smash the fossils and collect them. And so the
Cool.
map would show you where more of the fossils were hidden.
Collectathon, let's go.
But
I'm
like I was
100%ing this.
looking in the process of trying to like figure out where that fossil was, like I just came across all these other
Yeah. Other
things.
distractions, yeah.
Yeah. So
This just looks like a 5.0 Game Pro
Yeah.
fun factor. Like 5 out of 5
Yeah.
here. Pure fun.
Like who's gonna stop me from terraforming an entire area?
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am gonna dig. The first thing I'm doing is
think there
digging
is a-
all the way down.
Yeah.
I think there is a way to like reset the whole level, like a button or something that you push to like
Nani?
put it all back if you need to for some reason. But
Oh. Maybe if you get
yeah,
stuck or something, they had to
Right,
put that
right.
in. Yeah,
you seem to be able to climb on just about anything.
Okay. Jeez.
And it does, even though like
Good biomes.
there's a lot of space to explore in each level, like they do seem to be level based. Like it seemed like
Yeah.
once you got to the bottom and
Okay.
then you kind of like opened up this drain, then you could go down and you would go to the next level.
SeaWorld dig tonight, Isla.
Right?
Hell yeah.
I didn't figure out how to do the thing where like you throw the rock and ride on it. That was one of the things. Like, how do I do that? Dang it!
That's advanced tactics.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Red faction gorilla.
I love it. So funny. We need that box art. All right, Blood. We have couple quick ones here. Split Fiction.
Yeah, the rest of these are quick.
Yeah.
Split Fiction, obviously, I wanted to play because it's fresh in our minds.
Yep.
Yeah.
And one of the devs was there and
Felt as good on
played with them.
PlayStation as it did here.
Yeah, that's actually like one of the surprising
Close your eyes.
things.
Oh, thank you.
With Split Fiction is it's like, yeah, you can definitely sense that like, okay, the resolution and the frame rate are
A little less.
are lower,
Okay.
but like all of the effects and the geometry and stuff are there, like the
Yeah.
reflections and stuff, and that I did the part with the car traffic and everything.
Yeah.
And the dev was saying, it's like, yeah, this has been actually a lot easier than when we did It Takes Two, because with It Takes Two, they had to do a lot of like work on like, you know, just kind of like trimming this bit out here, try to figure out what people aren't going to notice. And they're like, with this, it's just like, it really is just resolution and
Yeah.
frame rate, and you don't have to worry about like it being a different game.
Yeah. Cool. Cyberpunk.
And now Cyberpunk, maybe one of the most impressive things I saw
You're good.
at the show.
Whoa.
It is running far beyond what I would have expected
Far beyond.
from a handheld. Like it is the demo they had there running on the TV is running at 30 frames per second,
Blade Runner.
and they aren't using ray tracing. But
Judge Dredd.
it's still like this is just freaking
Bloodworth.
Cyberpunk. Like the lighting is really good. There's a lot of NPCs all around, and
Comes with Phantom Liberty. They show Idris and stuff.
This
awesome.
this build, they said this is a 7-week-old build,
Oh.
and they're going to be ready for launch. And so they've already done a lot of work to it.
Yeah.
There is Hebrew. We were talking about the 120.
They never gave up on this game. Shout out. Like, still cooking, dude. It's
We were
crazy.
talking about
Better
120
not.
hertz screen and VRR and all that. They're gonna have a 40 frames per second.
Love 40
mode.
frames per second.
Yes.
I love 40 frames.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Why-
There's something about like
Yeah.
with the multiplication to
And you get
120 that
quality. There's a lot of quality with it. It's like a huge. It doesn't seem like it, but it's a huge difference
it does.
to 30. Like frame rate wise, it's a big difference, noticeably different. Yeah, I like 40 frames a lot.
Yeah.
Cool.
And the
That's in 4K on this or what?
I think no, the 40 frames is in the performance mode.
Oh, I see.
But the other thing, because the devs were there too, that I was not expecting
Today we're canceling the apocalypse, but
is they're working on all kinds of motion control stuff for the Joy-Cons. So they're talking about like immersive things, like being able to like pick up something and drink it or something like that. Like
they never let you eat food in Cyberpunk.
Sucks, yeah.
Barely.
there is some example kind of like that. Like I don't remember if it's a drink or a stim or something along those
Yeah.
lines, but like they're actually very, very excited about using motion controls to make
It's blades like
right to make the game feel more immersive. But that was not in the demo there. They were just using Pro controllers on the show. So I'm very, very curious to see what they actually do with that.
Can you play Cyberpunk in third person?
Driving
Yeah.
is third person, but not the main game.
I thought you could switch.
I thought you could switch, but maybe I'm wrong.
I have perhaps a false memory about them making a patch where you could switch. But
Maybe a
maybe
mod
I
or something. A lot of mods.
Maybe
Yeah,
I'm-
I
Chad will
think you're
tell
right. I
us.
think you can't.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
But yeah, looks.
Chad agrees with Huber.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. First
Okay.
person. FPS.
I was very surprised by how good it looks
Hell
on
yeah.
there. And then they're saying like the real thing is like when you're playing it in handheld mode.
Yeah.
You know. The one thing I did notice, but
Watch Edge Runners.
he said they are working on it. Is the hair kind of had some like little dithering stuff like that when you're like
Dithering.
talking to somebody in a conversation. But just walking around and stuff, I'm
Great.
just like, how the heck does
Okay.
it look this good?
That's cool. And then last but and certainly not least ever at Easy Allies, Mario Party.
Yeah. So I got to play some mouse mini games with
Sick.
Mario
Tell
Party.
me,
They had like
were they
six-
good? Were
yeah.
they good?
What about
Bloodworth?
camera stuff? Did you do any camera stuff?
I peeked on some people that were doing the camera
Okay,
stuff.
okay.
Yeah, like the camera stuff was very iToy. There were like things where like you're hitting the
Yeah.
blocks and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And people were coming out of pipes.
Do a little micro machine one.
Yeah.
Like hold the.
Yeah. So that was one of the
Hot
ones. So
Wheels?
you take the mouse and you pull the mouse back. And again, with the HD rumble, you feel that ratchet, that click, 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 and then you
I
feel
love
it stop.
that.
Yeah.
And then you let go. And with that, it's a 2-on-2 competition, Huber. So you're trying to get your car in the goal on the other side of this bridge, but the other team is on the other side trying to get their cars into your goal. And there's also all these like obstacles and things going on the bridge.
Yeah,
So
some
it's like
enemies and stuff.
so like sometimes I was able to like really get it like the right angle and the right momentum to where like I went straight in there.
Yeah.
But then sometimes like they would like pull their car off just in time to block me or something would come in the way. So it was pretty fun.
That is cool. How was Bowser live, dude?
I didn't get to do the
know.
Bowser,
No!
unfortunately.
What?
Oh, but I did see a little bit of this. They're doing
So
the
they
stacking game.
had Bowser's Live playable, and you didn't play it, is what you're saying.
He elected to not play it
Whoa.
intentionally.
Bloodworth.
Yeah.
And he did
can
it
see it in his
specifically to
eyes.
hurt you.
Yeah.
Spite.
Yeah.
He's like, this'll show him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get Huber like I got Totillo.
They
Hey,
were
we can all
like,
enjoy it together for the first time. There we go. No unfair advantages.
There was an air hockey.
Yo, this Astrobot
Literally
like
Astrobot.
Yeah, that I didn't
minigame
get to
is
play.
everywhere. What is going on?
This spray paint one though is pretty cool. So
Oh, it's fun.
you're using the spray paint cans to spray paint bombs, and then later there's like a big bomb.
Ba-bomb.
But like you have like a meter for like how much paint you have, and then when you start running low on paint, then you've got to pick up the Joy-Con and shake it like a spray
my
paint
God, I
can.
bet it sounds all cool.
And and you get
Yeah.
the feeling of the ball inside the can.
You know what I just realized too? I really appreciate these Bowser-themed expansions. Bowser's Fury.
It's because he
Bowser
was-
TV.
well, I think
This
a
is
lot of
awesome.
it is because he was like so popular from the movie. Like, I mean, obviously he was popular before, but I
course.
think
Oh, that's
like,
actually a good thought.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
he was like kind of the breakout star of the movie.
It's so cool.
Oh yeah, there's this little mail sorting one, so it's like you're racing the other people to like drag the mail to the right folders.
Yeah.
There's one that was like kind of like Operation,
Operation.
where you had to grab Toad and like use the mouse to like get him through a maze,
That
a
is
like
so
electrified maze.
That is intense.
And so you have to do it accurately, but then you also have to do it faster than the other players,
Yeah.
right? So, and then the
Just
other
like a new take on the jackhammer tracing minigame.
right,
they had.
right. But again, with the mouse, it's like
Yeah,
it's a
game changer.
whole different thing. And then the last one, which I don't know if they had in any of this B-roll, is called Stuffy Stacker, and so you had like you started with like a Yoshi doll, like a plush Yoshi doll, and then you had to stack toys on top of it, and your stack at the end had to be higher than the other person's stack, and it was again 2v2, but you had to keep from you didn't want to tip over, right? So you had to account for like where things are going to lie in physics and stuff. And so you would have like these like different sets of blocks, like kind of almost like Tetris pieces, where like sometimes they'd be shorter, sometimes they'd be longer, but like you try to like set a flat area, but then you'd have like kind of like a group of things that you could grab at any time. And so like you're trying to set like a flat area and get taller, but then sometimes you would get like a plushy like mushroom or a plushy star, and then you're like, all right, well, like, how am I going to get this in there? And yeah, so you had so much time to stack it up, and then whoever was higher at the end without it tipping over.
So I'm assuming some of these, like Bowser Live and that Carnival thing, are just separate modes on the map. They already have some of that in regular Mario Party Jamboree. But then the motion control Switch 2 mini games, I'm assuming they're just integrated into
I don't know,
normal
because like what we did was just like a mini game.
And you can probably
menu,
turn them on or turn them
like
off.
with
when you
motion
say,
now, you can turn off the motion controlled games. So
Seems like
Awesome.
Jamboree TV will be the separate thing.
So cute. The fact that it's a game show hosted by Bowser.
insane.
That's the most Huber coded thing
I'm
I've
so hyped
ever
on it.
seen.
I'm so hyped. Cannot wait. All right, Bloodworth. Thank you for that. That in-depth, precise, efficient. It was amazing hearing about all that. You got to play Switch 2
Yeah.
and a lot of games.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Feels good.
You have maintained my level of excitement. I am no more concerned than I was, which is very good.
Drop the price though.
I'm actually more hyped.
Yeah, for real, drop the price.
Yeah.
No $80
Embarrassing,
games.
Mortifying.
$20 games.
Drop the game prices and welcome tour should be free.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Call them out. Welcome tour.
And Drag Drive.
Should be
Drag and
free.
Drive. Should also be free.
Yeah. We got more to come, but if you've been enjoying this show so far, please take a second to like and subscribe and ring the bell on YouTube. All the socials, all that good stuff. It helps us and you stay connected. Also, if you want to sponsor this podcast, put your name right here in this space. Get in touch. You can email us at info@easyallies.com and we'll get you all the details. So, thank you everyone who has supported us. We just hit 9 years.
Heck yeah.
Chasing down a decade. It's coming up. A year to go. Alrighty. So that was the Megaton in-depth marathon that is Nintendo Switch 2. We did it. All the direct stuff, the hands-on. Now we're getting into a game that you can play right now.
Yeah.
Should be right now. I think it's out right now.
Yeah.
Or tonight. It's either right now or
I think
tonight.
it's like the early access version tonight, and then it's everybody in a couple of days.
Yes. South of midnight. So hyped. Blood has finished it.
Yeah.
Gabby and I have played it. This game leaves an incredible first impression. Like, holy hell. This another, we've been talking about it with Switch. You got to see it in motion. You got to see it in action. Right when I booted this game up, I was like, oh, it looks so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a super cool game, and there's just like
It is a cool game.
A lot of great work and craftsmanship. There were a couple of things in the intro that took me out a little bit.
What?
The being from the South, being used to hurricanes, and it's just like, y'all are like talking about evacuating. This storm is here right now.
Yeah.
You're way too
That's
late.
crazy.
Like, I get that, like, she was like at the shelter helping people, but like,
Hey, that
what
shit's
do we-
real, dude. People will not leave their homes, dude. That's all they have. It's
Yeah.
like, I'm not abandoning my house. Like,
But
I'm gonna ride it out.
Looking back at the house, like, what is this? This is
it's
the most
it's
insanely
mythological.
Yeah, yeah. This is a
It's
game with
myth.
like creatures.
It's
and-
like Beasts of the Southern Wild.
It's like a bunch of
Heightened.
cinder blocks in the river holding up the house. Like, of course it washes it away. How is it not washed away already?
It's so cozy, this game. I know
Yeah.
it's like dealing with some heavy shit, but like just being in this world and running around in it is like, I couldn't get enough. I was like, I just love, I took like 100 knees
Same.
in the first like 20 minutes. I'm looking at every little thing.
'Cause
Yeah.
everything just like every time you come to a new area, every time you see something new, it's like a new visual feast.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Yep. So
Yeah.
Blood, you finish it, man. Just like give us a little background, little pitch, and your
Yeah.
thoughts.
So essentially, Hazel is she doesn't know it, but she's at the start she doesn't know it, but she's a weaver.
Not a spoiler.
I was just gonna say, Blood. Don't spoil some of
there's
us who haven't played it
Yeah.
yet.
Zero spoilers.
But that's not a spoiler.
it's like the premise.
Yeah.
Oh,
That
this is
wasn't
the
a
other thing that
spoiler.
took me out. This giant freaking windstorm, like
Dude.
uprooting billboards and blowing cars around, and
Mythical.
there was no wind resistance at
It's
all.
a myth.
It's a myth. It's all in her head. No,
She's
I'm
a
just kidding.
weaver, Blood. She's
Yeah.
weaving through
Yeah,
the wind.
that is also true. It
Weave in the
it rescues her.
willows.
I just wanted some physical interaction there. That's all.
Blood's pissed.
That's
See
so
that?
cool.
Like the whole car got pushed. The whole
It's
truck.
awesome.
She's magic.
She's
But yeah, so she finds the weaving hooks like in her grandmother's attic, and then starts learning how to use them because basically, her mom got swept downriver and she's like
Yeah.
trying to find her mom.
Yeah.
And in the process of trying to find her
Harrowing
mom,
intro. Good lord.
she finds all of the weaver's tools in different places. And then just all of the crazy supernatural stuff, like she starts seeing ghosts
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
the past
Slaves.
weavers. Yeah, getting slaves to freedom.
So intense.
Yeah.
She starts, seeing the different characters, the talking catfish and the giant tree and all of this stuff.
The environments are so fucking good,
So
and the
beautiful.
interiors are like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, there's some really great detailed interiors where
Like-
like you're seeing like character
Holy
portraits and all of
shit.
that on the walls.
Yeah.
Like haunted mansion coded
Oh, hell yeah.
hardcore, like
Yeah.
storybook vibes too. Like
The art style too is so beautiful, and they use so much like black art to like linoleum cuts in cutscenes and stuff. It's just so it's unapologetically black, this game, which is really really cool, and made me very happy.
sick.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah, and everything that you see is kind of in that context of the weavers. Like like you can weave like kind of like a ghostly object or whatever. Like when you are gliding, there's like a little bit of like lace that you're hanging from.
So cool.
And one of the details that like I noticed when I did the preview build was that like there's like this choir that goes around with like anytime you
The
use
music.
any
Yeah.
Any,
Out of
but no,
control.
anytime you like use your weaving tools at all, there's like a little bit of that like vocal that you hear coming through it. And
Oh,
like
I love
so
that kind of stuff.
It's so cool. I love
the bigger the move, the more of that vocal you hear.
They do that in Warframe.
Nice.
it. Sick.
And then the idea is that like that the world is like this grand tapestry of all of these threads put together, and then where there are places of trauma,
Yeah.
then you have some of these like the enemies that are called haints.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to clear them out and untangle them.
Yeah.
As well as these backstories of these giant mythological creatures that you come
combat-
across.
The combat feels good. I cranked it up, put it on hard. I wanted the full effect.
Yeah.
The hits feel okay. The dodging and stuff. It is fine to good for the combat. I'm not like insanely deep in it yet. Just for the first couple hours.
Right.
But I think the story and the atmosphere and the world and the vibes and the writing and the exploration
Yeah.
are really the highlights of this game that are top tier. And then the combat's just like, it's cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the combat is definitely, I think, the weakest part of this
Yeah.
game.
It's not the point.
It's not even bad.
Yeah,
No, it's not
it-
even
yeah.
bad.
Yeah,
It's good. It's fine. It's
It's not necessarily bad, but it's I think the two things that kind of drag it down for me is A, that like combat always happens in an arena.
Yep.
And so there's not really any like kind of using your powers through, like coming across enemies that are like, trying to snipe at you or coming out of the woodwork. It's like you always know when you're exploring that you're safe. And like
Yeah.
when you walk, you're not going to fight anything until you like go into that bubble.
There's 4 difficulties too. I really like, and 5 even. There's a custom one. The difficulties are cool because there's one that makes like exploration harder or something, and then another one that made like combat harder.
I'm not
It was-
sure how that would
Or it
work.
was like
Yeah.
it was like different parameters. I forget exactly. Shit, I should have.
They turn off the visuals if you make exploration harder.
yeah,
Oh,
the
I see.
screen goes fully.
No, that was a joke.
Yeah,
it's just black.
But no, I
Black
thought,
screen.
I thought that you meant like maybe they got rid of some of the white.
Oh,
paint
maybe
or
some of the
something.
I bet that is what they do actually, probably.
Maybe it was that.
I
forget
yeah,
what
see,
it was.
that's the
Jeez,
tree. They
like-
had
Oh
to
my
be
God,
really-
that's
The
cool
animation
looking.
is
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
unique. Like they took such a big swing with this,
Yeah.
and it succeeds. It just is so.
the
good
grappling
looking.
feels really fun too. Like all of her like platforming abilities, like they don't put you through like the ringer
feels
like
really
an
good.
Astrobot or something. But it feels pretty good. The one thing I think is maybe the weirdest to get used to is the wall running.
Okay.
Because while you're wall running, then you use the right stick to kind of like move up and down as you're wall running.
Yeah. And then the characters that kind of like their frame rate is like a little different.
Yeah, they
compared
do
to
like
the
do a stop
environments.
motion thing, but
Yeah.
actually the game usually performs pretty well. I have gotten into some like more more dense areas and stuff where it's like ooh, like I can feel like the frame rate's taking a hit here and there. But
Need that Switch too.
yeah, there's a lot of good spots. Oh yeah, and then here's Two-Toed Tom.
Yeah, we saw this way
Yeah,
back.
this is like one of the first things they
Yeah.
showed. Which I will say here, I think they might have shown too much of this.
That's why I don't watch trailers. I avoid everything. I avoid everything
well,
I
it's
can.
your job to watch trailers.
I
and
know.
that, but
I know. When I can. I avoid. Because,
Yeah, because I did feel like a lot of the creatures I had seen in one form or another.
Yeah.
The nice thing is that they still preserve some surprise in terms of like some of the story details and stuff
Great.
like that.
Great.
And some of the environments.
I don't want to. Sorry.
Oh, you haven't gotten to this?
No.
Yeah. So there's a little guy. There's a little guy named Crouton. Who's like a doll that
Your
you can.
doll, yeah.
Blood, you're spoiling us, man.
I don't think it's not a spoiler. It's a
Spoiler.
It's just a mechanic. But
Mechanic spoilers.
you can.
Oh
use,
my God, these ladies are the greatest thing I've ever fucking seen.
They are.
Oh,
It's
man.
Pearl, and I don't remember.
That's Jolene.
Jolene.
Oh my God, perfect.
Like their faces.
She's a
are
preacher?
So incredible.
Yeah,
good.
she's basically Dolly Parton turned into a
Oh
creature,
my
yeah.
God.
Oh, you get like a
God.
little journal too of like all the the codex type thing of like the people and everything. I
Yeah.
always love that stuff.
I
Like your
can't wait
whole
to
little
play this.
neighborhood of the guy down the road or whatever
Yeah.
is like so cool.
Yeah. So that's the thing is like, that's why like with some like mechanics and stuff like Crouton is cool because you can just go into like little burrows and stuff like that. You can send them into places that are too small for you to go, and those
Yeah.
are really fun to explore. Pretty simple, but sometimes like you'll need him to like go into an area and like start a generator so you can open a door and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then you can also like toss him to places that are further away. But yeah, the stories are like each one of the stories for each of these characters and
Top
the
tier.
mythical creatures behind them are really, really cool and many times very messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game gets pretty dark right out of the
Yeah.
gate. Like it's super jolly and
the first one is
intense,
super dark.
But then it gets
I'd
crazy.
say the first one might be one of the most dark ones
Yeah.
of them all.
It's dealing with some heavy shit for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
Once in a while, you'll get some boss battles. Like this is one of the earlier boss battles with Two-Toed Tom. You get your AOE's here for Damiani.
Yep.
A
Yep.
little tricky to get the timing on this guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the normal standard combat though.
I knew it would be so chill and easy, so I put it on hard immediately.
It's not that it's easy, Hubert. It's that like. So at first, like they do a fairly good job of like, okay, here's
Oh my
new.
God, that outfit.
Yeah, it's the second outfit, which you get kind of halfway through and.
Outfit spoilers.
Outfits. No, they showed that before. Like
Yeah,
I actually
we
asked
had
a
I know
question.
they did.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so good. Holy shit.
I did not put there is another outfit that I did not spoil.
Good.
Even a decade later, and Blood still shows footage from 5 hours into the game. It's
Yeah, he does.
insane.
Yeah, he does.
It forever in my life, just so everyone knows, whenever I do a review or a preview or anything, first 90 minutes of the game. That's it.
No, you
Oh,
need
yeah.
to
Every
show
time,
variety.
First 90
Hubert.
minutes is all you need.
You have to show
It's all-
variety.
I'll talk about it. It's all you need to see.
It's all the opium.
We're just razzing you, Blood.
We're razzing you, Blood.
How many reviews have I had to get additional footage?
Oh, every
for
single Huber review, you
because
needed more
he talks
footage.
about all this
Every
stuff
single one.
that is not illustrated whatsoever.
Every single time.
Chad-
Literally every single time.
Chad appreciates it. I
Obsessed
do it for the
with
people.
obsessed with her mom.
Yeah, her mom is
obsessed
so
with their
great.
relationship.
The house.
She's also mixed race like me, so that's very exciting. Yeah.
And like Sophia.
And like Sophia.
Yeah, there's a family drama. There's some family
Yeah,
Yes.
there's a nice,
Yes.
stuff there. Where,
I was like already, 1 hour in, I was like, oof, like this is
Yeah.
so tense.
I know.
This is so tough. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
there's
just
more
dealing
family
with
drama.
this. Yeah.
With other parts of the family too.
Spoiler.
Actually, no. Yeah, there's a lot to dig into with all of these characters, and they're pretty well developed.
The
But I keep,
Prospero Weevils is great.
Also, the
Sport
fact that
name.
the town is named Prospero,
Yeah, very good,
the main
very
character
good.
from The Tempest, is like
Very good.
one of the main characters.
but I keep getting sidetracked from the combat. Sorry.
Sorry.
But yeah, so the thing is, like the first few hours is like a pretty good rhythm of like, here's a new
Attack,
ability,
dodge,
use this in
yeah.
combat. Here's this, use that in combat. Here's a new enemy. But it's just like then after a while, then it just to me it just doesn't feel like any combat section is like the same as the last one. Like it just never feel like even if they like try to mix up like this guy and these guys and whatever,
Fundamentals.
like it just doesn't feel like it goes anywhere.
Yeah.
It feels very samey. And I think part of that too is that like I don't love the Haints and the Tangles. They just look like the same stuff
same
that's
thing, yeah.
in Resident
Yeah.
Evil
Resident
or in
Evil
Dragon Age
vibes.
or whatever, and it's just like it just feels like a very generic thing to do with your standard enemy types when it's like you could do all kinds of cool things like based on each chapter even, right? Like there's
Yeah.
one where like there's you explore this like old riverboat and like it'd be so cool if the enemies in there were like these drowned gamblers or
Yeah.
something.
Right, yeah,
you know?
Hell,
It's like-
drowned
Yeah.
gamblers hype. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Drowned
Gambler type.
Sick.
Top 10 gamblers drowned.
And so it's like there's just so much creativity in the creature design, especially like in the later
Yeah.
creatures.
Mm-hmm.
And like once you get to the back half of this game, the environment's just like jaw dropping and just like every new place. I'm like, okay, wasn't expecting this, wasn't expecting that, and like the very first guy that we saw, Shaken Bones,
Yeah.
like actually like finally getting to meet Shaken Bones, and
And then there's like
Spoilers.
collectibles too, which is always fun. Little diaries and
Yeah.
yeah.
adding context. I love that stuff, and they're well written.
Other cool stuff with the music is that sometimes the music will be tied like to a character.
Yeah, I talked about this on a previous podcast, like a couple podcasts ago, how it like changes. You like get more of the song, right?
Yes.
As you-
Yeah. So yeah, we talked about that in the preview. Like as you're going through like each chapter, like you're getting different parts of the pattern to heal that monster essentially. And when you get to these different like points
Heal the corruption.
in the
Classic.
chapter, you hear parts of the song. And that song is about that character and it tells that story's character. So in a weird way, like you can get little hints of spoilers just by listening to the lyrics and the music.
So you loved that.
Blood was stuff.
And then like towards the end of that chapter, then you get like to hear like the full song play out. And sometimes those work better than others. Like there are times like the first song where it's like, I really like this song, but like the platforming I'm doing doesn't feel like it matches up that well with the momentum of the song.
Okay,
But
that's a fair criticism, bud.
But the other thing that I really like though is that there are parts where you hear music directionally.
So cool.
And that's like okay, that's where that's where I'm supposed to go. Is like where that music
I'm
is
going
coming
the other way
from.
first, though.
Right.
Yep. Thanks for telling me where I need to
Yeah.
go so I can go somewhere
Exactly.
else. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there, and when I noticed that, I was like, oh, has this been happening the whole time? And I just didn't notice. But it was like, no, it's like very selective spots when that happens.
This is a weird comparison, but I was thinking about it since you said that there are combat areas and non-combat areas. It feels weirdly a little bit like Silent Hill Shattered Memories, at least in that regard.
Yeah.
And maybe the setting a little bit. Very Southern Reach, Area X kind of a setting too. Very cool.
Annihilation.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's the first book.
I mean, about how far are you guys in?
Chapter 4, I think.
Oh, okay. So you're right after the first
Yeah.
monster, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Calm
I'm in
down,
chapter
Blood.
2, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you
Middle of
haven't even
chapter
gotten.
I haven't even started yet.
think there's like, yeah.
But what? You just, why
What?
You're freaking out about chapter numbers,
Yeah, because you were like, oh, that's right after the first monster.
right?
I didn't know that before. Now I know there's no goddamn monsters until chapter 3.
Chapter 3 was the one we did the preview of. We've talked about that whole chapter.
Blood's rattled.
Blood's upset.
Blood's
we
rattled.
got him.
And we
We
talked
got
about
him.
how it's still doing tutorials.
We
It was
rattled him.
opium. Sorry, I'm inventing a joke that you use opium. Are you cool with that?
What?
Never mind.
All right,
Um,
Blood. What else? Anything else?
What? I mean, I don't know that there is anything else other like, because like the other stuff that's just really cool is like just literally like spoilers. So like I don't. Yeah, it is, but I think it is more about like the craftsmanship and going on the journey and meeting these characters and seeing these creatures and all of this and like getting to know all of it. Like
Feels so old school too, like a Sly Cooper, Ratchet
Yeah.
and Clank.
yeah, like these chase sequences I didn't really love either because it just didn't feel like what's chasing me. Like you can look back and sort of see, but it's like it doesn't feel that threatening.
Yeah.
But I still really, really enjoy my time with it. The music and the visuals and the storytelling are all really great. And yeah, like the new areas and stuff.
It really stands out.
The stuff that you do in the later parts of the game are really cool.
Yeah.
But just the general basic combat and stuff. It's like, I could have used something more there.
Yeah.
It's fine at the beginning, but then it's like, okay, well we've done everything we can do pretty quickly.
Sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sequel
about to say that.
hopes. Yeah.
South of Midnight too.
Yeah. South of
North of Midnight.
North of
Midnight. South of noon. South of Midnight though, so hype. I think it's on Game Pass.
Yeah. It's Xbox first party.
Yep.
So everything
Game Pass
Game
hype.
Pass. Yep.
Don't skip. Seriously, do not skip this game.
Yeah. Oh, also not
Like,
very
it is
long.
similar
like
to,
I
like-
played through it in like 3 days basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, how many hours?
It's like 10 hours.
10 or
you think?
15.
I want to say it's like 10, 12 somewhere.
Yeah.
In there. Yeah.
Yes, I'm gonna hope
So nice and
to
chill.
finish this
Hell yeah.
weekend.
Yeah. Good collectibles, good upgrades, feels nice. And just that story, like that is the reason for entry. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? This absolutely unique take in this unique visual world and just the family emotions.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I'm very curious what you guys will think about some of the later stories when you get there.
I mean, within 10 minutes, I was like
Yeah.
emotionally invested.
I mean,
Yeah.
the game starts with
Yeah.
an incredible cutscene
Yeah.
that I won't describe too much of, but like, so from moment one, from
Yeah.
second one, I was like,
It's like, we're
Hello?
going.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Blood, describe that cutscene in detail, please.
I think they may have released that as a trailer.
oh my god, the cow, it looks so good.
It does.
I was trying to figure out if I
Tonberry
could do
vibes.
something with the
What?
cow, but
Yeah.
I don't think you can.
Reminds me of a Tom Berry. All right, it is time for the patrons to take over top 10 residential areas themes.
Residential area? Okay, town.
Yeah. 'cause they're
Town,
talking-
cities, villages.
Yeah.
Everyone was
they didn't want
limited.
to just be towns because then it'd be too limited, I guess.
Yeah. Everyone was limited to 5 nominations.
Okay.
We still ended up with 83 noms. The rules were worded as, quote, songs that are played in villages, towns, or cities, residential areas, are non-combative except for story-specific events.
Okay.
Nice.
Alrighty.
Yeah. So you want me to read these so I don't spoil you on them, and then you can go through the giant list afterwards?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, number 10.
Number 10.
Hideaway.
Oh, baby.
Final Fantasy 16.
Just the main... Because I know you get the jukebox, you can like play anything, but just like the
Yeah,
main
they're talking about
game,
the
Hideaway. Okay.
Yeah, Hideaway.
Incredible,
Yeah.
incredible.
One of the earlier ones.
Yep.
10, also number 10, tied. Village of Dali from Final Fantasy 9,
Okay. Okay.
which I don't remember.
I can't
off
place
the
it
top
right
of my
now.
head. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
It's been a while.
I'm sure I'll recognize it if I hear it. 3-way tie for number 7. Beneath the Mask, Tokyo at Night, Persona 5.
Sick.
Yeah. When that
Goddamn.
rain is coming down,
Oh,
you hear
God.
the song.
Incredible.
Yeah. Hard to forget that one.
10 out of 10.
The Kokiri Forest song from Kokiri Village, Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Classic.
Traverse Town, Kingdom
Oh,
Hearts.
my God.
Yeah.
Dude. I'm emotional. Where's Sora? Keely's got Sora, dude. Keely's got Sora locked down for sure.
In his
Maybe.
basement.
Yeah. Chained up. Keely's got it.
Please, Jeff. let me out of here.
Torturing him in a shipping container.
We're getting goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 at 4. 3 at number 4.
3 at number 4.
Clocktown, Majora's Mask.
Classic.
Almost back. Yeah, it is back to back for Zelda there.
Yeah. It should be.
Oh my gosh.
Some of the best music of all time.
Oh my gosh.
Blood's emotional.
Corridors of Time in Zeal. Chrono Trigger.
Oh, okay.
When you're in the Kingdom of Zeal.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Can't place Blood. Hum it.
It is amazing.
Hum
It's
it
one
right
of
now.
those songs that when I had a stereo, like when early when Super Nintendo was the first thing I ever had played games on stereo with, and it was like
Yeah.
the music just going back and forth, and it was like,
Dude.
holy crap!
Jurassic Park was the first time I ever heard surround sound at home. And I was just like, oh!
So badass.
Yeah. Costa del Sol, Final Fantasy
Oh,
VII.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then we got 2 at second place.
Okay.
Cosmo Canyon,
Oh.
Oh.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth version.
Yep. Okay.
Kakariko Village, all-timer,
How do you beat it?
right
Yeah.
there.
How do you beat it?
Yeah.
The Ocarina of Time version was cited there, but there are a number of great versions of that song.
Yeah.
And then number 1. Any guesses? Any thoughts? Anything come to
Give us
mind?
a hint.
Does the Resident Evil save room count?
I don't know. We'll see if
Is
it's
that a
further down.
village?
There.
Yeah. It doesn't-
I don't
but it's
think
not
it
there. It's not
counts.
number 1.
okay.
I will say that it has already gotten multiple series entries.
Animal
It's
Crossing.
gotta be like Peach's Castle or something, like Mario.
You both guessed things that hadn't been on the list yet.
Yeah. Okay.
This is another
It's
one
not
of those.
Animal Crossing.
It's not.
Something
Animal Crossing's
Zelda.
probably in there.
Something Zelda or Final Fantasy. Yeah, Zelda, but what? It's not like Zora.
Outset Island from the Wind Waker.
Okay, Wind Waker number 1, dude. Epic. All right.
Now you can peek at this
I
giant
haven't played
list,
that in like
Huber.
20 years too. I can't really place it.
So many. So much in here.
This list is crazy.
This list is crazy.
Oh, yeah, Pascal's Village. I was thinking that Near Automata.
I give the patrons what they want, so I Lightning Fire 83 Pokai Village Koro Q HG4. What the hell is that?
Koro Q, wow.
75 Temi Village Undertale. 75 Sea Shanty 2 Old School RuneScape. 75 The Republic of Bastock Final Fantasy 11. 75 Our Eternal Land Xenoblade Chronicles 2. 75 Mahora Final Fantasy 11.
Why do you have such a time?
Exile.
Roman
Roman
numerals, all right, Roman
Those are
numerals.
hard, yeah.
75, The High Wilderness, Sunless Skies. 75, Lunbridge, Old School RuneScape again. 75, Full Sense, Professor Layton and the Diabolical Box. 69, Town of Parm, Grandia. 69, Sounds of the City, The Last Story. 69, Selbina, Final Fantasy 11. A lot of 11 hype.
Yeah.
Lay Elgona, Gravity Rush 2.
Nice.
69, Jeremy,
pleased.
Legend of Lagia. Jeremy's Rogan. 69, High,
Legaia.
Saturn Valley, Earthbound. 64, Sanctuary in the Glades, Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Nice.
64, A Peaceful Community, Dragon Quest 8.
No trouble reading that one.
The greatest RPG ever made. 64, Neath Dark Waters, Final Fantasy 14. 64, Kingdom of Ixataka, Skies of Arcadia shout out.
Nice.
Dude, Switch 2, GameCube, Skies
Yes.
of Arcadia, right
Holy
now.
crap.
Whoa.
Redemption.
Right now, push the button.
Sega.
64,
The easiest thing you can do
It
is just
is.
put that on that service.
It is.
Holy crap.
Dude, and piecemeal for $80 US. People will pay it.
Yeah.
We should beep that out to not give Nintendo any ideas. Country Living, Breath of Fire 3.
Wait. So here's the monkey's paw on this, right? So what Nintendo does is they will allow you to buy the Switch Online games separately on their
Yeah.
own. However, the price fluctuates based on the eBay ranking
Market
of the
value.
time.
God, oh my
yeah,
God.
based on market value.
Yeah.
It's got to always be
It's like-
$5 less than eBay.
It's like $110.
Yeah,
59, Sultana Dreaming, Final Fantasy 14. 59, Song of Freedom Fighter is Radiata Story, so I haven't heard that name in a while. Midnight, Animal Crossing New Horizon.
There you go.
59, Life at Garrig Mock Monastery, Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Hell yeah.
59, Hardworking Moles Are Good Moles, Super Mario RPG Remake.
Nice.
53, Song of the Ancients, Near Replicant. 53, Silent Night, Chrono Trigger. 53, Nissan,
Light.
Xenogears, sorry. 53, Liyue Harbor, Genshin Impact. 53, Detroit City Ambient, Deus Ex
Whoa.
Human Revolution.
Yo, nice.
Shout out, Blood, shout out, dude. Shout out. Revolution, shout out. 53, The Dancing City of Farnsport, Chained
Ooh,
Echoes.
Chained Echoes nod.
44, Town Number 1,
Town number 1.
Darkstone.
Okay.
44, Springtide of Kyoying, Genshin Impact. 44, Rogue Port PM, The Thousand Year Door Remake.
Yep.
44,
Mario.
Gramps, Xenoblade Chronicles 2. 44, Fisherman's Horizon, Final Fantasy 8. We're getting there. A lot. I'll just.
Now he's fatigued.
Well, no. if it's a tie, I won't say the number. So like there's a lot of 44s.
Yeah.
44. Color Your Night. Persona 3, dude. That is one I play all the time on my drives. Like when I'm driving somewhere, dude, Color Your Night is a fucking 10 out of 10. Arnie Village, Chrono Cross, The Apple Market, Mega Man Legends, Afternoon in Crossbell, The Legend of Heroes, Trails from Zero, 35, Whispering Rock, Psychonauts.
Nice.
The Town of Mirth, Sea of Stars. Blood's Pissed, haven't played it. Termina, Chrono Cross.
Oh, yes.
The Synapse, dude. Hong Kong in the original Deus Ex.
Ooh.
So incredible. Another one of my all-time favorites. Snowden Town, Undertale. The Presidium in Mass
Hell
Effect.
Very nice.
Pewter City, Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. Peaceful Sleep, Near Automata. Kids Run Through the City, Final
Yep.
Fantasy VI. Number 32, Whalers and Water Wheels, Final Fantasy XIV. The Mines of Narshe, Final Fantasy VI. Ding Dong Dell, dude. Nino Cooney, one of the best of all time. Oh my god. 24, You're a Fiction, Persona 4. Welcome to Station Square, Sonic Adventure. Tristram, Diablo.
Oh, wow.
New Barktown, Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal. Majula, Dark Souls 2.
Yes.
Hometown,
Hell
Xenoblade Chronicles. 5 a.m., Animal Crossing, New Horizons.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Dirtmouth, Hollow Knight. 20, Twilight Town, Kingdom Hearts. Terrytown, Breath of the Wild.
Hell yeah.
Selena Day, Monster Hunter World, Iceborne. Or Selena in the daytime. Pallet Town, Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow.
Yep.
Number 18, In Case of Trouble, Bastion.
Nice.
Oh my god. Goron City, Ocarina of Time. Number 13, Rito Village, Breath of the Wild. Pascal's Village, Near Automata. Mabe Village, Link's Awakening. Lavender Town, Pokemon
Hell
Red, Blue, and
yeah.
Yellow. Hotno Village, Breath of the Wild. And then number 12 was Hollow Skies, Final Fantasy VII Remake.
And Chad put together a playlist.
Dude! Sick!
Put together a playlist of this.
Oh, wow.
Or the mods or whoever.
Mods,
Whoever
can you
did it.
send me that on Discord in the mods chat? Because I'll
Sick.
tweet that.
Great list, chat. 10 out of 10. So much Pokemon and Zelda.
Yeah.
Highlights,
Yeah.
for sure. And Final Fantasy,
And
of
Final-
course.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
like the big three there. Awesome. Consider becoming a $5 patron to vote on these
Yeah.
top 10s in the Discord. Next month's theme, intentionally funniest games. So funniest
Oh.
games with intent.
Yeah, not Superman 64.
So Deadly
No.
Premonition.
Not the,
Yeah.
what was it? Ride to Retribution or what is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ride to Retribution, I think.
Oh
yeah,
my
the motorcycle
god.
one, right?
Road to
Yeah.
Ride
Insane.
to Hell, Road to Retribution. What was it called?
Something like that.
That
Not-
That toilet paper game, that's a good, like,
Oh, yeah.
intentionally fun game.
That's an intentionally funny
Yeah.
game. Yeah.
The nominations will be open Wednesday, April 9th for the intentionally funniest games.
Ride to Hell: Retribution.
There
It
it is.
is.
And it just has a 1%
Whoa.
on the cover. I don't know why.
1% of what?
I think that might be a motorcycle club thing. I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's a 10-hour episode, so there's no also this week, but I did. We were talking about Deus Ex and Eidos Montreal. Let go of like 70 more people or something. I
Yeah,
saw.
well, there's a bunch of Embracer-owned
Yeah,
places
so-
that lost people.
Cyan lost some people too, which is a
Yeah,
bummer.
they lost 12. Yeah.
What's the future of Deus Ex, Blood? Am I going to have to go full Shenmue on this now? Are we like not getting a new?
You're starting the campaign.
They're gonna-
Yeah, like are we
gonna-
not getting any Deus Ex now for like 15 years?
Embracer's going to sell that for parts at some point. Who knows?
Yeah. My biggest hope now is an anime. That's my hope to bring it back in some capacity. Let's get an anime out there, Netflix anime, whatever. I think Devil May Cry dropped today. I wonder what the early word is.
Nice.
I will be watching and I will be reporting back. Could be a train wreck. Could be good. Who knows? All right, it's time for Love and Respect.
Love and respect.
Yo, is anybody watching Daredevil? Holy fuck, it's the best thing Marvel has ever done. I'm ready to say it right now. It's the best thing Marvel has ever done.
Every time you're just about to
Ever.
get to fall off the wagon,
Yep.
the Marvel
They
wagon,
released some
they release
incredible
something
ass
that you're
thing.
upset- Yeah.
Like, actually the best thing Marvel has ever done. It is so hard hitting. Hits me right in the gut. Oh my fuck, it's good. All right. Brandon Kagan with the recent tripling down by Take-Two GTA 6. I showed Gabby before this, but pause for a text from my friend Matisse. Literally at 4:27, it's 6:34 right now. I haven't talked to him in a week. When the fuck is GTA coming out? So here we go. It's everywhere. With the recent tripling down by Take-Two GTA 6, we'll have a 2025 release. It had me thinking about what I would like to pose to you all. Like in the past with Portal 2 and Mortal Kombat in 2011, Super Mario Odyssey, Wolfenstein 2 The New Colossus, and Assassin's Creed Origins in 2017, and Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing in 2020, what do you think would be a massive blockbuster commercial battle you would like to see? Personally, I get a kick out of GTA 6, the next Call of Duty, and the next mainline Mario to come out on the same day, even though that would be extremely unrealistic. Still, it would be fun to take part in.
So
I would.
sorry, what is the question? It's
Like
what,
Animal Crossing and Doom.
Yeah,
Oh, I
Barbenheimer.
see.
Two
What's
heavy
the-
hitters you
what's
want.
the best
to,
crossover?
Yeah, what's the best Barbenheimer for the game industry?
Right.
for GTA
Yeah, yeah.
6? Like I'm thinking
And-
GTA 6 and something.
It has to be, and I think the fun part of Barbenheimer and Doom Animal Crossing is that like they're so
different.
so different. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, what's the opposite of Grand Theft Auto?
Yeah.
Right.
The hell is the opposite? It's got so much in it.
Witchbrook.
Yeah. Like GTA ticks so many boxes, so it is kind of hard to think of something that would be so different.
Kirby Air Riders and Silent Hill F.
Ah,
Okay.
you call it Kirby Air Rider.
On a side note, I am just so hyped on. I know it's like a month apart, but I think Mario Kart and Donkey Kong Bonanza like go together so freaking
double
well.
Yeah.
Like,
header.
oh my god, dude, that is such a match made in heaven. Like they're different, but
Yeah.
GTA and something. What would I want to come out with GTA? I mean, probably Mario. Honestly, I think Mario is different enough, but
Yeah.
there's no Mario on the horizon right
Yeah.
now at all. Mario's
Yeah.
years away. So, but if I could have it, it would be GTA and Mario
Yeah.
because those are two of the most iconic things in the biz.
That's just such a harrowing proposition
Yeah.
for those two games to come out on the
I
same
know.
day, because it's like,
yeah.
well, what do I like? The panic that creates in me just in this hypothetical.
You know what I
is-
always do is Mario in the day, GTA at night.
Yeah, for sure.
Good Mario 2 is such like you can pick it up and play it, you know, get a
Yeah.
couple stars or whatever.
You don't need it to be pitch black. You
Yeah.
can handle interruptions.
Yeah. So I would love GTA and Mario on the same day. That would be like the most megaton thermonuclear day for video games of all time.
Chat's saying it, but you said it in our reaction. You were joking that they were going to put Silksong out the same day as GTA 6.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. Yeah.
Man, that would be hard because those are both like settle in games.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh my god,
Yeah.
epic. Any others in there?
Huh?
Any others?
No.
Okay. From DJ Bobcat. Howdy, allies. Short and sweet this week.
Read the whole thing like that.
No.
Short and sweet
No.
this week. What is an interpretation you would love to see of a game? For example, I would absolutely love to see a DreamWorks animated movie of Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh, okay. I didn't understand the question. Yeah.
Could this be your voice now?
This here's the
Adaptation,
wildest
interpretation.
ride in the wilderness.
Yo.
Interpretation.
Did you ever go on the... They've since reskinned it and made it way worse, but why am I out of focus? Did you ever go on the Islands of Adventure Hulk roller coaster in Florida 100 years ago? Before they reskinned it?
Never been to a theme park in Florida. I'm missing out.
Yeah.
We were gonna go to Busch Gardens, but my brother and I were jumping on the beds in a
You told
hotel
me
room.
about
Yeah.
And then my dad is like, "Do that one more time. We're not going." And then obviously we did it. He's like, "All right, we're not going." And we like started crying.
That's
We were, like,
Aries
so
Learn
culture.
sad.
that lesson,
That's
dude.
Aries
Learn that
culture.
lesson, dude.
It was like one
Don't
of the
poke bear.
truly, it's one of the only times my dad played hardball.
Did you?
He was like that. He's
Did
like,
you
"Nope."
sob?
We were
You-
crying. Yeah, we
yeah,
were
yeah,
bummed because we had been waiting for it too, like the whole trip. We had seen all the sick roller coasters. Like we were hyped. They were like, "Dude, that's
Anyway.
it." Yeah.
Huber's dad and I
Uh,
have the same birthday, so every time Huber tells me something like kind of
Aries
insane
core.
that his dad does, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
No, but
do the same
Huber,
thing.
the Hulk ride, okay?
Yeah.
The old Hulk ride, they changed it now, but the old Hulk ride the story used to be that he made a like roller coaster, like just a cart on tracks to bombard himself with a steady dose of gamma particles
Awesome.
to cure himself.
Cool.
And the lore of the ride that it sets up, because you said wildest ride in the wilderness, this is
Yeah.
why this is happening. Because
Yeah.
I was like that's the most epic starting line of a roller coaster, and I'm like, well, the Hulk one was pretty good. So anyway, obviously, the way the ride started was you go up the incline and it's like but then there's a voiceover and Bruce Banner is like, wait, something's gone wrong. There's too much energy in the cart.
No.
And then he
So
goes,
scary.
wait, no, and he screams no, and then the cart impulse launches
Dude.
up the incline, and it was fucking tight.
That is
And they changed
freaking
it, and it's
intense.
worse now.
Damn it.
But the ride is way more intense now. I almost blacked out.
Oh, okay. That is
Anyway,
awesome.
sorry.
No, that sounds so fun.
No, I love that.
What was
And,
the question?
Marvel is always
Your
relevant.
interpretation. So
More
I'm
roller
gonna-
coasters
DreamWorks
based on games.
Banjo-Kazooie.
I am going to unfortunately cheat and use my answer that I just said a minute ago, a Deus Ex anime. Like, I want this badly. I think it fits so perfectly. It's a cheaper way to keep the series alive.
I want an anime of everything.
Exactly.
Like
yeah,
I'm
of
thinking
course,
of
of course.
I'm thinking of like, what do I say? Red Dead Redemption? Do I say like
Dude,
what do I
chat
say? I
just-
want everything.
Red Dead
Chad just
Show.
had an amazing one that like this would get me to engage with Kingdom Hearts because those games, they're not my cup of tea.
The
but-
more you know, the less you know. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They said Kingdom Hearts Broadway musical.
Oh,
And that is genius. Who said that? Who was that?
That is.
I didn't
Zorgla.
realize we could do
That is
things that weren't
incredible.
TV.
No.
Oh
Who said
my
that?
god.
Screaming Argonaut said that. Great idea.
Incredible.
Brilliant.
Write it. Right now. Write it. Somebody write it.
I mean, Disney, like, just
10
get
out of 10.
in Disney
Yeah.
people.
Get
Rogers
Julie
the musical.
Taymor.
Get the Lopez's in here to write the next. They wrote for Frozen. That's and they went to Hunter College High School, where I went to high school.
Sick.
Get the puppeteers from The Lion King and the Finding
Oh
Nemo
my
musicals.
god, yes! Just bring those puppets over.
Get them in
Just
there.
bring
Get
the
those
puppets right on over.
Yeah, Lion King World. You
Yep.
got you. That's half your budget fixed
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
You just reuse them from Lion King.
Just borrow them on the off days.
Yeah. I think a Diablo anime would be sick.
Yep.
A Diablo movie would be sick. I want to make a Bloodborne movie. That would be sick. God.
I was
Sekiro
thinking,
anime.
since you guys were talking about all the rides and stuff, a Little Nightmares haunted house.
Oh
Yo.
my god! Or an
Lord.
inside haunted house.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
That's such a good idea. Do you remember the last one haunted house? That was sick.
yeah, I do.
Fucking
Like, if you
boulder,
like-
just like
Oh, that was so sick.
Convincingly, like, have like these big giant things kind of chasing you, you know?
yeah, I love that blood.
Yeah.
So rad. I would like a actual Mario Kart go-kart, not a ride.
Oh.
Like actual go-karts.
Oh, yeah, they have
where
those.
where your go-kart can literally launch a turtle shell.
Oh, never mind. They don't have those.
Hubert,
Yeah.
you should have just hung out with me and my friends when we were kids because we would just go kart around with a BB gun and shoot stuff.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, Mario Kart.
I grew up
there it is.
in the rural Wisconsin.
I think the best you could maybe do is get like a laser tag ass kind of thing. where it's
Laser
like-
tag.
Laser tag. John Wick laser tag.
But what I'm saying though is like you have like a you know, like a you're driving a cart, but then you can also like line up the next cart in your sights, you
Yeah.
know, and then like
So it's
essentially like disable them to like their accelerator stops working or something. Yeah.
So it's like the Mario Kart ride at Universal, but like on a real track, like you're actually racing.
But you'd have to have it
But
like
you have
Practical
AR
effects.
like
Oh,
graphic.
you do want AR.
The more you guys talk, the more you are literally just describing the ride.
Yeah.
But take it like on a actual
yeah, but it'd be an
track.
actual track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think necessarily has to be AR, but I'm saying like you disable the other car, but you have to do it in a way that's safe. So it's like if you just like disable the accelerator or like slow it down, you know.
Just paintball them right in the eyes.
Right in the eyeballs. Great question. I like it. Deus Ex Anime. Seriously, do it. Somebody do it. Someone do it. Please, someone make that. From your mother. Hello, allies.
Hello?
Quick question related to a mildly funny goof I had. So I've been playing Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. I'm sorry, Damiani's not here. And noticed what seemed to be an entire mechanic that I had never seen on my first playthrough. That is so funny, an entire thing. So curious to see if it even existed back then, I loaded up my Wii U version save and peeked to look. To my chagrin, not only did that mechanic exist, but there was clear evidence that I had somehow never interacted with it at all on my first playthrough of that game. For clarity, it was the skills menu that gives the character various passive buffs they can equip or upgrade.
Wow, big miss.
What? My question is this. Have you ever just completely missed out on a mechanic of a game like that during your initial first playthrough?
All the time. Constantly.
Yeah.
I have like a weird anxiety around like not knowing how much of something I will have.
Yeah.
So like it'll be like, oh, press, right bumper or whatever to do this, and then I'll just either forget that they said that and never do it again, or I'm just too scared to use it, so I just forget about it and then never
Elixir
use it.
syndrome. Yeah.
Oh,
Gotta
yeah.
save those for the final boss.
The
And
what
then you never
syndrome?
use- Elixir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just
Magnum
save all your
rounds.
elixirs. Magnum
But
rounds.
I also just like sometimes the way information is presented in a video game, I just cannot process it like that. So I will just straight up not understand,
Just miss it.
and then I just won't use it, and I'll
Yeah.
complete the
Dude,
game.
this is like the Monster Hunter experience where it's like
my
a tooltip
God.
pops up while you're mid-fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't
And
read
then
that.
can't
I
read it.
don't know what
goes
it
away
is.
so fast.
And then
I
you
hate
don't
that.
even know what it is to look it up later. So you're just like, oh, I guess I'll just never engage with that
Yeah.
mechanic.
Yep.
Like,
He's not here to defend himself,
Sorry.
but he would bring it up. Brandon
Brandon
Jones
Jones.
in Final Fantasy
I
VII.
did the same thing.
The weapon
Yep,
skills.
I did the same thing.
He had no idea.
Oh yeah.
I
funny.
with remake and rebirth, I didn't do that until you, Hubert. You were like, well, do you have all these extra skills? And I was like, well, I don't want to fight with those weapons. And you were
Yeah.
like, you don't have to.
You just do it. You master it, and then you can go back to your
Yep,
buster sword.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
So funny. It is very like the fact that you are not alone in that means like it's not on you.
Right.
Like,
It's
there's
I'm
clearly
not stupid.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I am sometimes, but like Yeah.
There's clearly something wrong there with the way it's presented. What about you,
Yeah.
Blood?
I'm trying to think of something specific, but I'm not coming up with anything.
Yeah.
I have a thought while you think.
Go for it.
I really love the intentional opposite of this, where like in, games like Outer Wilds or Myst or some other stuff, like games that are knowledge gated, like where once you learn how to do a thing,
Right.
you realize like, oh, that's been in the entire game and it's been right in my face the whole
Yeah.
time. But like it's an amazing reveal because it feels like, oh, like it's been staring me right in the face and now I know how to do it. Like it's kind of the opposite of this, where it's like intentional and it's great to realize there's a mechanic you haven't been engaging with.
Yeah.
Very good question. I love that.
That's satisfying. Whereas learning
Yeah.
there's something you should have been doing the whole time.
When you're like, this game has a jump button?
Right, exactly.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Dang.
Yeah.
Alrighty. By the way, right after this brief message, we've got bets. We love bets at Easy Allies. And we have the Easy Allies patron bonus questions. 2 of those. 2 bonus love and respect questions. Including some pure gaming moments. Interesting. Yeah, I like that you hype these up because they are always very good. So if you want to get in on that extended cut, become a $5 patron at patreon.com/easyallies. You'll also get this podcast 2 days early and ad-free, which is essential. You can submit questions, love and respect, and you get into our official Discord. They're going to do those top 10.
Yeah. Starting on Wednesday. Yep.
Yes, April 9th. And if you really want to help us out, you can join one of our producer tiers, our platinum legendary producers. Get a shout out on this podcast each and every week. And this month's shout outs go to Jabawabs and L. Dennis. Shout out. Now come join us on Patreon for those bonus questions. That's patreon.com/easyallies. But now it is time for bets.
We'll have to get Isla's first because she wasn't here when we wrote them down.
I did it already.
Nice.
Perfect. All right. This week's bet.
Wait, did Damiani send someone a
sent
bet?
it to-
He sent
to
it to
Don.
Don, right?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
This week's bet, one of my absolute childhood favorites. I used to play this in my parents' room on the family computer. Commandos is coming back. Commandos Origins.
Dude, I loved playing Commandos as a kid.
God, they
Oh,
were
nice.
so fun, and I've never beat a single one because
hard as hell.
holy shit, they are difficult. But I'm wondering if like my modern abilities now could carry me through my like save scumming knowledge. You can do that. Like I bet we could get through
There's
it.
some of those
They're
games
so
when you
hard.
go back that were hard as a kid that were like, oh, this is a breeze, and then
Yeah.
some that go back as a kid, you were like,
Even
you're like-
harder.
yeah, you're like, how was I good at
Yeah,
this?
you're like, how
Oh,
did I
yeah.
do this
Yeah,
then?
yeah, how did I do
Huber,
this?
you know how I talk about, Legacy of the Ancients being my first RPG.
Yeah,
you know,
dude, I bet that game's so hard.
I go back to that. I'm like, how the freaking heck did I do this?
Yeah.
Like going through first-person dungeons full of traps, full of
Full
monsters. You have to
maze.
manage your food.
Like insane.
And like I didn't have any kind of maps or
Yeah.
strategy guide, and it was just like, all right, just survive this thing.
Yeah.
So sick.
Yeah.
So Commandos Origins comes out next week. On the top 10 open critic reviews, how many times will we see the word stealth and variants of the word, like stealthy or stealthily? Damiani, the arrogant child.
What did Damiani say, Don? 14!
14.
14. Bloodworth, the wicked worm.
14.
14. Very funny. The whimsical scum Isla.
I said 16.
16. The Punish Castellanos Don.
He said 28.
Wow.
Strange Valentine Gabby.
I said 10.
And the Fancy Stars member, Huber, I've got not the high. Damn it, Don. I have 22.
22.
I have the low.
Ah.
Alrighty. Hope for the best. Last week's bet. Woo! We asked
Who counted these?
Bloodworth.
Thanks, Blood.
Doing the run, yeah.
Just on the plane or what? Oh.
Just the rundown.
Yeah,
of, like,
I
all
just
the
went through my
games.
notes from the
Yeah,
direct.
yeah.
I didn't even bother to go
Yeah.
back and watch
Yeah,
because
yeah,
there was
yeah.
no need.
After
Yeah.
it hits a certain
Well, I guess we know who wins.
Yeah, last week we asked how many video games we would see in the Switch 2 Direct. Gameplay and logos both count. We saw a shit ton. Bloodworth stopped counting after 61.
Holy crap. That's
Just
higher
stop.
than I thought.
Damiani said 15. Bloodworth said 51. Isla said 32. Don said 13. Gabby said 25. I said 16. The answer, yeah, it's more than 61. The winner is Bloodworth. Which brings the scores to Don in the lead, the Punish Castellanos with 4. And coming up right behind, the Wicked Worm Bloodworth with 3. And
Hubert.
then Gabby has 0, and we all have, everyone else has 1.
I'm the only one with 0.
Yeah.
We got 1.
But this
Same shit. It's the same shit.
1 is just the same as 0.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
I stopped counting at 61 reminded me of a thing on I think it was like the Die Hard bonus features or something. Somebody was talking about how many times they said the F word.
Oh my God, so many.
And a guy outside of a theater, they're doing like a talking head, like man on the street, and he just goes, "I stopped counting at 65."
That is so funny. Oh my God. Die Hard hype. 10 out of 10. All right. We reacted to the Switch 2.
Yeah.
So check it out. Check out those reactions. We reacted.
You got up very early in the morning.
Yeah, it
We
was.
all
It was
did.
a nightmare.
It was very early. I've never got here so fast from home though. There
Yeah,
was
I
nobody
didn't
on the
hit
road.
a single red light.
Yeah. No
Yeah,
red
it
lights,
was
no
kind of
traffic.
amazing outside.
Yeah.
Magical. It was still dark, which I was surprised by.
I saw an
Yeah.
owl.
Oh!
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
on my drive to work, I saw an owl.
Are we all going to become morning people now?
No.
No.
Never.
It would be better for our Twitch channel.
But yeah, so Huber, like for the event, like the doors were like 7:30,
Yeah.
and so like I had to leave. with-
7:30 New York time.
Yes.
So
4:30
for us.
here.
Yeah.
And so like I had to be up at 6:45, which would have been 3:45.
Oh my God. All right. You can also check out our previews for Den of Wolves and Doom, the Dark Ages. It's coming soon. We will soon be ripping and tearing Bloodworth. Are you excited about that?
Yeah.
You seem like you're thinking about
I know.
something.
I was typing notes to
Okay.
me, so I'm
He
distracted.
was like
we
doing
were
math in his
yeah.
head or something,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
No, we were gonna promote something, but then I realized we can't until tomorrow.
Yeah,
Got
which is
it.
weird because they asked us to do it. So anyway, whatever.
Got it.
Well, they're announcing it tomorrow, so we have to announce it after they do.
Right.
Gabby, are you gonna get into Doom? This is a prequel, dude. Dark Ages. You need to know nothing. You in?
It might be
Is the
too
story the
scary for
problem?
me.
No, I'm just, you know, it's like, I just didn't want her to feel behind because it's like
The story of Doom is hell
sick.
bad.
No, it's sick as fuck.
Yeah, but it's not hard to follow.
It's not hell bad. It's way more than that. There's a lot.
hell good.
There's a lot of shit. Yeah. And next week
Heck yeah.
is another very special week as we welcome Shuhei Yoshida.
Hell yeah.
Shuhei will be in the house on this
No,
podcast.
he will not be in the house.
He will not be in the house. He will,
Yeah,
he will be
remote.
He'll be on
remotely in the
Zoom.
house.
The
remotely.
nicest man in human
Yes.
history.
We get to talk to him about Switch 2. That's going to be
Yeah.
sick. It's going to be awesome. We're going to pick his brain on some things and just hanging out with Shu. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Cannot wait.
I want to ask him about
Anything you want.
the Switch 2 tour game.
Oh, sure.
Compared to Astrobot, you're welcome.
Yeah, I
Us with
need to
Playroom.
ask.
Yeah. Shu, should it be free?
Why does this cost money?
Alrighty. Bloodworth, you got that win, so you get to shout out to anything or anyone that's on your mind this week. You get the final word, and you get to sign off with your trademark sign off. Take it away.
Shout out to Brian Shea from Game Informer who managed to make it to that event.
Sick.
Yeah. First event since Game Informer got
So badass.
relaunched.
Very cool.
So
Risen from the ashes.
Yeah.
Like a phoenix.
Phoenix.
very good to see him back on the road.
That is cool.
And And then final word. Oh yeah. No $80. Drop the price.
Drop the price.
Drop the price.
Hashtag
Nintendo.
drop the price.
No $80. Abort.
If we shame Nintendo enough, I think. Yeah. If we make it embarrassing to charge $80 for your game. Yeah.
It's my final word. Bye.
Sorry.
I was gonna say
Sorry.
red card.
Before the next blood moon rises.
Drowned gamblers hype. Yeah, dude.